Hey everyone, this is Russell Brunson. I want to welcome you guys to our training webinar for today. We've got a ton of you guys on here, which is exciting. I'm fired up. In the last hour, probably last 90 minutes, 2 hours, so we had almost 100 people sign up for this, and obviously we've been promoting this whole week. So it looks like you guys are excited and you're fired up. If you can hear me, and if you are excited, go to the question box and just say you're fired up. I want to make sure you guys can hear me and that you're excited, because we got a lot of cool stuff. Good. We got a lot of cool stuff to cover, you guys, and we're gonna be here for a while, so we gotta keep the energy level high, and I'm excited, you guys. This is gonna be some cool stuff. This is stuff that, if you've been watching what we've been doing over the past, probably 6 to 8 months, you've probably seen on the outside us doing little pieces of what I'm gonna be sharing with you guys, and testing stuff, and trying things, and tweaking things, and changing things, and just doing a whole bunch of different little things as we've been trying to figure out this right system. And each step we've been testing gets closer and closer and closer. And I really feel like we've figured out a formula that when you tie these things together, it's just very, very powerful. And we've shared pieces of this formula before, but this is the first time we've ever shared everything as a whole. And so I'm excited. I'm fired up for you guys. I think you should enjoy it. Make sure, like I said, we're going to be here for a while. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. So make sure you got a pen, a pad of paper. I'd recommend some water. Whatever you can. We'll probably take a break. I would say probably 2 hours in or so. We'll probably take a break, a bathroom break, and then we'll keep going, keep rocking and rolling. So that's the game plan. Yes, a lot of people are asking. I am recording this. That's probably why on your screen looks a little different. We have a couple backup recordings just to make sure we get it. I will have it online by tomorrow for you guys for sure. So if you do have to leave early, if you miss any of it, we'll have it for you guys for tomorrow. Now, as you guys know, and you guys are going to learn this concept here probably about an hour or two from now. We're going to be talking about a concept called the invisible funnel. And one thing that's kind of cool, I want you guys to see this, that I'm practicing what I'm preaching. What you guys are going through right now is an invisible funnel. That's how you got on this training webinar. You're seeing the magic of an invisible funnel. And in case you're wondering, it's working very, very effectively. And so it's kind of exciting. And so the way the invisible funnel works, and again, we'll go over this for you guys here in a little bit, but just so you know as well, most of you guys got on this webinar for free. You put a credit card in, but you haven't paid yet. And so my goal is over the next 3 or 4 hours is to give you as much training and ideas and information as possible, because I got to prove to you that what I have to share is worth it. At the end of the webinar, you guys are going to have a chance to judge me and basically say, Russell, that was amazing. Or you're going to be like, hey, Russell, that was not so good. And either way is fine, but I'm kind of on the hook right now to make sure that I got the goods for you guys. So I'm going to be doing everything I can to over deliver and give you a ton of stuff. And at the end of the webinar, I will ask you guys if it was worth it. And if it was worth it, don't do anything. And on Monday, we will bill your credit card for the agreed upon price. And if it wasn't, then just email us before Monday and we won't bill your card. So it's kind of how it works. So it's kind of easy. I'll give you the email address here at the end of the webinar. But again, that's kind of how this invisible funnel concepts work that I will be sharing with you guys here in a little bit. So I want to make sure you guys get the webinar replay out as soon as possible. So by tomorrow, you will have it so you can watch it, go over it, and study it, and hopefully take notes 2 or 3 times. Now, the other thing you guys are in for a treat is the fact that I speak about 1,000,000 miles a minute. So this 4-hour webinar is probably closer to an 8-hour webinar. I apologize in advance for that. You can watch the replay and slow things down, but the more excited I get, the faster I'll probably talk. I will try to keep it slowed down and keep it at pace, but I'm just passionate about this kind of stuff, so I'm just going to keep rocking and rolling. So very cool. And Gordon just made a good point. Some of you guys knew I was going to deliver. You had faith in me. I appreciate you guys. Some of you guys knew that, and so because of it, you paid up front and got a discount. So Gordon, thank you, and everyone else who did that as well. My goal, again, always is to over-deliver, and so we actually had 39% of you guys had enough faith in me, you prepaid, which is exciting. And I'll show you guys that strategy here in a little bit as well, because it was an interesting test. It was the first time we had done that before, and it turned out pretty cool. So very, very cool. All right. I'm reading your guys' comments. You guys are fired up. Okay, awesome. All right, so very cool. All right, so I'm going to dive right in. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys a concept that we've been calling internally here the black box. Because what's the black box when you think about it? The black box is like that thing that there's something inside of it, but you don't really know what it is. And this system we're going through literally, I think, is a black box. Okay, all you guys have different businesses. some of you guys are authors, speakers, or consultants. You can take this black box we're going to give you over the next 4 hours, plug it into your business, and boom, you'll see cash just start falling out of it. Some of you guys have e-commerce stores. I'm actually going to show you how this works for an e-commerce store, which is I wouldn't have thought it was possible until we did it, and it worked. I'm going to show you guys how this works if you're a network marketer. If you're promoting a network marketing program, this will be the easiest way you've ever found to recruit and make money and build a team. And if you are someone who's got a real company, believe it or not, this stuff actually works for real companies as well, which is kind of cool. I'm doing it right now. My trainer, I have a personal trainer I've been working with for about 2.5 years now, and I've been paying him every single month, and he kind of knows what I do. And then last month I was like, hey man, if you want, I can help you with your internet business if you'll give me free training. And he was like, he hadn't even crossed his mind or my mind, and we got all fired up. And so I'm actually building out this little funnel. The same thing I'm explaining for you guys for him right now. And I should have some pretty solid results here within about 30 days. But it works for offline businesses as well. You will see. You may have to be creative a little bit, and kind of think about how does this fit into my business. Okay, but if you focus a little bit and use some creativity, you will see how it all ties together. I'll try to give you examples throughout for all different types of businesses. So when I show you a strategy, I'll try to say, this is how this would work for a network marketer. This is how this would work for an affiliate marketer, for an internet marketer, for an offline marketer. So I'll try to bridge those gaps as much as I can. But for you, just think about it as well. Be like, how does this fit into what I'm doing? And kind of take that upon yourself as well to figure it out. When I first started training and teaching for Dan Kennedy, the very first Kennedy webinar or event I went to, they had a big, huge sign on the thing that said, "This won't work for my business." And I was kind of confused. I went to Bill Glazer. I'm like, I don't get your banner. You're kind of talking against what you guys do. And he said no. He said that a lot of people will learn this style of marketing and be like, oh, that won't work for my business. And he's like, it's a joke around here. He's like, this stuff works for every business. You just got to be creative and see how to tweak it. But the concepts and the philosophies work. They've worked in more industries than I could probably even name. So you just got to figure out how to make it work for what you're doing. Okay. And the other cool thing, if you guys don't have a business yet, I'm going to show you guys how you can use this to start your own business as well. So that's kind of the game plan. So yes. All right, let's dive right in, you guys. Let's have some fun, all right? Okay, so again, this is the Blackbox. It's based on a simple 3-step system that's averaging us an extra $48,000 a week, almost $200K a month since we started it. And that's only one or two of the pieces. The real numbers are higher, but I just try not to, I try to make it more realistic for you guys. So we will go off of that. All right, so I'm going to jump right in. So if you watched the case study before this webinar, which I'm sure you did, we go over kind of a 3-step system. Step number 1 is creating a buyer magnet. I'm going to show you guys a ton of examples of that. You'll see what it is. Step number 2 is creating an invisible funnel, which is exactly what we're kind of going through right now. And then step number 3 is the black box, which is the piece on the end where you can sell super high expensive stuff. Now, just to kind of break this down, all 3 of these things by themselves, you guys, are very powerful strategies. You can make a ton of money just doing buyer magnets. You can make a ton of money just doing invisible funnels. You can make a ton of money just using a black box. And so I'm going to walk you through all 3 of these concepts. And then at the end of the webinar, I'm actually going to sit down and I'm going to show you a certain way to tie these 3 things together. Because if you put these 3 things together in the correct order, it's like taking this whole thing and putting it on steroids. It just blows up. Because the psychology behind these things, how 1, the buyer magnet leads into 2, the invisible funnel, which leads into 3, the black box. If you sequence them the right way, it'll just work magic for you. Okay. But again, some of you guys, you may come back and say, well, the black box is not something I want to do, Russell. I never in the world want to sell high ticket stuff. And that's fine. You can say, okay, I'm just going to do buyer magnet to invisible funnel. Or maybe you're like, I don't really have an idea for a buyer magnet, so I'm going to go invisible funnel to black box. Or maybe I'm doing buyer magnet, just a buyer magnet to black box. Okay, all those things are possible. So again, kind of, I would look at this as like a cafeteria, I guess, is that you can take whichever pieces make the most sense to your business. But if you want the best meal, take a little bit of everything, right? And so that's kind of think about that as you're going through here. Okay. All right. Now, to make this whole system work, you've got to have 3 things. Okay, and I'm going to go into a lot of detail about these, but I want you kind of just thinking about these things ahead of time. Okay, the first thing you need is a secret. Okay, now for some businesses this will be harder to find than others. Okay, I had a conversation in the car the other day with one of my buddies who's a chiropractor for like an hour trying to figure out like what's his secret. He's a chiropractor. Like what's the big secret he has? But everyone's got a secret, okay? There's whatever it is you do where you sell or you fulfill on or you provide, whatever it is that thing that you're selling in the back of this thing, there's some kind of secret strategy you have, okay? And you can call it something besides a secret if you want, but I'm a big proponent of secrets. Obviously, my company name is .com Secrets. I remember one time we were doing this workshop, and this lady raised her hand. She's like, "I just hate secrets. Can we call them strategies or tactics or whatever?" And I was like, "You can if you don't like money, because just the word secret, even if it sounds cheesy or hypey or whatever, it just works. People want to know secrets. Like that's the biggest thing in the world. Like my kids, if I am trying to get them to do something, guess what I say? Hey, Bowen, I want to hear a secret. Come here. Boom. He drops everything, runs over to me because he wants to hear the secret. Aiden, come. I'll tell you a secret. Come here. Boom. Drops everything and runs to me. Okay. Secrets are very, very powerful. And so I'm going to show you how to pull out your secret because, again, some of you guys may be difficult to find what that is, but I'll show you here in a minute. The second thing is you've got to have a case study. Okay. It's almost impossible to sell something if you don't have some proof that you can sell it. If that makes sense. You need to have a case study that kind of just shows you how, a case study that shows what it is you're doing, the service you're fulfilling or the product you're fulfilling. You got to have a case study of how it's working for somebody else. Okay? Because the worst thing in the world is saying, look how much weight I lost, look how much money I made, or whatever it is. Because as soon as you share your own thing, nobody really cares. Okay, if you guys noticed the training webinar or the video to get you guys onto this training webinar was a case study based around other people using my stuff, right? It wasn't based around me. A case study is very, very important to have somebody else have success with your system. Okay, if you're in the weight loss space, you've got to have somebody else have lost weight with your system. It can't just have been you. Okay, because people look at that and be like, well, you're magical. That's why it worked for you. You've got some kind of superpowers. The case study's got to be about somebody else. Okay. And then the third thing is you have to have a system, okay? A system to do whatever it is, a system to lose weight, a system to pick up girls, a system to make money, a system to get into shape, a system to rehab your bad back, a system to help somebody's website, a system, some kind of system, right? All of us have a system. Any product you're selling, there's some kind of system that you can create, and we'll go through this here in a second. But a system you can create that'll help fulfill a need for somebody. Okay, so these are the three things you need to have. And we'll go over this again a lot over this, but just kind of start thinking about that. What's your secret? What's your case study? And what is your system? Okay? All right. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so we have a couple foundational things before we dive into to the big 3 points, okay? So I'm going to go over like your buyer magnet, your visible funnel, and your black box in excruciating detail, but we've got to have some foundational things first, otherwise none of that stuff is going to make sense for you, okay? So first thing I want to talk about a little bit more is your system, okay? Your system, again, is the thing, the outline of what it is you're selling. And the first time I kind of understood this concept of needing a system was probably about 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, I was I got asked to speak at an internet marketing seminar. And at the time, I was selling all sorts of weird stuff, and I didn't really have a big internet marketing following at all. But I had a couple people who knew what I was doing, and so I agreed to speak at this event. And I told people, I was like, hey, I'm going to speak at this event. If you buy a ticket through my affiliate link, because I'll get paid, I'll do a private one-day workshop a private workshop the night before the seminar to kind of give you guys the tools you need to be able to succeed from the seminar you're going to. And so I sent that out to my little tiny list at the time, and I got probably 10 or 15 people who went and signed up for the seminar through my affiliate link. I got paid commission, and then they showed up to the event. And so it was the night before the event. I showed up there, and I rented a little room, and I had this guy with a little video camera set up, and I was going to just record my little presentation to this group of like 12 people. What I didn't know at the time is that everyone had kind of flown into the seminar the same day. Everyone was down in the lobby hanging out, getting ready for the event the next day. And those 12 people who I invited were like, hey man, Russell's speaking tonight, you should come. Hey, Russell's speaking tonight, you should come. And they started telling other people, and they told other people. And so when I showed up and walked in this little tiny room where we were supposed to have 12 people in, I walked into a room that literally had 50 people in this room. And I had never spoken publicly in my life. And I walked in and I was scared to death. And it's kind of funny. I actually, this is back like when I first got started. I'd always wear like a shirt and a tie, and so I walk into my shirt and my tie, and I walk in, and I was just like, oh no, I was just planning on kind of BSing and just talking with these guys. I didn't realize I was gonna have a real audience. And so I was like, hey guys, thanks for coming. I left my notes up in my hotel room. I'll be right back. And I ran back out of the room, jumped in the elevator, went up the elevator, got into my hotel room, and I was like, what in the world am I going to talk about for the next 2 or 3 hours with these guys? I have nothing planned. And so I sat down really quick and I thought, okay, I'm going to teach these guys my strategy about internet marketing. I was like, well, if I was going to teach it, what would I teach? And I was like, well, step number 1, I would do this. And I wrote step number 1, boom. And I said, step number 2, I would do this. Step number 3, I would do this. And I wrote out, I think it was like 10 or 12 steps of what I would do if I was them in a spot where I was trying to start a brand new business. Okay, so I just wrote down those 12 steps. I tore down my notepad and I said, okay, well, I've got to go and I've got to go deliver my speech now, my presentation. So I walked back down the stairs, had my piece of paper in hand. I walked in the room. I said, hey everyone, welcome to the event. I've got a very powerful system I want to walk you through. Step number 1 is this. And I had a whiteboard and I mapped out step number 1. I spent probably 10 minutes talking about step number 1. Then I went and I taught step number 2, and I whiteboarded it out, taught step number 2, and then step number 3, and I had people ask questions, and I got feedback, and after after the I think it's about 2 hours long. After 2 hours of going through this, I finished my 10 or 12 steps, and I told them thank you, and I ended, and people were going crazy. Oh, this was the greatest thing in the world, and anyway, it was kind of cool. And like I said, I had this guy who had paid to record it. So at the end, he hands me DVDs like, here's a DVD of your presentation. I'm like, oh, sweet. So I took that home with me, and a little while later, I wanted to start selling stuff, teaching internet marketing, and I had this little DVD, and I thought, this is kind of a cool product. And so it goes through the 12 steps that I believe you need to have to kind of launch an online business. And so I took that DVD, and we found a company to burn it and make like an actual like product out of it, right? So I took that DVD and we started selling. It was free plus shipping. People pay for shipping. We'd ship it out to them, and that's how I launched my internet marketing coaching company. It was from this little DVD. Now what's interesting is that DVD covered my system. This was my system for how I kind of started and taught a business. Right? It went through step by step what I would do. Okay. Now I started looking at other businesses that I've created, and most every business I start, it starts with a system. Okay, we're in the couponing niche right now. So what is our system for saving money through coupons? Okay, same thing. We mapped out. Boom. Here's my system. And the easiest way to start thinking about a system, you guys, is look at any book. Grab a book off the shelf and look at the table of contents. The table of contents is the system for that book. Okay, and so if I was for our couponing business, if we were writing a book, I would say chapter 1 is this, chapter 2 is this, and I'd map out our system, or our table of contents, or our modules, or our secrets, or whatever you want to call them. Okay, same thing. We used to, for a little while, we were in the dating industry. We had a dating guru we were working with, and he had his system. Step 1, this is how you meet the girls. Step 2, this is how you talk to the girls. Right? Step 3, this is, and we had his system. My chiropractic buddy, he's got a system for helping people to overcome back pain. Right? Another chiropractor I know has got a system for helping people with ADHD. Okay, my physical therapist has got a system for helping somebody lose weight and get back in shape. You may have a system for helping somebody's website get ranked in Google. Maybe a system for helping somebody's site become more secure. Whatever it is, there's some kind of system that you guys have, right? And so the first key to this, and I'm going to show you guys why this is so important here in a second, but you've got to have this system figured out. Okay. When I created this presentation for you guys today, I sat down. I said, okay, for this black box, what's the system? What's the first step? What's the second step? You'll notice as I go through these slides, it's just like a table of contents in a book. In fact, as you guys will see here, probably in a month from now, we'll be launching a book. I've got someone who's going through this presentation with us. He's on here right now, and he is taking each of these sections that I'm going through. He's writing a chapter on each one, and it'll become an actual book. Okay. It's the same kind of concept, you guys, okay? You got to figure out what your system is, and you got to break it down into chapters or modules or whatever it is. Okay, and after you have that, this is going to become the foundation for your entire company. Okay? So first off, for those of you guys who don't have a business yet, I want you thinking about like what is it I want to do or sell or teach? Okay, you got to figure that piece of it out. I had a chance 2 days ago in my church, they asked me if I'd come speak to the 16-year-old young men about what I do, what my career is. And when they asked me, I kind of smiled, and I was like, I'm going to screw up these kids if I come talk to them about what I do for a living. They said, well, every month we have someone come and talk about their career. And they're like, we had a dentist come and speak. We had someone else come and speak. And I was like, all right, if you want me to come and speak, I will. But I'm like, what I do is really different. I'm probably going to inspire these guys to not want to go to school and to focus on their passions. And anyway, they let me come, and it was really fun. But the first thing I told these guys, I said, look, the most important thing you can do in this business is you got to find the thing that you're passionate about. Because as you will see as I kind of go through this with you guys, if you don't have a business yet, like, your passion has got to be the fuel to this entire thing, because you're going to be writing about it and talking about it and thinking about it and studying and researching and becoming an expert in something. You've got to become passionate about it. If you're not passionate about it, you've got to find a different thing. My chiropractic buddy, he's a good example, because when I first started, I met him a couple years ago. He was a chiropractor, but he wasn't that passionate about chiropractic. And I was like, dude, I think I like chiropractic more than you. Like, I am sold on it. I think I'm a big believer. And I told him why. And it took me a little while to convince him that his profession was awesome. And now you see that he's kind of caught the fire of what he does, and now he's passionate about it. He's studying and trying to learn from other chiropractors and bring in all the weird, different things into his practice. He started to see growth and started to see things happen. And so I told these kids, I said, look, the biggest thing you got to do is you got to find what you are fired up about, what you're passionate about, and that's what you're going to create your business around. Okay? I was looking at one of my friends, and this is one of my favorite stories, but his name's Jacob Hiller, and he owns a website called The Jump Manual. And if you go and look at Jacob's website, his story is interesting. So he was a kid who just wanted to learn how to jump higher. And luckily for him, he just documented what he was learning. So he would go and read a book or practice something or try something to jump higher, and he'd make a video and he'd post it on YouTube. Then he'd try something else, he'd make a video, post it on YouTube. And after 2 or 3 years of him posting tons of videos on YouTube, he got this huge following of people who were like, man, this guy loves jumping. I want to jump higher. And they just became fans of this guy because he was so passionate about jumping higher. And after a couple of years, he looked back and said, man, I got this huge following of people. You know what? I should make a system out of this. And if I do, I can make a lot of money with it. And so he went down and he created his system. Okay, it was an ebook called The Jump Manual. And he put it out there. And right now they make over $1,500 per day, every single day, selling this little ebook, teaching people how to jump higher. And the cool thing about Jacob is that he took that, and him and his wife, probably 6 years ago, they decided, you know what, we're working online, we don't have to have a house, let's just go and move to a different country, and let's spend 3 months there, and then after 3 months, let's move to a new country, and after 3 months, let's move to a new country. And for the last 6 years, he's been doing that. Him and his wife, they live in a country for 3 months, they pack up the big suitcases, they live there, and after it's done, they pick a new country, they just ship everything over to the new country, unpack, and boom, they stay there. And there's videos on his blog where he's in Kenya jumping with the guys in Kenya and learning jumping secrets from them and posting on his YouTube. And then he goes to China and he works with the guys there. And then he goes to wherever it is. And every single 3 months they move to a new country around the world. And they've been able to live this life because they created a system they were able to share with people. Okay, so if you don't have a business yet, just think about what it is you're passionate about, what fires you up. And you got to become an expert in that topic. You got to go out there and read every book. You've got to go and interview every expert, whatever it takes till you become like the sponge in the middle. You're sucking in all this information. And after you get all this, then you can turn around and say, based on what I've learned from all these people, this is my system. And you can start sharing that with people. And because you focused on building a following ahead of time by just sharing the cool stuff you're finding, it makes it very easy to start selling stuff later. Okay. Now, if you already have a business, and you've never thought about a system before, you got to figure out what is your system. Okay, I promise you, any business you're in, online, offline, there's some kind of system that you have. Some businesses will be so much easier to find than others, but I promise you that there is a system for every one of you guys. Okay, you just got to go out there, search for it, find it, and after you have it, kind of go down here and break it out in your modules or your chapters, your secrets. Okay, and again, this will become your foundation. So that's the first thing here is your system. Now, after you have your system, the next piece, and this is if you've ever studied with me before, you know this is one of my core fundamental beliefs, is a concept called the value ladder. Okay? If you look at this little chart here, on the left-hand side, you have value. Okay? On the right-hand side, you've got price. Now, if you come down here to the corner, the bottom left-hand corner, there is there is very little, the value is low, so the price is low, right? And if you go up, the value increases, and it goes across, the price increases. Okay, so this is a little value ladder right here. Okay, so the bottom of the value ladder, the price is really cheap and people don't get that much value. Then you go up a little bit, the value goes up a little bit, and the price goes up, and it goes up a little more, and there's this value ladder. You take someone along. Okay, now what you have to understand in business at all, it's all about value. How much value do you give your customers? If they receive value at one level, they're naturally going to want to send up and get more value from you. Okay. Think about any business that you've had any interactions with, where if you do something with them and you receive value, you're like, man, this was awesome. I want more of that. I want to go to another movie. I want to go back to that masseuse. I want to, whatever it is. If you receive value at one level, you automatically want to ascend up and receive more value. Okay, so this is a value ladder. Now, I'm going to show you kind of like what a value ladder looks in my business, or a business of an author or a speaker or a consultant. Okay, this is kind of what a .com Secrets value ladder looks like. Okay, at the bottom of the value ladder, we give away something for free, right? A free newsletter or a free ebook or a free CD or something. Okay, and notice that the value isn't that high, but the price is low, so someone comes in there and they get that thing. Now, if they receive value from that thing, they're naturally going to want more, right? They say, man, that was really, really good stuff Russell shared with me. I want some more. What's the next thing? Boom, and then I send them up to maybe a book, and maybe the book I sell for $30. Okay, so the price is increased, and now they get the book, they receive more value. And after they get that, they're like, his book was awesome. What else does he have? Well, maybe I've got a webinar or a home study course, something I sell for $300. Boom, so they get that. If they receive value at this level, they're going to say, man, I want some more. And they're going to send it to the next level and the next level all the way to the top. Does that make sense? Okay. So what I want to share with you guys, the first time I really saw this is after we made that free DVD we talked about, right? So that free DVD became the bottom of my value ladder down here. Okay, so I gave away this free DVD. I charged like $5 or $6 shipping handling. People would get a copy of it. They'd watch the DVD and they're like, "Wow, Russell, those 2 hours I spent on him was really cool. For 2 hours I learned all this cool stuff, and Russell's awesome. Like, he provides a lot of value. Like, what else has he got? I want some more of this this stuff, right? I want some more information from Russell." And so they start looking for me. And they're like, "Oh, Russell sells a workshop for $200, an online workshop." So they buy that, and they ascend up this value ladder. Okay, and then after that, they buy something else. And at the end, my goal up here, see this top of my value ladder? This is my goal for someone. This is the most amount of value that I can provide for somebody. If I can give somebody this, I could change their life. Okay, in all your guys' business, I want you to think about this. Like, if you could offer somebody one thing, the best thing in the world, what would that thing be? Okay, for me, like, the best thing I could possibly do for someone is have them come to my office, let them give me their product, and I just do the whole thing for them. Is that a lot of value? It's a ton of value, right? If you just said, "Hey, Russell, here's my product. Just take care of it all. Send me checks." That's a lot of value, right? So I want to ask you guys, if you didn't know who I was, had no idea about if I had any credibility, if I ever done this before, but I came up to you on the street and I'm like, "Hey, man, great to meet you. I see you wrote an ebook. You know what? If you will give me $50,000, I will take that ebook, I will sell it, and I'll give you a royalty for the rest of your life." What do you think you'd say? Most of you guys would probably say, "Dude, you're insane. $50,000 because you think you can sell my ebook, huh?" And you just probably laugh at me. You laugh me out of my out of the whole situation, right? And that's what typically, that's trying to sell a high ticket thing. It doesn't work. And so what we do is we come back down and I give away a free CD. Someone gets value and they're like, "Man, this is awesome." And then they buy my $200 course, and they sign up for my $500 coaching. And all of a sudden they come right here and it's like, "Hey, for $50,000, Russell will do this whole thing for you." And they're like, "Dude, that is the greatest deal in the world. I receive value at every single step of this process, and I'm going to receive value here as well." And now it becomes a no-brainer. Okay, and that's kind of how a value ladder works. You got to look at, like, what is this main thing you want to sell, this main value you want to give somebody, and then how do you send somebody up to that? Okay. Now, a couple concepts I want to share. If you think about it, the free DVD that I gave away back here that shared my 12 secrets, my 12 steps for starting and launching an online business, is there any difference between what I teach right here and what I do up here for $50,000? Okay, no, it's the exact same thing. Here I'm teaching you the 12 steps. Okay, in the middle here, maybe I'm doing a workshop for $5,000. I'm teaching the exact same thing I taught on the DVD, but here you get to come to Boise and hang out with me. I'm going to teach you step by step by step. So you're getting the exact same content, but it's packaged in a different way, right? But you're willing to pay more money because it's packaged differently. You're learning the same thing, but you get to ask questions, you get to see me in person, and you get to be part of the environment. So you'll pay $5,000 for the exact same content you paid $2,000 or $10 for over here. And then over here, the same thing that I was teaching is I'm just doing it this time. I'm just packaging it different, but now you're paying $50,000 or $100,000 for that. Okay, see how that works? First time I really got this was when I first started this business. Everyone told me, like, you need to go read Think and Grow Rich. You got to read Think and Grow Rich. And so I was like, all right, I'll read Think and Grow Rich. So I went to Amazon.com. Think and Grow Rich is like $10. I'm like, sweet. I bought a copy of it. Book got shipped out to me. I think this is before Prime, so it took like 5 days to get out to me. And then I've got Think and Grow Rich, and I'm like, sweet, I'm going to read this book. And I put it next to my bedstand, and it sat there for months and months and months, and I never read it. And every time I go to a seminar, people are like, man, you got to read Think and Grow Rich. Who here's read Think and Grow Rich? And everyone raises their hand except for me. And I'm like, man, I'm like that dude who hasn't read it yet. And but it was hard because I just didn't have time to sit down and actually read a book. And so I was kind of frustrated. And then I remember one day I was on eBay goofing around, just looking for something cool to buy, as I do often. And then all of a sudden I saw someone was selling the audio version of Think and Grow Rich, and it was $97. And I was like, you know what? That is awesome. So I spent $97. They shipped me the CDs. When I was driving around around town all day, I listened to CDs, and within about 2 weeks, I had read. I say that in parentheses, in quotations. I read the book Think and Grow Rich because I listened to it. Right now, let me ask you: is there any difference between the text version of Think and Grow Rich down here at the bottom of the value ladder, or the audio version of Think and Grow Rich up at the top? No, it's the exact same words. It's just a dude reading the words. But down here for $10, I got the book. But they packaged it differently, so I was willing to spend 10 times as much money. $100 I spent for the CDs because it was packaged differently in a way that was more convenient for me to consume it. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? So this is a quote you need to understand. People will spend more money for the exact same content packaged in a different way. Let me say it again. People will spend more money for the exact same content packaged in a different way. Think about this from the chiropractic standpoint, right? You can go give someone your ebook you wrote on how to increase your health, and they can go and follow those things. Or you can have a health regimen where they come in once a week, you weigh them, you give them the next piece of it, and the book you can sell for $10, the regimen you can sell for $3,500. Same information packaged in a different way. Makes it easier to consume, more accountability, whatever it is. But that's what's happening in business, you guys. Happens all day long, and not just information businesses, okay? Again, this is like the information business that I kind of showed you how typical info product business works, but it works in the real world as well. Okay, here's the value ladder for a dentist. Now, I want to explain a story about how I had the joy to go through a dentist value ladder about, probably 6 or 7 years ago. So I had started my internet business, and like most entrepreneurs, I didn't know anything about starting a business. I just wanted to sell stuff. And so I'm selling stuff, and I'm making money, and my wife and I just gotten married, and so we didn't have health insurance. We didn't have any insurance. We're just kind of hustling, trying to sell stuff to put food on the table, and I'm making some money. And so I didn't have health insurance or dental insurance for years. And then probably about 4 or 5 years into having my business, and I started hiring employees. And employees, they always want benefits, right? Like, what are the benefits if I work here? I'm like, the first benefit, you get to hang out with me all day. And then I'm like, that's the main benefit. They're like, well, I mean, like real benefits. We want health insurance and dental insurance. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. So we ended up about 4 years into my business getting health and dental insurance, right? And so we got the insurance, and I hadn't been to a dentist for probably 5 or 6 years because I didn't have dental insurance. And so we now had the ability to go to the dentist, and all of a sudden this postcard showed up in the mail from Willow Tree Dental. It said, it basically just said, hey, there's come in for a free teeth cleaning. And I was like, sweet, free teeth cleaning. I got dental insurance now. I'm in. So we show up to the dentist for the teeth cleaning. He's going through. He's cleaning my teeth. And after a few minutes, he looks at me and he says, hey, Russell, I just had a question. I'm like, yeah. He's like, do you drink coffee or do you smoke or something? And I was like, what? What do you mean? He said, well, your teeth are kind of yellow, so I'm curious. Like, do you either drink coffee or smoke, or just curious why your teeth are so yellow? I was like, no, I don't drink coffee or smoke. Like, my teeth are seriously yellow? He's like, yeah, they are. But if you want, don't worry about it. Like, we can, I have a whitening kit. We can whiten your teeth, and boom, your teeth will be white very, very quickly if you're interested. And I was like, Yes, please. Yes, whiten my teeth. I don't want it. So he went and he made me a teeth whitening kit really quick. Then he comes back, he's working my teeth some more, and he said, so did you used to have braces or anything? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, I could tell. I'm like, well, how could you tell? He said, well, your two top teeth and your two bottom ones are kind of shifting again, and that usually happens to people who had braces and they don't have them now. I was like, my teeth are shifting? Are you serious? And he said, yeah, they're definitely shifting. I was like, well, what can you do about that? He's like, well, if you want, I can build a retainer for you, and the retainer will help keep all your teeth in place, and they won't shift anymore. I'm like, yes, please make me a retainer. And so he made me a retainer, and I got done at the dentist's office, and I left with like a $3,000 or $4,000 bill. Okay, I walked in the dentist's office for my free teeth cleaning. The dentist provided value to me. My teeth got clean. I was excited, and then he provided more value by whitening my teeth, and I was willing to spend money for that because I wanted white teeth. Then he provided more value by offering a retainer, and he ascended me up his value ladder. Okay, and I was very happy with it because at the end of the day, I got white teeth and straight teeth. Got me excited. Okay, and then the next day, my wife went in for her free checkup and walked out with another $3,000 or $4,000 bill. Okay, that's a value ladder for a dentist. Very easy to see how that works, right? Now, this is something I want to explain this because some of you guys, you probably never thought about a value ladder before. I'm guessing some of you guys have no idea with whatever. If you're selling something right now, you're probably like, I've got this piece of the pie, but I'm not sure what else to sell. Okay, so I had this with one of my friends, my chiropractic friend again. I first met him, and he started his own practice, and he was doing adjustments. And for anyone who's a chiropractor out there who works with one or knows one, you know adjustments are like $40 to $50, right? And, you know, chiropractors go to medical school for who knows how long, 5-6 years, to be able to learn how to do an adjustment. And so they come in, you pay your $40, $50, they adjust you for 5 seconds, and boom, they're in and they're out. And that's kind of how a chiropractor makes its money. And so when I first met him, I was just like kind of fascinated. He was like, wow, he's asking me like, well, how can this internet marketing stuff you do, how can this help my business? And so I'm like, well, show me your business model. And he kind of went through, and maybe I had to think for a while to kind of figure out like, how does this stuff mesh into like a chiropractic business? And a little while later, some of you guys know I had my own wrestling team here in Boise for a while. We were had a bunch of guys who were all training for the Olympics, and they had a chiropractor who was coming in and adjusting him a couple of times a week. And this one time, the chiropractor could not come in, and so all the guys were hurting. And instead of like waiting for a day or so, Justin, one of the guys, he just went on YouTube and he typed in chiropractic adjustment. And he watched a couple YouTube videos. He's like, I get the gist. And he walked down and he adjusted everyone on the team. And he called me and told me the story. I started laughing so hard, and I called my chiropractic buddy up. I said, guess what? Justin was able to replicate everything that you learned in college for 6 years. He replicated that after watching 10 minutes of YouTube videos, and now he's completely replaced what you do. And he got super mad, and he was like, you know, trying to tell me why that was a bad idea, and you know, all this stuff. And I kind of cut him off. I said, look, I'm not trying to do this to offend you. I said, this is a teaching moment for you, okay? So calm down and let's just think about this for a minute. I said, you spent 6 years in school learning how to do adjustments, right? He said, yeah. I said, what else did you learn while you were there? He's like, well, I learned how to do this and this and all these other things that he had, all these skills he had learned in school, all this other specialized knowledge he had. And I said, so how much of that stuff do you ever offer to your patients? He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, well, after you adjust them, like, what do you do? He's like, they usually just leave. I said, so do you think you could provide more value to him? He's like, well, yeah, I could do all sorts of stuff for him. I said, okay, this is what we're talking about. And I sat down and we mapped out his value ladder. I said, look, an adjustment's like the middle of the value ladder right now. Someone comes in, you got this adjustment, like, what else can you give them? He's like, well, we can build a wellness plan for him. We can do a weight loss plan. We can do all these other things that you can start selling him. And suddenly we added a back end to his business. Okay? Now, some of you guys are in this business right now. You've got an ebook, right? You've got something you're selling in the middle, but nothing on the back end. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. You got to figure out, like, what's the back end? Someone just bought this ebook from me. Is it coaching? Is it a seminar? Like, what's the thing on the back that I can take someone to? Okay, they just bought a software program from me online. What else? What other value can I provide to them? You got to think about that. If you just keep asking for your question, what other value can I provide for them? When you find that out, boom, it becomes the top end of your value ladder. Okay, now the next piece of this is the other side, going back the other direction. Okay, a chiropractic examination is not really a very sexy front-end offer, is it? Okay, I always joke with him, and I'll probably offend somebody here, but I don't really believe it. I like chiropractors more than any doctors in the world. But I always joke with him. I'm like, and I told him, I said, look, this is the deal. I'm like, with the massage, people want to come in because massages feel good. With a doctor, they have to go in because they think they're going to die. With the chiropractic exam, they're kind of in pain and they're annoyed, but it's not really a sexy thing. It's not sexy, it doesn't feel good. It's not like you have to go to a real doctor, you're going to die. You're kind of stuck in this middle ground. And I was like, you got to find something sexy to bring somebody in on the front end. Okay, your front end thing has got to be so sexy, it gets somebody in so you can provide some value. And if you provide value, then it's easy to send somebody up. And I said, if this is the front of your ladder, your business will always struggle. And so we sat down and tried to figure out like what a sexy front end offer was. And it came down to him, it was a massage. Okay, everyone likes getting massages. Massages feel great. Okay, it's a good thing to have. And so we said, look, the front of your value ladder needs to be a massage. And so he now has 2 full-time masseuses that come in and they give away free massages. And while they're doing the massage, they're trained now to look at the person's spine, their back and stuff and say, man, I'm not sure if you noticed, but your rib 3, 6, and 5 are out and your neck is a little bit tweaked over here. And the person's like, what? My rib is out? And said, yeah, but if you want, I can have the doctor come in and he could adjust you when I'm done if you want. Yeah, sure, please send him in. My rib's out of place. I want that thing back in, right? So the masseuse provides value and then ascends them up the ladder. Okay, the doctor comes in, adjusts the person, boom, they make their $40. Now he's got him in this value ladder. Now he can send him up and offer wellness and everything else. Okay, and that's how you build a good business, you guys, is looking at what it is you're selling and figure out what's going to be the front of your value ladder and what's going to be the back of your value ladder and what's going to be in the middle. Okay, most of you guys probably haven't thought about that yet. Okay, and if you haven't, this is really the key to everything I'm going to be teaching you guys. Okay, this whole Blackbox thing does not work if all you have is an ebook. Okay, you've got to have, we're going to help you create a very sexy front end. You're going to have your middle and you're going to have a high end. Okay. In fact, if you look at the 3-step system we're talking about here, okay, we talked about the buyer magnet. The buyer magnet will be this little front end. Your invisible funnel will be this middle end, and your black box will be the back end. Okay, but every business has got to have that. Okay, when I have people hire me and they pay me a ton of money to come into their business and look at it, it's the first thing I look at. What's your front end? What's the middle of your ladder? What's the top of it? And most times they have 1 or 2, but very few people have 3. And just by adding in 1 or 2, adding in the piece that they're missing, usually increases their business by millions of dollars very, very quickly. Okay. And the other thing is that you can have multiple back ends. Okay. The very first time I learned this, I was part of Bill Glazer and Dan Kennedy's mastermind group for I think 5 or 6 years. And when I first came in, I'm gonna come back because here's the .com Secrets Value Ladder. This is kind of what theirs looked like. I came in on this free newsletter, and they sold me to a paid newsletter, and they went all the way up, and the top of it had this $25,000 titanium group. And so I saw that, and I was like, man, I don't want to be the dude who's got to wait. I receive value down here, I'm in. That's kind of my personality. I don't want to like receive value over the next 6 months to a year. Like I want the top thing today. If I receive a little value from you, I'm buying this thing tomorrow. Okay, that's like typically how I work. I'll buy someone's ebook or their book, and if I like it, I call them up and like, how much money can I give you to do whatever your best thing is? I want that. Okay, I like shortcutting my success as much as I can. And so that's kind of what I did with these guys. I called up Dan Kennedy's office. I'm like, look, love your newsletter. I want in the platinum group or the titanium group. What's it going to take? And they're like, well, it's $25,000. Actually, they didn't tell me the price. They just said, you have to apply. It's usually sold out, and you probably won't get in. And I begged him, and I told them, and they said, well, you go ahead and apply and see if you get in. So I applied, and I sold myself like I was the greatest person in the world and best partner they could possibly have. And luckily for me, they accepted me. And then they told me it was $25,000, and that's when I started freaking out because that was like, I think at the time I was making about $100,000. So it was a fourth of everything I made went to this mastermind group. But I had already like sold myself on why I should be in. I didn't have the guts to be like, oh, never mind, I can't afford that. Like that was the last thing I wanted to do. So I'm like, I got to figure out how to make some money so I can get this thing. But I told them I was in, wired them my first set of money, and started going through the process. And I go to my very first mastermind meeting. And the way that their top end worked is they had these mastermind groups, $25,000. You meet with them 3 times a year. You come out to it, and for 2 days, you're in a room with 18 other business owners, and you basically get up and you share your business with everybody, and then the other 17 people in the room critique you for an hour and show you what to change, what to tweak, what to do better, and then you sit down. The next guy gets up, he goes through the whole process, shares everything, everyone critiques him, and he sits down. And and in 2 days, 18 people have gone up there, and everyone's critiqued their businesses. And what's cool is I got a ton of value in people critiquing my business, but I got even more watching everybody else's businesses get critiqued. Just open up new ideas I never even thought about, right? So anyway, it was really, really cool. But I'm sitting there in this room that I just paid $25,000 to be in, and I'm showing them my business model, and I showed them like, this is my $5,000 thing I'm selling on the back end. This is my $5,000 program. And I was like so proud of myself for being a big thinker, and I remember that that one of the guys in the room asked me, he raised his hand and he said, "So Russell, what do you sell to people that show up that pay $5,000?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? They paid $5,000. That's a lot of money. That's like the back of my funnel." And he said, and then I remember Bill Glazer looked over and he said, "Russell, you don't understand." He said, "That is the person sitting there in front of you is a $5,000 buyer lead. That person paid $5,000 to be there. That is the best possible person you could ever have to sell them your next thing, your 25 or your 50,000 or whatever the next thing is, right?" And I was like, wow, I never had even thought that was possible, that someone would spend $25,000 for something. And I sat back thinking, wow, I paid $25,000 to be here right now. Okay. And then what was interesting to me is that night, in that room of 18 of us, Bill Glazer came back and they had just started this project called The Phenomenon. Some of you guys may have seen it. But they pitched us, you could pay $30,000 to be in the movie The Phenomenon with Dan Kennedy. And half of the room, half of those 18 people paid the $30,000 to do that on top. And I was just like, wow, there really is like no end to the different back ends. Okay, if you keep providing value for people, you can keep adding more levels on this thing. And $30,000 times 9 people, they made a lot of money really quick. I've got a friend, her value ladder, she reads people's palms and then tells them in their business what that means. She's really, really cool. And so her like bottom of the value ladder, I think she's got like a training course about how you can read your own hand. And then for like $1,200, you take your hand, you stamp it in ink, you put it on a piece of paper, and you mail it to her. And then her or one of her students reads your palm print, critiques it for you, and sends it back to you. That was $1,200. And then so that's her middle of the value ladder. Then someone calls them back and like, "Hey, did you like your palm reading? Because if you want, you can come next week and hang out with Beth at her new retreat. It's only $5,000." And they come to the retreat where she then helps them interpret what the palm reading actually meant and how it affects their life and their business. And then at her live event, she sells people into a $100,000 program. $100,000, you guys. And the last event I talked to her about, she sold 9 people the $100,000 thing. Okay. And so I just want to like kind of put that out there. Like there's no end to this back end. You can keep creating new things. And if you're providing value and people see that value and they want more of it, they'll be willing to spend it. Okay. So anyway, I just want to kind of put that in perspective for you guys because you need to have your own value ladder. If not, you're losing so much money. Okay. All right. So that's kind of the foundational stuff we needed to cover ahead of time. Okay. So hopefully now you understand you need a system. You got to have a value ladder. Because if you have those things, everything else we're going to do is now possible, and we can ramp it up, and we can blow it up, and we can do some cool stuff with it. Cool? Any questions so far, you guys? That's someone asking for recording this. Yes, we are recording this. I will be posting it here by tomorrow morning, hopefully, as long as nothing crazy happens. All right, so let's dive in then. So we're going to start going through these 3 steps, you guys, and get ready. There's a lot of really, really cool stuff. All right. Okay, cool. Someone asked the system, says, isn't that for your own business or to sell? So your system is like what you're taking somebody through. If you're a chiropractor, you got a system to help somebody's back feel better. If you're an author teaching people how to lose weight, you're taking someone through a system on how to lose weight. If you're selling software that helps protect people's computers, you got a system for helping somebody to protect a computer, right? So it's the system you're taking a student through or a client through, or to give them the desired result at the end. Okay. All right. Okay, a good question. I'm gonna come back here because this is another good question someone just asked. So value. Someone said, so I've got a video marketing course for $149. How can I repackage that at a higher price? So if you look at like a typical info business, and this is kind of interesting. I'll throw this out. This is an extra bonus point for you guys. If you notice that, has anyone here ever tried to write a book? Let me know if you guys have tried to write a book. I wonder if anyone's ever tried before. Okay, who here's actually finished writing a book? I got a lot of people saying they've tried to write a book. If any of you guys actually finished it. Okay, I got 10 yeses, and all of a sudden it stopped, and everyone's saying I've had like 10 no's. Sometimes I got the table of contents. Okay, yeah, it's right. It's hard, right? And what's funny is that writing a book is at the bottom of the value ladder. Okay, because people in their mind, they're like, a book is worth $10 or $20. Okay, but it's the hardest thing to create. And so what I do is I go around and do it backwards. Okay, let's say I start at the back of the value ladder. So let's say I have a little list of people. And if you don't have a list, the way I first did is I just called up all my friends. I was like, hey guys, I can teach you how to do this really, really cool thing. Do you want to know how to do it? cool, show up at my house next week. I'm going to be recording it and just sit in the audience and ask me questions, set up a microphone and a thing, and I recorded my own little mini seminar, right? Or if you have a list, you can sell a seminar for $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000, whatever it is, but you start with the seminar first. Okay, because that's the easiest. It's the easiest way to sell something is get people in the room, or to teach something, get people in the room and teach them the concept. Okay, and it also happens to have like the highest perceived value. Okay, like a bad seminar is going to cost you $500 to $1,000 to go to. A good seminar is going to be $5,000 to $10,000 to go to. Okay, and it's also, like I said, the easiest content to create. So you go and you create that first. You create the back of the value ladder. Then you strip out the videos and boom, you make a video home study course. And you strip out the audios and make the audio version. Then you strip out the audios and make text, and boom, you've got your book. Okay, and you can go back and sell it that way. So if you've got a $150 video course, I would sell a coaching program on top of it. Or maybe it's a workshop, or maybe it's what's the next thing? How else can you provide value to someone who's just went through your course? Okay. The first time I ever did my own actual seminar, I had signed up for Matt Fury. He had I think it was a $15,000 or $20,000 mastermind group. And I got on the very first call of the mastermind group, and there was this weightlifting guy on there. He's like, yeah, I've got this weightlifting book, and I've got this course and stuff, and I'm making good money, but what would you do, Matt, to take it to the next level? And Matt's like, dude, you know what you should do? He's like, you should put on a seminar at your house where people can come and lift weights with you at your house and charge $8,000 to do it. And the guy was like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll do that. Okay. And the next guy gets on. He's like, hey, Matt, so I got a question. He's like, I sell this article marketing course, and I'm making some good money with it, but I don't know how can I grow my business? And Matt's like, you know what you should do? You should put on a seminar at your house for $8,000, or you let people come fly out there and do article marketing with you. And the guy's like, oh, that's a good idea. And the third person gets on. They're like, hey, Matt, so I got this cooking ebook, and I'm selling it, and we're doing really well with it, but I'm trying to figure out how to make more money in my business. And literally, Matt goes, you know what you should do? You should put on a party at your house so people can come and cook with you and charge $8,000. And anyway, after 3 of them in a row, I was like, hey, I've got an idea. I think I'm going to put on a workshop in my house and charge $8,000 and let people come to it. And so literally the next day, I sent an email out to my little tiny list of a couple hundred people at a time. And I said, hey, guys, I'm doing a workshop at my house, and I want to invite you to come and see me and see my computer and where I do my stuff and hang out with me. It's going to be $5,000. I was too scared to do $8,000, so I did $5,000 and sent that out, and I got 4 people to send me $5,000. $20,000 I made off of this thing. And then the next thing, I panicked because I didn't want to have a seminar and only have 4 people show up, because I was like, that'd be embarrassing. They wouldn't think that. They'd be like, dude, we were the only ones that bought this thing. So then I called all my friends, and I was like, can you guys do me a favor? Can you please come to this workshop? It's going to be 3 days long. Just sit in the audience, ask questions. Don't tell anyone you're here with me. And I ended up getting like 30 friends to come in a room with the 4 people that paid, and we did a workshop. We recorded the workshop. Boom, that became my first home study course. We took the PDFs of the home study course. Boom, that became my first like front-end book. And there you go. There's my value ladder. Okay? So there's kind of an easy, fun way to do it. All right. Very, very cool. Okay. Someone said, so what if you're selling a network marketing program like Empower Network? Cool. So network marketing, so Empower Network, for example, is like a good example of a middle of the value ladder thing, okay, right? It's like the chiropractic adjustment. You can be in any program. You're in Visalis, you're in Avon, you're in Mary Kay, I don't care what the MLM. MLM is the middle of the value ladder thing. Okay, MLMs are so hard to sell just straight up by themselves. It's really hard. So you got to create something on the front end, which is and I'll walk you through how to create a buyer offer here in a minute, or buyer magnet. That's your front end thing that you'll see. And in the back end, I would sell coaching. Okay, like if you got someone, I got friends who are making millions of dollars a year selling people into a network marketing program, and then selling coaching those people to show them how to get people into a network marketing program. Okay, most people like, if you join my team, I'll coach you for free for the rest of your life. And what happens to those guys? They get burned out and they want to kill themselves. The other guys say, hey, join my team because we're awesome. And by the way, sign up for coaching for $5,000 and I'll show you how to do what we're doing. And what happens to those guys? They get rich. Okay, and their people have success because they're paying in, and it's just a little bit different. Okay, so network marketing program is like a perfect middle of the value ladder type thing. So now we got to focus on your front end and your back end, but that's kind of the structures. That I say, was that cool? And I saw someone wrote cool. Okay, very, very cool. All right, Carl, so can you help me show me how to structure a coaching program? Yes, when I get to step number 3, the Blackbox, we're going to be covering coaching program stuff. Okay. I'm loving your guys' feedback. Brian says, awesome, got cool, thanks, great tips. Very, very cool. Oh, this is effing good. I'm not going to say that one live, but thank you very much, Christopher. Cool. All right, guys, we're only 54 minutes in, and we haven't even gotten to step number 1 yet. I hope you're receiving a ton of value so far. If you're getting tons of good value so far, give me a heck yes. Okay. Good. All right. Very, very cool. Someone said, Russell, you trapping us in your value ladder? I don't know. Am I giving you value right now? Do I practice what I preach? I sure hope so. Okay, I'm going to show you guys just how to do the same thing with affiliate stuff and everything else. So let me go to step number 1 where I talk about the buyer magnet, and then I'll show you how we do this for affiliate offers, network marketing offers, all these different things, okay? Because it'll make more sense when we get there, okay? Melissa said she's got a sore face from smiling. That's a good problem to have. All right. So let me jump around. Okay, so we're going to jump into step number 1, the buyer magnet. Now this one, hopefully, for most of you guys will be one of the biggest ahas that'll change your perspective on marketing as a whole, okay? For the last, probably 10 years or so, the biggest thing, we always talk about squeeze pages. And squeeze pages are really, really good. We still use them a lot. But we're finding something that is becoming more, becoming better for us than a squeeze page. Much more effective in getting us the right type of customers. Much more effective in converting. We're actually getting higher conversion rates on these types of squeeze pages than we do like a typical one. In a lot of cases, sometimes it's less, but overall the metrics that I'll show you will make more money on it, and so we can get leads at a cheaper costs. It's just a different way to kind of frame what you're thinking. So I'm going to walk you guys through this process because I think it's kind of powerful. Okay. All right. So let me jump in here. So the first thing I want to talk about is the power of free. Excuse me. So if any of you guys have had a chance to read the book Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely, I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. It's a really cool book. You should read it just because it's awesome and because I said so. But it's worth reading, definitely, for sure. But in the book, they talk about a bunch of different case studies and things that happen. And this is one that just, when I read this the first time, it just had a huge impact on me. And we shifted a ton of our business because of it. So they said they did this test, and they tested it first like with college kids, and they did it with older people, younger people, and it doesn't test like 1,000 times, and every time it comes out consistent. So they took a Hershey Kiss, right, which a Hershey Kiss is worth what, like, a tenth of a penny, and took a nice Lindt chocolate, like the really nice, expensive chocolates, right? And they put 2 plates out there, one with a stack of Hershey Kisses, one with a stack of Lindt Mints, and they said basically it's 1 cent to buy a Hershey Kiss or 26 cents to buy a Lindt chocolate. And they put all these people through this line, right? And they let them do it. And they found it was like 40, it was like 50-50, like 40% or 40 people would buy Hershey Kiss, 40 people would buy Lindt. So like almost 50-50. And first they thought, well, it's because they have to like pull money out of their wallet and it's a quarter versus a penny. So instead, let's put like in a cafeteria line. We're already buying food. They just like add it to their bill. That way there's no extra effort. It's just you picked, you want the 1 cent chocolate or the 26 cent chocolate, right? And it was just split 50-50. And they're like, okay, that's kind of cool to know. They said, okay, let's do a test. Let's drop the price of each of these by 1 penny. So let's drop the Hershey Kiss from 1 cent down to free and the Lindt from 26 cents down to 25 cents. Okay, so they just dropped it down by 1 cent on each of them, and suddenly the numbers flopped. Okay, 90% of the people took the free thing instead of the cheaper version of the super nice chocolate. Okay, and they tried the other direction. Let's take it from 1 cent to 2 cents. They jumped it up, and it still said 50-50. The only difference is when it became free, the majority of people shifted to free instantly because it was free. Okay, so I first heard that, I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, people want stuff for free. And how can I create stuff in my business that gives them stuff for free? If I know that the majority of people are more likely to accept my offer the second it becomes free. If I'm a chiropractor and everyone's out there offering discount exams, or if I'm a car dealership and I'm doing, or insurance salesman or whatever it is, and everyone's offering discounts, if I can offer mine for free, suddenly the majority of the people are going to shift over to me. What can I do? How can I structure my offer to make that happen, right? So we started thinking about that and testing that, and trying to figure out how could we do that? How could we make that happen, right? And so we started coming up with a bunch of different ideas. And this is probably 4 or 5 years ago when we first started testing this. And something really interesting came out of it. And this is called my 100 visitor test. And we tested it extensively with tons of markets, tons of sales funnels. And the what happened was really interesting. So this is how it works. We sent 100 visitors to a website, right? And on that website, they purchased a product, all right? And the product was $197. And we had to have really, really good copy. And we had to tweak it and test it until we were able to get about 1% of the people who we sent here to purchase the product. Okay, so if we send 100 visitors, 1% of the people buy this thing. We made $197 and we received one customer, right? One new customer now we could sell to and market other things, all that kind of thing. Okay, then we start shifting around saying, well, what if we offered somebody something for free? How would that change the metrics? How could we manipulate this to make it so we make more money and we get more customers and everything becomes a big win-win for us, right? So the exact same 100 visitors, just do A/B split tests, one funnel versus the other. We send them to an offer where we're selling a free plus shipping product. Now this is one of my original free plus shipping products. It was called Do You Suck at Making Money? It's no longer for sale. I may re-release it though someday because it was really funny. But it was a free plus shipping thing. And then after somebody would buy that, then we would upsell them the $197 thing we were trying to sell them before. Okay? Now my question was, am I going to lose money because I'm making someone pull out their credit card and buy this thing before they even have a chance to see this? Like logically, I'm going to have a tenth of the people who ever see this. So I should make a lot less money, right? So we started just looking at that and we tested it and saw what happened. And this is kind of what would happen. We'd send 100 visitors to this free thing. And because it was free and because it was this cool, interesting, unique thing, we got a huge percentage of people to take it. We average about 8% of the people who come to one of our free pages to request the free thing, to put a credit card in and pay $1 or $2 or whatever the shipping and handling is for something to get this thing shipped out to them. Okay. Now what's interesting is after somebody has said yes once, to get them to say yes the second time is so much easier. Okay, I don't know what it is about psychology of buyers, but it's kind of like this whole slippery slope. Like they start down a slippery slope and they say, yes, I'm interested enough in this, I'm willing to pull my credit card out. It's going to be free, I'm just covering shipping and handling, but I'm going to start this process. When they say that and they begin it, all of a sudden, boom, the next step, they're way more likely to say yes. In fact, on average, even today, most of our upsells average about 25% take rate. Okay, so the same 100 visitors come here, boom, 8 of them buy this, which means we got 8 new buyers. Okay, we want buyers, right? We want as many buyers as we can. So we got 8 new buyers. And then from those 8 buyers, 25% of them buy the upsell because now they're in the mindset of buying. Okay, 25% buy the upsell, and suddenly we make $394 off of the exact same 100 visitors. Okay, so I almost doubled my money and I got 7 times as many customers by adding this free plus shipping thing in the front. Okay, so this free plus shipping thing is what we call a buyer magnet. Okay, now the first time we ever did this to the big scale, we had a product called micro continuity. Okay, some of you guys may remember this or seen this, and we gave away these MP3 players. We went to Hong Kong, we found these MP3 players. I think they were like, I don't know, $4 or $5 a piece. We bought 10,000 of them, preloaded them with the whole entire course, and we started giving away these free MP3 players. And over a week's period of time, we gave away over 8,000 of these MP3 players, and it was awesome. Now, after we bought the MP3 player, we had some upsells for other products, and when all was said and done, people would go through this little sales funnel. We averaged about $55 for every MP3 player that somebody purchased. That makes sense, you guys? So we gave away a free MP3 player. People bought the upsells. So every one that we gave away, we averaged $55 in upsells. That's how much cash we made. Okay, so from those 8,000 buyers, we made $440,000. We collected. Okay? Keith Park says he still has it. That's awesome. Oh, and Carl said, or Carrie said that, asked about the credit card knife. I'm going to show you guys something here really, really interesting here in a second. Anyway, so that was what we did. Now, the problem with this is back then, this is the big thing everyone was doing, and we were doing, other people were doing, is after someone would buy this free thing, we put them on a continuity program. We would charge them $97 a month for this continuity, right? And from that, we made insane amounts more money. But the problem is about 4 or 5 years ago, the FTC and Visa and MasterCard really shut down on free plus shipping things because people were doing this continuity stuff. And so because I got nervous about that, we kind of just walked away from the whole model and shut the whole thing down and kind of forgot about it. Okay? But I want to show you guys something. I'm going to open, if you've never been on my trainings before, I use Microsoft Paint a lot because it's like a whiteboard. So this is what happened. Again, so I drove them here, I gave away a free MP3 player. Boom. So I think we charged like $7 shipping handling, right? Boom. So we lost money right there. But then we had a couple upsells in here. When they would buy that, we were averaging $55. $55 for every one we gave away over here. And then we take them on the thank you page. And then we'll do the Blackbox back here, which we'll talk about in a minute, where we actually ended up making an extra $150 per buyer. That's another story we're not going to talk about right now. But this is something to look forward to for about an hour from now. And then we put on this continuity where we're charging people $97 a month. Okay? And so we made, like, this campaign made us crazy amounts of money. Now, after the whole free plus shipping thing, people started freaking out about it. Guess what I did? I threw out the baby with the bathwater. We just cut this whole thing out and walked away from it. What I should have done, and I wasted probably 4 years and probably tens of millions of dollars, if I would have been more intelligent, I just would have killed this part. This is what the FTC and people and Visa and MasterCard hated. This part right here. This part here, nobody had any issues with, ever. Nobody ever did. But I killed the baby with the bathwater, and this is the part I was missing out on. Every MP3 player I was making $55. So imagine if I paid an affiliate $30 to give an MP3 player, it means I made $25 for every MP3 player I give away. Okay, you guys start seeing the power of this? I'm gonna take it like 10 levels deeper here in a second, but I just want the wheels in your head to start spinning. Okay, and so let me erase this whole thing real quick so I can come back. So that's kind of what we're talking about here with the buyer magnet. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys a ton of examples of this because I think it'll get you fired up. So an example of one of these buyer magnets we use for our supplement. Now this one's not a perfect example because this one we do continuity on. We are very clear and very specific, and we never had any issues with this. But check out how this offer works. Okay, somebody comes to this page, and they get a free bottle of our supplement, and there's a two-step process. Step number 1 says, where do you want us to ship it? And they put in their shipping address. And then after they click on that, it takes them to step number 2, where they put in their credit card to give them the free bottle, and we give them the ability to upsell if they want more bottles right now where they can make more money. Okay? So this is what I call a buyer magnet. Okay? So buyer magnet, step number 1, I'm asking for their shipping. Step number 2, I ask for their credit card. Now, the key here is it's got to be 2 steps. Okay, if you ask for a credit card here on this first page, guess what happens? Nobody gives you their stuff because they see this huge form and they're like, who is this guy? But if you come in and say, hey, where do you want me to ship it to? And then step page number 2, you're like, hey, give me your credit card and then to cover shipping and handling, it's all yours. Now, this key, you have to tell them you're charging shipping and handling. Otherwise, it's very unethical. So, I mean, we talk about this all over the place in the video, like you're paying shipping and handling. Anyway, that's kind of the process. Now, what happens is people come here and we get insane amounts of people opt in here. We're getting 30 to 40% opt-in rate right here. Okay, 30 to 40%, you guys. Is that better or worse than most of your squeeze pages? Okay, I'm guessing it's better than most of your squeeze pages. So you're getting insane opt-in rates right there. And then step number 2, we don't get 30, not 100% of these people go through, but now guess what happens? We might get, 60% of those people who fill out step 1 to fill out step 2. Those other 40%, we can follow up them. We have a whole sequence in place that tells them, hey, we saw you fill out step 1, but you never fill out step 2. Go finish your order here. Finish your order here. And this follow-up series will keep closing people. Boom, boom, boom. And we see a huge increase in close rate by having this 2-step buyer magnet funnel. Does that make sense, you guys? So that's how we do it in the supplement industry. Now, some of you guys may have seen recently we launched this little funnel right here. Okay, our .com Secrets Labs one. Any of you guys see this? I hope so, because I told every one of you guys to buy this after you register for this webinar. Okay? So this was an example of a buyer magnet. Okay, you get a free book, the 108 Proven Split Test, which, by the way, happens to be the best product I've ever created in the history of my life. This product, we were planning on selling it for $997. And like a month ago, I had this idea, and I called everyone. I'm like, well, guys, what if we just gave away for free? I'm like, we will get people, when we talk about value ladder, we will give as much value as possible up front. People, anyone who gets this product in their hands will be a Russell Brunson.com Secrets raving fan for the rest of their life. This is the best product we have. I should be selling this for $1,000, and we're giving it to everyone for free, okay? Because, again, value ladder provides much value as possible. And I promise you, anyone who buys this book, like I said, become a raving fan. They'll buy everything else. They'll upgrade. They'll go to our coaching, our high-end masterminds, because this is our best stuff we have. But check out this funnel. Hey, free book. Where do you want to ship it to? Boom, boom, boom. Step number 2, put in your credit card information, and we ship you out this thing. Okay? Same thing. This page right here, guys, is getting 30, 40% opt-in rate. Okay? I'm getting their full shipping address. Okay? And step 2, we get their credit card. Okay? Is that pretty powerful? Okay. And then after somebody buys this book, then we have an upsell. Some of you guys, if you went through, you saw here's an upsell. This is an upsell for one of our courses. We currently sell for $1,000. We give it for $297. This is 2 3-day workshops. This is like 6 days worth of workshops on how to build your own automated webinar funnel, how to script your webinar, everything for $300. okay, and they say no to it, then we downsell payment plan version of it, the $3, 3 payments, $97. Anyway, that's our little funnel. So there's one upsell and then a downsell, and that's it. And right now, we've been running this for like, I think 2 weeks, just so you guys can see the numbers, just so it makes sense. So we give away our free book. People pay $9.95 shipping handling. I believe that's the price on it. Then we upsell $297. And they say no, and we downsell 3 times $97. Okay, so right now, just so you guys know my metrics, it's kind of interesting. And again, we're tweaking it and testing it, just trying to learn this whole process. For every free book we give away, right now we are averaging, last I saw the numbers, we were averaging somewhere like $38 in upsells. Okay, so it's like, what, 12% take rate on the upsell, something like that. So it's not like crazy good conversion yet, but we're making $38 for every one of these things we give away. Okay, now for me, I look at that and I say, there's an opportunity here. Okay, first off, if I'm buying ads on Facebook, or I'm buying ads on, buying solo ads, whatever I'm buying, I can spend $38 to give away one book. And if I do that, I'm breaking even. And now I can start growing a list of buyers very, very quickly. Okay, or I can go to an affiliate and say, hey, affiliate, I'll pay you $20 for every book you give away. Every free book you give away, I'll pay you $20 or $30, or maybe $40 or $50. I'm going to pay. You can pay whatever you want because you're making the money back here in the upsells. And then, as you guys will find out here in a minute when I share with you the Blackbox, you can make a lot more, like averaging $100 to $1,200 per buyer through the Blackbox. We'll share with you guys here in a minute. Okay, now, there's a concept I want you guys to understand here, because this is really key to this whole thing working. My very first seminar I ever went to, I heard a guy named Mike Littman speak, and he had this profound impact on me. He had a model kind of this, where he was giving away a free CD, and then he sold coaching and upsells and stuff. And he told me at the seminar he was speaking, he said, we spend $40 to give away every single free CD. And I was like, dude, you're a moron. Like, you're spending $40 to give somebody something for free. Like you're the dumbest person I ever met. And I remember just thinking that, and I was like, I just don't get it. And so he mapped out his little funnel, just like I kind of showed you guys right here. And then he stopped, and he got a little quiet. And he said, you guys, amateurs focus on the front end. And then he went on. And I don't remember anything he said after that. For me, like, everything got quiet, and all I remember is that ringing through my head over and over and over again, was that concept. Amateurs focus on the front end. Okay, amateurs are selling a $37 ebook and trying to make $37 off it. Okay, amateurs focus on the front end. Okay, people like us, people who want to build a real business, we focus on the back end. This is where the money is made. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? The wheels in your head spinning a little bit here, I hope. Christopher said, I love this training. Okay. Okay, Darren asked a good question. He said, so this is a physical book? Yeah, this is a physical book. I can't tell you how many people emailed us after we launched, said, well, Russell, if it's free, can you send me the PDF? No, I can't send you the PDF because I want to qualify buyers. I don't want people on my list who want a free copy of my book. I want people on my list who are willing to pull a credit card out and spend $10 for me to ship them a $1,000 product. Okay, if you're not willing to pull a credit card out of your wallet, I don't want you or don't need you on my list. Okay, why did I make you guys pull out a credit card to show up on this webinar? I could have done this as a free webinar, but guess what? I don't want that anymore. I don't want to deal with people that are looky-loos. I want to deal with serious people who realize this is a serious business and they're willing to invest in themselves. Okay? You voted with your wallet. That's how you got on this webinar today. You pulled a credit card out and said, I am willing to trade my credit card number in exchange for information on a topic. That's how I know you're serious. Okay? So because of that, I'm going to provide insane amounts of value to you because I want you to send up my value ladder. But I'm doing that because you proved to me that you're a buyer. You voted with your credit card. Okay? Okay, good. You guys are going a little crazy right now. I love it. Okay, so again, that's why these are physical books. Okay, again, you could have sent a PDF or free MP3, or I could have sent you something digital, but I didn't because I want buyers. When all said and done, the only thing I want is buyers. And this is something I learned from Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy said, a buyer is a buyer is a buyer. Okay, someone who buys something will continue to buy something until you offend them or you stop providing value to them. Okay, so let's get a buyer in here. Let's provide insane amounts of value to them, and guess what? They'll keep buying because that's what buyers do. Okay, I am a buyer. You can ask anyone here in my office how much junk I buy online. I buy tons of stuff because I'm a buyer. Okay, I'm a proven buyer. If I'm on your list, you guys will be the happiest people in the world because I buy stuff over and over and over again. Okay, you guys all want lists full of buyers. Am I right? You don't want a list full of looky-loos. You want a list full of buyers. So this is the fastest way to get a list full of buyers. Stop giving away free reports and free secrets and all that kind of stuff. Make somebody pull out a credit card and ship them out something. And if you do that, now you're starting building a list of buyers. And like I said, these things convert at like 30 to 40%. Okay, same as a good squeeze page. And so that's just kind of some cool stuff. All right. All right. I love your guys' feedback. Best training I ever had. I paid $25K for a mentor, and this is even better. Thank you, Christopher. Yes, my head is spinning. I'm feeling dizzy. Awesome. Cool. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm gonna keep going because I want to show again. This comes out of case studies. Sure, Russell, you can do it because you're awesome, but who else can do it? So I want to show you this. So some of you guys saw during Christmas time, I promoted this little offer, right? Give a free credit card knife. And it was funny because I sent this out and I was like, hey guys, I bought this really cool thing for myself for Christmas. It's $3. I ship you out this credit card knife. It's awesome. You should all get one. I sent it out to my list, and I had this guy on Facebook who went crazy. Posted on Facebook, Russell's an idiot. He's selling stuff that's unrelated to his list and blah, blah, blah. Like this huge thing, right? And I went into his Facebook group and I was just like, hey man, I was like, just so you know, like there's a method to my madness. I'm not just like doing stupid things. Like this is a really cool funnel. I'm trying to see how they qualify buyers. I'm trying to see how it converts. I'm trying to learn some stuff about what these guys are doing. Because if you know anything about this company, this is owned by Ryan Dice and Perry Belcher. This company was doing under $30,000 a month before they added in these buyer magnets. They call them tripwire offers, which is a pretty cool name. So they added these things in, and within 2 or 3 months, they went from making $30,000 a month to $800,000 a month. Okay, let me say it again. From $30,000 a month to $800,000 a month by doing these little buyer magnets. Okay, now notice they're not information products. They're these cool little knives. Okay, and what some of you guys probably didn't know is that they have an affiliate program for this, and every knife I gave away, they paid me $10. Okay, so I got a really nice Christmas bonus for giving you guys all a bunch of free knives. And those of you guys who ordered like 10 of them, I want to thank you for that. You should keep buying them through the link I sent you earlier. But you see how this works. So you buy knives, and they're paying me $10 for every single buyer that I brought to them. Okay. Now I was talking to Ryan and Perry about this whole concept, and they said the very first month they did this, they had 10,000 people who bought one of these little front end products from them. 10,000 people. It said month number 2, they sent out an email to those 10,000 people selling their new like $47 ebook, and they made $250,000 by selling one ebook to these 10,000 buyers. Okay? Amateurs focus on the front end, you guys. If you want to build a good business, you've got to figure out these buyer offers, these tripwire offers where you're getting in good buyers, because someone who's willing to spend $295 shipping and handling on a product, guess what? They're probably willing to spend $50 on a report later if you provided value. And if you sent me a free credit card knife like this, guess what? I receive value from you. This thing is cool. I've got mine right here. In fact, earlier today I ordered like 4 or 5 more because they're really, really cool. Okay? All right. You guys getting this? All right. Now this is something interesting. So after you bought this credit card offer, those of you who did, it's kind of simple, right? $295 shipping and handling. You should put in shipping details. You fill in your credit card, everything down here. You click submit. So I pre-bought this earlier today just to show you guys what happens after you buy it. After you buy it, boom, it takes you to this page right here where they are selling you access to their $20 a month membership. Okay, so so Ryan and Perry are willing to pay me $10 to give away a knife because they know that probably 50% of the people who buy this knife now sign up for the single. They're paying $20 a month, which means they just made $10 on average for every person who gave away this knife. Okay, but there's multiple upsells. There's this upsell, there's 2 or 3 upsells in here. And when all said and done, I don't know their metrics, but I would guess they're probably averaging about $20 to $30 for every knife they give away. Okay, and during Christmas they did this big promotion where anyone who gives away a knife gets $10. And like I said, we gave away, man, I don't know how many we gave away. Probably away, I don't know, 500 or 600 of them. And my list isn't even in the survival niche. Okay, they're in the survival niche guys who are probably giving away thousands or tens of thousands. So I bet you during Christmas vacation, when everyone else is freaking out because no one's buying info products during Christmas time, I would bet you they probably added 30 to 40,000 new buyers to their list for this one market. Okay, is that pretty sexy, you guys? Very, very cool. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so there's a credit card knife. Now, this is not their only buyer magnet. They have other ones. Here's another one they have. This is their free survival business card. Okay, check this out. Already 25,000 claimed. They got 25,000 buyers by giving away a free survival business card. I got this one here as well. It's not quite as cool as the knife, but it's still pretty cool. Boom, pay $2.95 shipping. Fill out the thing down here. Boom, they ship it out to you, and then what happens? They upsell you, and now you're a buyer on their list, and now they can sell you more cool stuff. Okay, this one I got shipped to me yesterday. This one is my favorite one of their buyer things so far. It's this EverStrike Perma Match, where every time you fill this little thing full of oil, and you put this little thing inside of it, and you pull it out, and there's flint and steel on it, and you rip it across here, and makes a spark, and lights this little match, and I think it'll light like 10,000 times or something like that. 15,000 long burning. Anyway, boom, $2.95 shipping and handling. Guess what happens? Boom, you upsell them your info products, then you're on their buyer list. Now they upsell you their other products. And again, guys, by taking these little offers like this, they went from $30,000 a month to $800,000 a month. Okay, so again, this is in the survival business. Okay, here's one example of an offer that Frank Kern just did. Some of you guys may have seen this. I ordered this about a month ago, and I still haven't got the book. But this was a free book offer he did. Free book. Boom, this is a book, How to Become a Consultant, make $175,000 a month. It's completely free. You just cover shipping and handling, and Frank will ship you out this book. So after you buy this, boom, there's an upsell for their $200 course on sales course, and there's downsell for their $200 how to do video marketing course. Okay, all right. Oh, some of you guys got your book already. Jeez, how come you guys got your book and I haven't got mine yet? Anyway, well, now you guys start to see kind of behind the scenes what's happening out there. Like I said, over the last 4 or 5 months, we've been testing different offers like this to see what happens and how they convert and what's working and what's not working. You know, on Frank's page right here, I love the layout of the page, but the thing I don't see is it's a one-step, right? So like I have to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then I click on this, then it takes me to the order form to fill it all out. So if you look at mine, you notice it looks kind of similar to Frank's, but boom, I'm getting their credit card, I'm getting their shipping address up front. Okay, I'm using this as a buyer squeeze page, and I guarantee you that our conversions are beating these guys. Okay, because step one, we get their thing, where do you want to ship it to? And then step two, we get their credit card, and we're getting a huge. We have the ability now to get these 30 or 40% people that opt in here. We can now follow up with them and keep closing them and closing them and closing them. And I guarantee you, my conversion rates are better than theirs just because of that. Okay, if they turn this into a two-step buyer magnet, you know, have a little form up here saying where do you want us to ship it to you, I guarantee you it would increase their profits. Okay, so just something to kind of think about. All right. All right. Very cool. Okay, so this is, again, just some stuff I want to share with you guys. Now, let me come back. I think in the PowerPoint, I think I have another slide here. Let me see that I want to cover. Okay, so actually, okay, so before we move on to like what I think the best kind of free plus shipping thing is, because you've seen books, you've seen some CDs, you've seen MP3 players, you've seen like gadgets like the knives and stuff. In our weight loss business, we're actually getting we have someone over in China right now trying to find us like a little pedometer for we're trying to get for like 40 or 50 cents these little pedometers in China, and we're going to do a free plus shipping with a pedometer. I'm trying to get one of those skin fold pinch test ones for our weight loss business. I'm trying to get one of these tape measures for our skin loss business. So any kind of like little gadgety things like that are really cool. But the reality is most businesses, like a gadgety thing's probably not going to work. But what works just as good, if not better, are information, right? CDs, DVDs, books, things like that. Okay. So let's kind of go through this real quick, how this would work in each of these situations, okay? So if you're an author, a coach, or a consultant, okay, what I would do is I would look at what you guys are currently selling and figure out like what is, you know, in your value ladder, in your system, right? Here's your 10-step system to achieve whatever you're trying to help someone do. Figure out like what is the coolest, best, most unique, interesting, prolific, intriguing secret that you have. Okay, find out what that one thing is, the one chapter in your book or the one CD, whatever it is, and you got to pull that thing out. Okay, because if you want your buyer magnet to convert, it's got to be this thing that people are they've got to be curious about. Like, what in the world is this thing? What is that thing that they're sharing, right? So you got to figure out whatever your best thing is. Okay, and this is going to be harder for some of you guys. Some of you guys are going to be like, that's my secret sauce. I can't share that. No, it's the opposite way around. You want to share your secret sauce. Whatever the best possible thing is you have, that's what you got to be taking out, okay? So you pull that piece out, and we're going to make a CD out of it, or a DVD, or a book, or something, okay? So that's how it works for an author, a coach, or a consultant, okay? The best thing of advice, if you're a consultant, the best thing you would give your client, take that thing out, and boom, give it to them for free. Okay. Now, if you're a product owner, let's say you're e-commerce. Okay. So, for example, some of you guys know about my potato gun business. We've been selling like potato gun DVD and stuff like that for a long time. And I thought about this. I said, you know what? We've been selling this DVD. What if instead of selling it for like $30, what if we just gave it away for free plus shipping? Okay. So we shifted our model. We're about to launch this new version of it. It's so awesome. So people pay the $3.95 or $5.95, whatever, to ship out the DVD about how to make a potato gun, and then we upsell them on eBay. I found this guy that had like 500 potato gun plans, and I paid him a couple $100 for resale rights to him. So then the upsell is like, hey, if you want 500 potato gun plans for $30, you get potato gun plans. And then on the back end, we're actually now selling potato guns. We found a distributor who will drop ship potato gun kits to people. And so the real product in that business now for us is the e-commerce side, selling potato gun kits, selling, like that's our real business, okay? So that's how it works for the potato gun business. So if you're in an e-commerce company, think about like, what are you selling? Are you selling, I met someone one time that was selling bird cages through e-commerce. What if you made a little CD about like how to teach your parrot how to talk? Free plus shipping will ship you this thing out, right? Boom. And then after you get these buyers, now you got to follow up and you're selling them all your bird cages and your, your, I don't know, I don't have a bird. What else do birds have? The other bird stuff, right? Let's say you have an e-commerce store where you're selling mattresses. I have a friend who sells pregnancy pillows, and they do really, really well. Like he could take a little thing showing like 17 secrets to sleep better during your pregnancy. Boom, make a CD, interview someone about sleeping, and then upsell people onto his pillow store. Okay, you guys see how this kind of works? You can literally plug it into almost anything out there. Okay. All right. So the network marketers. So the biggest problem that network marketers typically have, and if any of you guys have done network marketing, you know this, is that you're not selling one product, right? You're selling two things. You're selling, here's my magic potion that helps you to whatever, right? Or you're selling like this product, and then you're selling a business opportunity. Way different things, okay? What I would do if I'm a network marketer, and I do this, is I'd have two different versions. I'd have one front-end product that's focused on the thing that my actual product helps with, okay? For example, one of the MLMs I'm in, I won't tell anyone because I'll get pitched by like 1,000 people, but one of them sells these minerals, and we worked with the owner of the company to create this really cool DVD teaching how these minerals help people, okay? And that's the product-based one. We have a really unique angle and title and everything for it, and so that's the DVD we're giving away, and now we're getting product consumers to respond to that offer. So I know that they're a product consumer, I can start selling them the different products now. Okay, we also are making a DVD selling the opportunity, because an opportunity seeker is going to be looking for that. Okay, so we have two things, one selling the product, one selling the opportunity, because as any network marketer knows, it's a lot easier to find opportunity people and get them sold in than it is to find a product person and convince them they need to start selling products, right? So that's how it works for network marketing. Give someone a free thing. You know, if you got a free secret on how to generate leads for your network marketing program, boom. You know, here's a free secret on how I use Craigslist to generate leads for my network marketing program. Boom, that's an amazing front-end CD. Here's a free CD about how I generate leads on Facebook, or here's a free CD about how I close leads. Whatever it is, again, your best thing you got, you can go and create something very, very quickly. Okay. All right, affiliate marketing. So we sell a lot of stuff as affiliates. And there's the markets I've wanted to get into that I couldn't because I didn't have a product or list or anything. And so, for example, one of the markets that I've always wanted to be in, excuse me, was like the wealth business, right? And so we started putting together a company called Wealth Transfer Secrets, and we haven't quite launched this yet. But we were going to go create a whole product and home study course, all this stuff. It just takes time, right? And after we kind of re-stumbled upon this whole buyer magnet thing, we came back and said, look, what if we just recorded one CD talking about like the #1 wealth transfer secret and just start selling that, put it on Facebook and just start building lists very, very quickly. And then we start selling everybody else's product, because in that niche, there's like insane amounts of products. And just sell everybody else's products. We'd get them our #1 secret, sell everybody else's product. And after we built a list big enough, then come back and say, hey guys, we're going to create a home study course, or we're going to do a webinar, or whatever that thing is next, and we've already got a following now, okay? And then we start selling and create our own products based off of that, okay? I really want to get in the survival space after seeing what Ryan and Perry are doing, but I don't want to go to China and ship all these little things. So I'm just going to find some dude who's like crazy in survival. I'm going to pay him to make a little DVD teaching some crazy thing. And the crazier, the better, by the way. And I'm going to start selling that, put it on Facebook, doing all sorts of stuff. And then when people come in, then I'm going to start giving away free knives, free lighter kits, 3 business cards, and I'm going to start getting paid tons of money from Ryan and Perry. I'm going to promote other survival offers, and very, very quickly I'll have a big affiliate business. And eventually, when I'm ready, I'll create a product and start selling it to them as well. But I'm just going to start as an affiliate and test the waters out before I get too deep. Okay? All right. And number 5 here is real business owners. Okay? So the real business owner, think about your business. Right now, I think I told you guys earlier, maybe I was thinking about it. It's been already 90 minutes. I have no idea what I've covered and not. But I was talking about my personal trainer. We're doing some work with him right now, and so that's the thing I'm coming back to is like, let's create a buyer magnet for you. Like, what's something really cool that we can teach about how to lose weight or how to do whatever. And the biggest problem he has, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys are going to struggle with this as well, and I had the same issue with my chiropractor I was working with. Like, the key to making this whole thing work is you've got to be prolific. You've got to have something different or unique or interesting enough that it's going to grab people's attention. Okay? This is like really the key to this, you guys. If you're just like, hey, here's a secret about how to lose weight, no one's going to pay attention. Okay? It's got to be sexier than that, different than that. And so you got to figure out like what's that hook. Like with a chiropractic buddy, we were working on this, and he had kind of a good idea for a topic. I'm not going to share it with you because it's obviously his idea. But then he was going through, he's like, and on my free thing, I'm teaching them that the 5 steps. Like, 1, they've got to lose weight. And number 2, they've got to stick to a diet. Number 3, they got to, and I'm like, no, that's not prolific. Okay, that's what everyone can say. Any article they read on eBay or on any website is going to show them step 1 is this, step 2 is this. What's prolific is you got to have your own weird system. Okay, like if you look at the weight loss market right now, the people that are killing it are not the people telling you to eat less calories than you burn. Okay, that's not prolific or exciting or sexy or different. The guys that are killing it are guys like Dave Asbury, for example, at Bulletproof Executive. He's talking about how like you wake up in the morning, you should be drinking coffee with butter in it and MTC oils, and then don't eat anything the rest of the day, and this intermittent fasting, and like all this weird stuff. And basically, if you follow this to a T, you will be successful. That's what sells. That's why this guy's making millions right now. Okay, so for you guys, again, you can't be giving generalized knowledge like, oh yeah, this is how you do it. You got to be given like, here's my secret thing. This is the only way it works. This is the, you know what I mean? Like you got to get more on the fringe. I have this conversation almost daily with my trainers that he's very like mainstream, like, you know, this is how you do it, calorie restriction and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, but that's not sexy. Like you've got to be more on the fringe. The fringe is where people buy things. If you want rabid consumers, you've got to be a little bit more on the fringe. Okay, I could have done a training today about how to start your own online business. Step number 1, you got to get a business license. Step number 2, you got to blah. You know, but is that sexy? Would any of you guys responded or showed up here, or have sat on for 4 hours today if I was just teaching that? No, it's got to be a little more on the fringe. That's what gets people excited. That's what inspires their imagination and increases their vision. I've been listening to Jordan Belfort. He's The Wolf of Wall Street. I haven't seen the movie, but I read the books a couple years ago, and I bought his Straight Line Persuasion course. And it's a really good course, by the way. But he's talking about in there. He said that back when Earl Nightingale came out with the book The Strangest Secret, and it was all about setting goals. He said back then goals were important, right? They meant something to people. But today goals are just like this thing to show that you didn't succeed. Like, oh, I set a goal to lose weight, but it didn't work. You know, whatever that thing is. And that's kind of where what goals have become, and it's really sad. He said the goals don't mean anything anymore. He's like, if you want to inspire people and you want to inspire yourself, you can't have goals. You've got to have a vision. Like that's what you got to have is this vision, okay? And that's kind of the same thing here, you guys. If you're like a goal is something for you that means something to you, but a vision is what people buy into. So with your free thing, you got to be prolific. You got to be setting a vision for people, like the vision of this is why you need to do this thing. And if you do that, that's how you're going to capture people's hearts. That's how you're going to inspire people, is really kind of figuring that out. Okay? All right. Okay, we got a lot of cool stuff. A couple people said they showed up. They could show up late. I am recording this, and we'll have a recording up for tomorrow, so if you missed anything. But anyway, a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to keep going through, guys. we're like not even through secret number 1, and we're already like almost 2 hours in. So I'm gonna keep going because I don't want to miss anything. Okay, so for you guys, this is one thing I want to kind of go through as well. Is for your free CD or your free DVD, you got to figure out like what is your best thing, your best secret. Now, in the past, the reason why we were really slow to do these is because every time we would do it, we would go and we would create one of these free DVDs, and then normally like they had the place we used, it was a minimum you had to buy 1,000 at a time, and so we're looking at $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to test out an idea. A little while ago, one of my friends, Brett Ridgway, he owns a company called Speaker Fulfillment Services. And he heard me talking a couple years ago about this whole free plus shipping idea. So he went and bought a machine to do these really cool, if you've ever seen any of my free plus shipping DVDs, they do these really cool, they're called Aspen mailers. It looks like a book, and you open it up and the CD's inside of it. And they're really, really cool. And he created a way where you can actually do it print on demand. And so right now, literally, we are shipping over like 6 different free plus shipping CDs to him right now, because there's no, you pay $50 once to get it set up, and then you can ship over as many ideas as you want. You ship him the artwork, the CD or the DVD, and then it's print on demand. You sell one, he prints it, he ships it out. So there's no upfront costs. You can test out a dozen ideas. If they don't work, then it didn't cost you anything because nobody bought it. So no, you didn't have to print any or ship any, and it's really, really powerful. And so I was going to show you guys that really quick as well. It's a really cool service. So especially when you first test it, if you start testing at a point where you're selling like 1,000 a day or 1,000 a month, it'll make sense to go and invest in, because you can get them cheaper. You can buy them like, if you buy them in bulk, you can get them for like $2 a piece. Where with Brett, if you look at his pricing here on discdeliver.com, he ships it out. He'll print and ship it for $5.99 in the US or $6.99 international. Okay. Print on demand, which is awesome. So you just charge someone $5.95 shipping and handling, or $9.95, whatever it is. It's all covered in that cost. He prints it, ships it, and there's no inventory. So literally, discdeliver.com has given me the ability to go and test out as many crazy ideas as I have with virtually no costs. Okay, so I get nothing from recommending this or referring it. But it's amazing. Like literally, this I wouldn't have done this webinar today if this wasn't possible. Because I would have had to come back like, okay, if you get an idea, you got to go order 2,000 of them, guys. But with this, literally, he charges you $50, which all goes towards your first pack. But you pay $50 just to create your account, and then you can start shipping him artwork and CDs and just start testing it out. Is that exciting? All right. Okay, I'm getting a drink real quick. A couple questions here. So someone's asked, how do you introduce these to your list? If you have a list, you say, hey, I got a free thing, check it out. If you don't have a list, I'm going to show you guys how we market them. But basically, solo ads and Facebook. Facebook is like the greatest thing in the world for these free plus shipping things. It's very easy to target people, to expand them. We're finding people sharing these things like crazy just because they're like cool things. Like Ryan and Perry, their free knife, the first time I saw it, there was like 2,000 or 3,000 shares on it. And I saw it, and I was like, I looked at it, it was just the core site, and I contacted them, like, do you guys have an affiliate link for this? And they're like, oh, not yet. I'm like, well, of course not doing it yet. Everyone's sharing it for free. Why would they be paying affiliates for it? And they waited until everyone stopped sharing it, and then they came out with an affiliate program. And so people like will share, if it's a cool thing, people will start sharing it for free for you, and there's a bunch of really cool things that happen behind it. Okay. Again, to put this in perspective, we have a supplement in the diabetic industry. So we're busting out a CD right now for diabetics. We have a supplement we're creating in the MMA and CrossFit niche, and boom, we're creating out a front-end CD for that. Like every market I'm in, you guys, I'm busting out tons of these because they're fast, they're easy. You can test out the idea and boom, put it out on Facebook and see if it gets traction. See if people want it. If they don't want it, try another one. Try another one until you find that thing that's hot, and then boom, you can just start scaling it very, very quickly. Okay, you guys getting this? You guys getting fired up? Summer said, Russell, you are the man. Thank you. All right. Very, very cool things. All right, cool. All right, let me see where we are, you guys. All right, we are about ready to move to step number 2. So we've been going for about an hour and 38 minutes. Can you guys believe that? You guys having fun so far? It goes on pretty quick, huh? Okay, Joe said, wouldn't you rather have a downloadable version than a physical version? So Joe, you might have missed my comments earlier. The answer is no, because then I can't get someone's credit card and their address. I want people to prove to me they're going to be a buyer. They're going to pull a credit card out. That's why we're making physical products. Okay. Ooh, Mark asked a good question. Russell, how can we get a two-step landing page like yours? some shopping carts might be able to do it. We are very near launching a page builder and a shopping cart that allow you guys to do both of that stuff. I'll talk more about it towards the end, but it's powerful when you guys have that. Okay. Very, very cool. Someone said, Russell, are we able to buy this webinar and watch it over and over again? Well, Tim, if you are on here, either you paid $0, you're going to get billed on Monday for it, or you prepaid and you'll get it all for free. But yeah, I'll have to replay this up by tomorrow. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna do something really quick with you guys. I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break, because the next session we're gonna go into is gonna take probably an hour to go through. I know we've been on for an hour 40 right now, so I'm gonna pause some things, take a quick break. You guys can go run, take a bathroom break, get something to eat really quick if you want. It's 3:40 my time right now, so I'm going to start again at 3:45. So you have 5 minutes to take a break, go to the bathroom, get whatever you need to do, get some more paper to take notes. So we're going to pause for 5 minutes, and then we'll be back and go for round 2. Is that cool? Oh, Hank just said Domino's just got delivered, so perfect timing for him. Awesome. Okay, so everyone take a 5-minute break. I will see you guys back here in 5 minutes. Okay, everybody, welcome back. All right. Very, very cool. Okay, so hope you guys had a good break. Hope you guys are having fun so far. So I'm excited to keep going through. So the next session, so the first thing we talked about so far, you guys, if you come back through the 3-step system, number 1 was the buyer magnets, obviously, and I kind of showed you that and how that whole process works. So that's step number 1. Now, step number 2 in the system is called the invisible funnel. Okay. Now, I'm just curious, how many of you guys so far that are on have ever heard of the invisible funnel before? If you have heard it, say yes. If you haven't, say no. Very few of you guys have heard it yet. Well, this is exciting. You guys are in for a treat. Okay, so the coolest thing about the invisible funnel is right now you guys are going through an invisible funnel. You are seeing it in action. So I'm going to kind of I'm going to walk you through the process. So if I explain to you guys kind of where the invisible funnel is born from, it'll make a lot more sense. So I'm going to walk you guys through the process. I'm going to open up good old paintbrush. So about, probably 5 years ago or so, I was doing some work with a couple guys. One of them you probably know. One was Tony Robbins, and the other one was a guy named Chet Holmes. And Chet actually just passed away about 2 years ago or so. Anyway, Chet is a brilliant business owner and just a really, really smart dude. And when I first started working with them, they wanted us to come in and help work on their call center stuff and kind of help them structure their business and everything. And Chet walked me through their business model. And I'm going to show you guys what it is because it ties into how the invisible funnel works, okay? So if you look at Chet and Tony, the business they had, it started with a radio ad, okay? How many of you guys have ever heard his ad on the radio? It's still running today, even though Chet's been passed away. It still keeps running. But you got Chet on there, you got Tony on there talking about the business growth strategies and get 9 free reports and blah, 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 right? It's usually on like satellite radio, drive times. They're trying to target CEOs of companies making between $1 and $3 million. Okay, so that's the thing. They run these radio ads saying, get these free reports, just call this number here, give us your email address, and we'll ship you out these free reports. So they run the radio ads, and people call in, and they've got a whole bunch. They have this little virtual call center he created. They call in, and they talk to these people here, right? And when they call the person, or when they call, person picks up, says, hey, this is, growth strategies, whatever, Tony and Chet, it's company, and we're excited to ship you out your report. What's your best email address? They get the email address and say, hey, thanks, we'll ship this out to you right, or we'll email this to you right now. By the way, next week, Tony and Chet are doing a 3-hour webinar, and this 3-hour webinar said that basically it used to be a $3,000 seminar. People had to fly to Vegas, and everyone came in. You get a hotel and flights and everything. It's costing you $4 or $5 grand to do this event. But now they do it from home, where you just log into your office. It's 3 hours long, and you get the exact same information you would have gotten if you were on this actual webinar, or if you would have came out to the seminar. And we'd love to give you a ticket for it. The ticket price for this event is $297, but we only want you to pay for this event if you are ecstatic by it. Like you think it's the greatest thing in the world. So what we're going to do is we're going to let you attend it for free, and then after the event, if it's good stuff, then let us know, and we'll bill your card $297. If you don't like it or didn't work for you, let us know, and we won't bill you anything. And the guy's like, okay, that makes sense. That's cool. And so they go back and they get the person's credit card. They don't charge them anything. They just say, hey, put your credit card in, and then after the event, if you like it, we'll bill you. If not, we won't. Okay? Does that sound familiar to any of you guys yet? Are you getting a light bulb going off on your head? Okay, so this is how they would do it. And then they would do this 3-hour webinar, and they would finish the whole content. And then at the end of the webinar, basically say, hey, if you're interested in more, we do have a coaching program, and let us know if you're interested in more. And they offer a coaching program. And I think their coaching program's like $5,000 or something like that. And they sell them the next coaching program, and they have some other programs they kind of sell from there, right? And so I saw this model, and I was like, man, that's really, really cool. Like I wish I could do something like that on the internet, but I'm like, I don't have a radio ad, I don't have call center people, I don't, like, all this stuff seemed too difficult. And one day, probably 3 years ago, Dagan Smith and I, Dagan was actually interviewing me for his membership site or something, and we were just talking about cool business models. And I was like, dude, you want to know the coolest business model I've ever seen? Is Chet Holmes and Tony Robbins. And he said, well, what's the model? And I explained this whole thing to him. He was like, man, that is awesome. He's like, how do we do that? I'm like, I don't know. You hire a bunch of salespeople and like you do this whole process. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. And he's like, no. He's like, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. And so we kept talking about it and thinking about it. And then 6 months later or so, Dagan and I were at a seminar called Traffic and Conversions, and we were eating lunch together, and we're hanging out, having fun, talking. And we get done with lunch, and both of us forgot to pay. And we keep talking. We stand back up. We walk down the event. We're sitting there, and about 5 minutes into it, he leans over to me. He's like, "Hey man, thanks for paying." I look back. I'm like, "I didn't pay. I thought you paid." He's like, "No." He's like, "Oh crap, we didn't pay." And so we both jumped up and we ran back out found our server. We're like, "We're so sorry we didn't pay." And they're like, "Oh, someone else paid for you." We're like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And we walked back in the seminar room, and I kind of just let it pass by. And Dagan sat there thinking, and all of a sudden he had this epiphany. He said, "Look," he's like, "what if we?" He's like, look at what just happened here. He's like, we received such good food and value from this thing that we felt guilty afterwards for not paying for it. So much so that we ran back and tried to give the guy money because we felt obligation because we received value from this restaurant, right? He's like, how can we get that to work online? And they started thinking about this model with Chet and with Tony. And I remember like a month or two later, he texted me and he's like, dude, I figured it out. I text back, I'm like, figure what out? He's like, the Tony Chet thing. He's like, I got it. I'm like, what do you mean you got it? He's like, just check out my emails this week and check out what's happening. And so he puts together this, this promotion, and basically it was a webinar. What it is, he promoted this webinar. Oops, let me make a little better arrow for you. So he promoted this webinar. The webinar was free, but you had to put your credit card in. And he's like, you're gonna get on the webinar, and I'm gonna train you, give you my best stuff. At the end of it, if you like it, I'm gonna bill you $97. If you hate it, then don't worry about it. We won't bill you. But if you love it, pay $97 and it'll be what, it is what it is. And I saw him promoting it. And I looked at the funnel. And I was like, dude, it's brilliant. It's so simple. Like, it's so simple, yet it's so powerful. So he promoted it, did his whole thing. And he came back later and was just like, Russell, this works. This is a good idea. I mean, it worked great. And I was like, that is awesome. I was like, I want to try it out. And so what I did is I went back a day or two, or probably a week later, and I was like, I want to try it out. And I launched my very first invisible funnel. Some of you guys may have seen this. Some of you guys are probably on it. It was an invisible funnel called affiliatebootcamp.com. And this was the very first one I ever did. And basically there's a video here of me talking about this concept. I'm going to do an affiliate training webinar. This is how it works. You put your credit card in. You don't have to pay anything. At the end of it, if you love it, we'll bill you. And that was it. Okay? And this is kind of where people signed up for it. And I did it in ClickBank back then because I didn't have we didn't have like an easy way to do a merchant account. But anyway, that's what it is. So I put it out there. We started promoting it. And who here wants to see behind the scenes of what happened from this from my first invisible funnel? Who's interested? I mean. Oh, you guys want in? Okay, good. Okay, all right. I'll let you know then. Okay, so this is kind of what happened. And the numbers till this day just blow my mind. So what happened is we promoted this thing for about a week. From that, we had 550 people who signed up for the webinar, right? And I remember when Dagan did his first webinar, he did it for 4 hours. And I was like, dude, there's no way I'm talking for 4 hours. There's no way anyone's listening for 4 hours. Like that's, like who's going to listen to me talk for 4 hours? He's like, if you just provide pure value and just give everything you got, he's like, people will show up and they will listen. They will be happy. And then I was like, at the end of it, like, what if nobody buys? So my very first one I did, I was scared about that. So I made the price just $47. I was like, hopefully people will like it, right? So we did it, and 550 people signed up for the $0, right? Then we did the webinar, and the webinar was on a Friday, just like this, and we went for 4 hours. And of these 550 people, we had 85% showed up live on the webinar and sat there the entire 4 hours. Okay, so it's like a little under 500, like let's say 480 people, right, showed up. I can't remember exactly, but like 480 people showed up for the entire webinar. Okay, 4 hours. Now there's something really, really important here to understand. If you think about a typical webinar, like if you look at people doing webinars right now, or it's a free webinar, you come on, they teach you for like 60 minutes, then for 30 minutes they pitch you and they sell you something, and then you buy something at the end. For those type of webinars, right now people are getting 20 to 30% of people to show up. 30% is like super high. It's realistically closer to 15 to 20% of people show up to those webinars. Okay, and the attendance rates are down all across the world because everyone's doing free webinars. They know they're gonna get sold something, so they don't work as good, right? With this one though, we had 85% of the people show up and sit on for 4 hours on Friday afternoon. Okay, and at the end of it, I was like, man, I'm really nervous because like I gave my heart and my soul, and I think it's worth this much, but I have no idea what's going to happen. And what happened next was amazing. Because I tried to give everything that I had, people were happy with it. And from the 550 people, we only had 10% asked to not get billed. Okay, that means about 500 people did get billed. Okay, so if you do the math on that, 500 times 47 equals, who's our mathematician? It's about approximately $25,000 for me just doing this webinar for 4 hours and teaching and giving and bearing my soul and just giving as much as I could, right? But $25,000 we actually collected on there. And I hadn't even sold anything. Okay, I just taught them a bunch of cool stuff. And the very end of it, just like Chet Holmes, I was like, hey, by the way, if you want more, we do have more. I'm not going to sell you anything. That's not my goal here. But if you want more, here it is. And we sold, it was a package we sold for a bunch of money. And I don't remember the exact numbers right now, but we made another 6 figures selling this very, very, again, a soft sell. Like we didn't even, it wasn't even a sell. We just offered something else, and we made another 6 figures from people here. And people were happy and excited. Okay, and that was my very, very first one we ever did. Okay, and after that, I was just like addicted. I'm like, this is like the coolest thing. This is the coolest thing in the world. People loved it. Gave out tons of value. Okay, we talked about value ladder. If I can give away tons of value, people are naturally going to want to send to the next thing. Okay, right now, just from the first, how far are we in? 2 hours so far. I hope you guys got tons of value. We're not even halfway through this, right? You just give as much as you possibly can. Share the things you know. Give all the stuff that normally you would hide and you would keep secret for your product. Just give it away. And if they receive value, then guess what? They're going to be happy to pay. It'll be worth it. In fact, I had people on Affiliate Bootcamp. One guy became my friend afterwards, but he told me, he's like, when I saw your offer for this thing, he's like, I was planning on buying and just canceling. He's like, but I wanted to prove you wrong. So he's like, I showed up, I sat on for the entire 4 hours, and by the end of it, he's like, you had earned my $47. He's like, you earned 10 times that much. So I'm happy that you are accepting my money. He's like, it was worth that 10 times over. And that's what I found a lot of times happen. In fact, I'm betting you right now that a ton of you guys came on here because you want to prove me wrong. Am I right? You were hoping and praying that you could go back and email us and be like, I don't want it. Okay? But I'm guessing that now you're like, wow, this is actually pretty good, huh? Okay? So this is kind of the concept. This is what the invisible funnel is. Okay? All right. So So that's kind of what an invisible funnel is. Let me see where I'm going from here. Okay, now to make an invisible funnel work, you've got to have 4 things. I say 3 things here in the PowerPoint slide because that's a typo. There's actually 4 things. There's 4 things you need to have to make this invisible funnel work. Okay, the first thing is your case study. Okay, you've got to have a case study. So case study again is what someone else was able to do with your system. Okay, you notice when you guys got on this webinar, how did I get you to come on this invisible funnel? Okay, I shared with you a case study. Okay, it's not a sales video. It's not anything. All you do is share a case study of whatever it is your system can do for someone. Show what it did for somebody else, and say, look, if you want to try this out, just come on and come hang out, and I'll show it to you. And if you don't have a profound impact on you, don't pay anything. If it does, then you can pay me afterwards. Okay, but you got to have a case study. That's what fuels this entire thing. If you don't have a case study, it makes it really, really hard to get people to sign up for an invisible funnel. Okay. Number 2 is you've got to be able to have some kind of instant result you can deliver to somebody. Okay, an instant result you can deliver during your invisible funnel webinar, which could be anywhere from an hour to 4 hours. So I've heard people do 10-hour ones since we kind of launched this concept initially. Okay, so the instant result is something tangible they're going to get from this process. Okay, the instant result you guys got from this is you're learning this whole 3-step process, right? That's the instant result you're delivering. Some of the other invisible funnels we've done that have really, really good instant results. One of them we did with Howard Berg. He's the world's fastest reader. Anyone here ever seen Howard before or seen him read? No. If you go to YouTube and just type in Howard Berg, world's fastest reader, the very top one will be one of the top things will show a video of him on the Cavuto show. What's that show called? Anyway, and he has the entire healthcare bill, all like, I don't know, 1,000 pages of the healthcare bill, and he reads it live while everyone's sitting there during Cavuto. He reads the entire healthcare bill, and afterwards they quiz him, and he knows the answers to all of it. You hear the entire thing in like 50 minutes. It's the coolest thing in the world you'll ever see. And I actually saw Howard the first time. I saw him on an infomercial back when I was like, how old was I back then? I was probably 12, 13 years old. I saw him on an infomercial reading. And it's crazy. He'll pick up a book and he'll start reading. It looks like he's just like touching each page. And he'll read an entire book in like 3 or 4 minutes. It's crazy. And then he retains it perfectly. So I met him at an event and I was like, Howard Berg, I'm like, I remember seeing your infomercial from the 80s or from the 90s. And we started talking about it. We became really good friends. We actually had him fly out to our office. He trained my entire staff and me how to speed read. It was one of the coolest experiences ever. So then later I told Howard, I said, Howard, this, like what you do would be perfect for an invisible funnel. Because look at the instant result we can give someone. I can say, come on this webinar, put your credit card in. I'm not going to bill you anything. Sit on for 4 hours, and in 4 hours, I will double your reading. You're going to take a test at the beginning and at the end. And if I don't double your reading, let me know, and you don't have to pay a penny. Okay? You see how powerful of an offer that is? It's pretty powerful, huh? Duke said he was on the webinar I did with him. Okay? And so we launched that, and it did awesome. Okay? In fact, we're remaking like an automated version of it now because it did so well, and we want to make it evergreen. But it was awesome. People come on, they go through this process, and in 4 hours they double their reading. And if not, they don't pay anything. Okay, so what kind of instant result can you offer someone? We tried to do something similar. Like I said, I was in the dating market for a little while, and the dating guru we were with, he was this guy, and I don't think he'd be offended if I said this, but he's a guy who is not exactly not exactly a ladies' man, if you know what I mean. But he's like a pickup artist, right? And so you see this guy, he's just like how in the world does that guy get girls? But that's his whole thing, right? Like I'm overweight, I'm not that good looking, and I can pick up the most beautiful women in the world. And so for him, I was like, we should do an invisible funnel where you show someone like, hey, come on this webinar on a Thursday, or excuse me, on a Friday. Saturday night, go test out the techniques I'm going to give you. If you don't pick up a girl, let me know before Monday, and I'm not going to bill you anything. If you do get a girl from using my stuff, then don't do anything. We'll bill you the $97. Okay. And so we built a whole invisible funnel with him that was based on that, like how to get a girlfriend this weekend. And we actually sold the company back to him, and he's been running with it and doing really well with it. But that was kind of the concept. Okay. That was an instant result we could give him. In some businesses, it's going to be harder to give an instant result, but if you can find that thing, because you're going to basically, during this training webinar, you're teaching someone your system. You're going through your 6 or your 12-step process to do whatever that tangible thing is that you're trying to do, all right? So you go through that process, and if you can give them some type of result, that's when people are going to be fired up, and they're going to gladly let you gladly make sure you get paid, and it'll be good. So what kind of instant result can you offer somebody? Something to kind of think about, okay? All right. And then, actually, let me come back here. I'm going to show you guys another example of one. Flip Bootcamp. Oh, so let me show you this one. So this is one you guys all signed up for right here. You'll notice a couple of these things. There's our case study. You guys all probably watched this video. Here's a case study about how we did $48,000 a week Blackbox. Plus shows in our case study Brittany Watkins, Vince Reed, Carlos, and Greg. And just so you guys know, because a lot of people are probably wondering, how did Brittany do $89,000? So, how did Vince do $174,000? How did Carlos do this? How did Greg do this? So they did all this. Those numbers are all based 100% off the invisible funnel. Okay, Dagan and I, after we both started doing tons of invisible funnels, we started sharing it with people, some of our friends and colleagues, and eventually a bunch of people started knocking it off and started doing it, and then taking credit like they invented it. And so we decided like, no, let's do an event where we can show that it was Dagan's invention. This is how it actually works. And most of the guys were doing it wrong, and there's a process to how the whole thing works. And so we did this event. We invited all the top gurus in the world to come, and we had probably 80 or 90 different people. The gurus in about 12 different industries all came to learn this stuff. And so Brittany is in the weight loss market, which typically weight loss is like people are selling like $30 and $40 ebooks on weight loss, and that's kind of it, right? In fact, when I got in the weight loss space, everyone told me like the highest you can sell weight loss product for is $97. Nobody will spend more than $97 on a weight loss product. That's just what everyone says. It's just like the belief, right? So we're at this event with Brittany. She had scheduled a webinar to happen the first night after she was there. So she's sitting there hanging out at our event, and we're talking about invisible funnel, and she's like, this is good stuff. And so she went out and emailed her list really quick and said, hey guys, no longer am I doing a teleseminar. We're doing this cool new thing. This is how it works. Go sign up right here. And she got, I don't know how people sign up really, really quickly. She did her training. She sat on for like 6 hours teaching all her best stuff. And she's like, this is hard for me because normally I'm selling this stuff. She's like, I just gave it all away 100% and just tried to give people everything, like just no transparency. Here's everything we've got. And then afterwards, after she gave away everything, then she, at the end, applied the Blackbox, which we'll show you guys next, which is basically a way to sell high-ticket products. And over the weekend, her staff, while she was at our event, closed $89,230 in sales from that one invisible funnel she did to a weight loss market. Okay, so it kind of exciting, you guys. I hope. A lot of you guys are thinking like, oh, it's not going to work in my market. Okay, it worked in weight loss market. Vince Reed's in the he's kind of an network marketing coach, how to get traffic. He had a list of people. He did an invisible funnel. Boom, very first time, $174,000. Carlos is one of my favorite examples because Carlos lives in Mexico. His students all live in Mexico, and he teaches different internet marketing things. And so he's always trying to figure out like, how do you sell something to somebody who doesn't have a lot of money? Like his typical client does not have a ton of money. And when he saw the invisible funnel, he's like, this is brilliant. And so he started doing it, and he did multiple invisible funnels. A couple times a month he was doing them, and within 6 months he made $198,000 doing these invisible funnels for people. And then Greg's got a small list of people, but all of Greg's people on his list are buyers. He did an invisible funnel and did $210,000. The very first one, he's done like 5 or 6 cents then and just crushed it all. So anyway, those are some case studies of people that have just crushed it with the invisible funnel. I got tons more. We got like books full of people that have been killing it, but that's kind of some case studies. Now this is how it works. So guys, again, you came here to this page. Okay, you watched a case study about how to make money with this thing and said, hey, if you want to learn how we're doing it, come and register for this webinar, right? And when we basically said get started for $0, okay, you guys have all seen this. You went through this in the last day or two. So we build $0 right now, and then $97 3 days later. It gives you a chance to watch the replay, and then boom. Then you put in your $0, put in your credit card number, click submit, and boom, you got registered for the webinar, right? And now this is a tweak we added this time just to see it. We've never done it before, where if you think, let people get a $20 discount, they know they're going to stick with it. $20 discount by switching here. And right now, as of right before I started the webinar, 39% of you guys paid up front, which is kind of cool. So it makes me feel good you guys trusted me enough to do that. But I'm sure in the future, if you the next time we do an invisible funnel like this, you'd be like, yes, I'm going to pay for that because I know that Russell delivers value. He's not afraid of that. So the more often you do these, the higher percentage will take you up on that thing. Okay. All right. A couple questions. So all right, we got someone said, oh my gosh, loving it. My heart is pounding with excitement. Very, very cool. Someone, the very first product they bought was Mega Speed Reading by Howard Berg. Awesome. Okay, so that is another example of an invisible funnel. This is one we did today. Obviously, you guys have seen this one. Here's one. So one of the markets I'm in is the couponing market. Okay, and there's pros and cons of the couponing market. The pros of the couponing market is the people are rabid fans. The cons of the couponing market is that our target customer is instinctively cheap. They don't want to spend money on anything. That's why they do coupons. So anyway, I was watching Extreme Couponing one day, and one of my friends was in the couponing space. I was like, that's a cool business. That'd be fun to be in. And so I was thinking about that, and I'm flipping through channels when Extreme Couponing's on. I start watching it. And I'm watching this, and all of a sudden there's this girl on there. She's sharing how she does her couponing, and I'm just like, these people are crazy. Like, she had her bed up on up on cinder blocks, and under the bed was like 8,000 boxes of cereal, and her closet's like jam full of food and like all this stuff. And I'm like, these people are crazy fanatical. This is like the coolest, interesting thing I've ever seen. So I'm kind of just really enjoying this process. and then it was this girl right here, Jessica Hacker. And at the end of it, she says, "I'm Jessica Hacker signing off from Boise, Idaho." And I was like, "Boise, Idaho? I live in Boise, Idaho." I'm like, I can make this girl rich. Like, I want to figure out what she's doing. So I called her up the next day, got to know her. We bought 80% of her business from her and started working with her, and just, she's been an amazing person. But the hard thing is we kept trying to sell stuff to these couponers, right? And guess what? Couponers, like I said, they don't want to buy anything. They just want discounts. In fact, she did an event. This is like still the funniest thing in the world to me. She did an event here in Boise, and she had like 150 women who showed up to the event. So I went to film it because I wanted to see who her target customer is and what they respond to. And I was just fascinated by it, right? And so she went through and she went through the whole process of teaching, and then she had me hand out these coupons. They were $1 off coupons for ranch dressing. And so I'm handing them out to all these ladies, and I'd say the average age of the people in the audience was like, I don't know, 70 or something. So it was an older crowd. I'm handing out these coupons, and there was a chair between these two ladies. So I put a coupon down on the chair, just thinking like if someone sat down, they could get the coupon. As soon as I put it down, the two women on each side of the chair, they start fighting over it like cats and dogs, and they're like pulling it out, and she's like, "Oh, that was my coupon. I saw it first." And they're fighting over $1 off coupon for ranch dressing. So much so that like it was causing disturbance. I had to come back up, and I gave them both like 3 or 4 of these $1 off coupons. So I'm like, here you go. So there's my target market. They don't want to spend anything. They will fight other women for $1 off ranch dressing. And I got to figure out how to sell these guys something, right? So that's the business that we purchased. And I wish I would have known that before we purchased it, but we didn't. And so I'm like, well, how are we going to do this? So we tried selling products. We tried doing all sorts of stuff. We made money off AdSense and affiliate stuff, but nothing was like really working. And that's when this whole invisible funnel came. And I said, what if we could make an invisible funnel and give these women an instant result where they could go take this class, learn how to extreme coupon, go grocery shopping that weekend. If they didn't save at least $100 from off their grocery bill, let us know and we won't bill them anything. But if they do save over $100, then they don't do anything, and we bill them $17 for her couponing class. And we tried that out, and sure enough, this is the first thing that's worked as a front-end product to sell to the couponing market. Okay, so this is what's so exciting about it, you guys. You see how it works on like there's so many psychological levels. Like you're giving someone such a good deal, but you're helping them get a result for a certain dollar amount. If you can tie those things together, the psychology behind it is really, really strong. Okay, I see comments going like crazy over here. So let's see. All right, cool. So there's anyway. A lot of people ask questions about the couponing company. We're not here to talk about the couponing company. Anyway, that could be a whole nother webinar, I guess. Okay, anyway, so that's kind of how this whole invisible funnel concept worked. Again, in a market that doesn't like to spend money on things. Okay, that's why I liked Carlos's example so well as well, because it's just like his market does not spend money yet. He was able to make $198,000 by offering it to him in this fashion. Okay, again, it's this whole value thing. Provide value up front, and if you do, people will be fired up and they'll be excited and they'll be more than happy to pay you for the information you're giving them. Okay, all right. Let's see what other questions. Okay, so a couple questions. People are saying, what kind of merchant account do you use for the invisible funnel? Okay, so that's a good question. You can use, I've seen people use PayPal. Well, okay, first off, so Affiliate Bootcamp, I use ClickBank, where it was $1, because ClickBank forces you to have $1. So they did $1, and then we billed them the money like 7 days later, billed them $47. I've seen people use PayPal. The biggest problem with PayPal is it's super easy for people to cancel without talking to anyone. And the people I know who've done PayPal are getting closer to like 20 or 30% cancellation rate. Versus if you use your own merchant account, it's usually a lot less. Like I said, we've never gone over like 10% cancellation rate, just because we try to give so much on the webinars. With your own merchant account, pretty much your own merchant account works real easy. You just authorize their credit card for $0, and then you rebill them 3 days or 5 days or however many days later. Okay, so good questions. All right, good questions. Okay, a bunch of you guys are asking about the traffic part of it. So I'll cover the traffic at the end. We're not going to go into tons of specifics about it because that's not really the focus of this. But I'll talk to you guys about the strategy behind this. After, again, there's three pieces of this. There's the buyer magnet, there's the invisible funnel, and then there's the black box. When you tie all three of these things together, that's really where you start seeing the big, huge epiphanies. You know what I mean? That's where you can start spending money on traffic and start growing it very, very quickly. Okay. Yeah, Christopher made a good point. So traffic's easy. There's so much out there. It's just how do you get it to convert? That's the hardest part behind it. Okay. All right. So that's kind of how, again, how these invisible funnels work, you guys. Okay. They're very, very powerful. And you guys are going through right now. You're seeing the process. I was just refreshing our stats here to see, for this event alone, we've had, just in the last few hours, 185 people registered for the event. So a lot of you guys just registered within, or not last hour, within an hour before we started this. So a lot of you guys just signed up right away. So these things are very powerful. They attract a lot of people because it's a way to sell without selling. Think about it, you guys. You come in and you give somebody the opportunity to test you out ahead of time. You know, I always say this in the copy for the sales videos. You know, it's kind of like going to a restaurant, eating the food, trying it out, and if the food wasn't good, then you don't pay anything. Okay, or it's like going to a movie, watching the whole movie, and if the movie was horrible, pay nothing. But if it's good, then you pay for it. Okay, that's the whole concept behind this invisible funnel, is you're giving people the chance to kind of test you out and see if they like you. And again, if you provide value and you bring it to people and kind of show how much you care, the response is amazing from it. All right. Christopher said for a high-end restaurant, this would be amazing. Very cool. Okay. All right. So a couple more things with invisible funnel stuff. Someone asked about automating invisible funnels. So I'll come back to that in a second because, yes, there's a way to do that. I'll talk about it here in a second. But let me come back to some other stuff first. So let me come back here to the slides. All right. So again, the four things you need to have. First off was your case study. That's how you're going to sell people. It's not selling, but it's how you get somebody excited and fired up to be on your invisible funnel. Okay, so look at any of your businesses. What kind of success have you had or somebody else had using your system or a system similar to yours? What is that? Okay, and number two is instant result. What kind of result can you help somebody get by going through your system? Okay, because if my sales video is basically like, hey, here's a case study about how Joe lost 35 pounds, and then your instant result, I'm going to show you how you can lose 35 pounds this weekend. Just come and register for this training. Okay, then they get on the webinar. In the webinar, you're showing them your system. This is the process that you created to help them get that result you just promised them. Okay? Think about any book, any course, anything you're doing. Like when you guys create something, you're creating to give them a result, right? I'm going to give you a result where you are able to blah, fill in the blank, whatever that thing is. And so that's what your system is. You're trying to create a result for somebody. Okay? And then your magic bullet, this is the last part in this. The magic bullet shows how you can actually help that person to help make it faster, better, or easier. Okay, this is your upsell. This is after they've gone through this whole entire system, offering them a way where you can help them to take it to the next level. Okay, when we did our affiliate bootcamp one, at the end of it, we offered a way for people to let us help them build out the process we taught on the thing. Okay, and it wasn't a sales pitch. I spent literally maybe a minute saying, hey, if you're interested in us helping with this, this is all you got to do. Okay, because you're not trying to sell someone. You're trying to give all pure value, but then point them in the right direction if they do want more. That's the entire purpose of the invisible funnel. Okay, so your magic bullet again is now how can they take this system, how can they take this process, and have you actually help do it. Okay, so again, you look at your value ladder, guys. Let me come back to the value ladder we talked about a couple hours ago. Okay, so here's your value ladder like this, right? Okay, it kind of comes back here. So you've got your case study. Your case study, you're providing some value. Let me show you a case study of how this thing worked, right? Boom, constant invisible funnel. I'm going to give you an instant result. I'm going to help you with the thing. Then I'm going to show you the system, how it works. And then boom, right here, this is my magic bullet. Okay, this is the thing that if I could sell anything to somebody in the world, this would be the best thing in the world. Okay, this is the magic bullet at the end. Okay, do you see how that kind of fits together with the whole value ladder we're talking about? This invisible funnel is taking somebody and progressing them up very, very quickly, okay? Because typically when you take someone up through a value ladder, it's a longer process. Like to get someone to spend 10,000, 25,000, whatever it is, it's usually a long process. And for some of you guys, your back end might be 500, maybe it's 1,000. It doesn't matter what that number is. Everyone's market and what you're comfortable selling will be different, but that's the end goal, right? That's how you provide the most value to someone is when they take this thing right here. So typically it's a longer process to get someone here, to get them enough trust and value to get them there. The invisible funnel just speeds up this process very, very quickly. Gives them a case study really quick where they can see the end goal. You promise them a result they get on the webinar. If they receive that result, they got two options. One is go do it on their own. Number two is to accept your magic bullet offer, which will then basically be you saying, hey, this is how we go and this is how we do it. Okay? All right, does that make sense, you guys? So someone said, this is good. Someone said, I have a friend that has products and systems to sell. I want to negotiate a percentage if I set up this invisible funnel. Okay, that's a great idea. Like, you guys, if you don't have an idea yet, I promise you there are a million people you can find who have a product. But again, remember we talked about this value ladder where, let me go back to our slides back here. Okay, where they've got a business and they're selling adjustments, but that all. You can come in and create a buyer magnet for them and create a coaching program on the back, or maybe they got a coaching program back here, or they've got, you know, their high-end consulting services back here, and you create a value ladder in the middle. Okay, someone earlier asked, he said, you know, I sell insurance, I'm an insurance salesman. Okay, that's kind of probably a back of the ladder thing. Okay, if someone's buying insurance, what else? They buy investment stuff. Could you do an invisible funnel showing them investments? Okay, let me teach you how to do an investment, and then boom, by the way, let me show you the financial packages we have, or the insurance, or whatever that thing might be, right? So there's opportunity, guys. There's opportunity in this value ladder. If you don't want to create your own, go find people that have one of these pieces, and you bring in the value to add the other ones, and there's a ton of money in that. Okay, look at Howie Berg. Howie Berg had a result he could deliver, so I came in and plugged in the rest of it, and boom, we became 50-50 partners on it very, very quickly. Okay. All right, let's see. Other questions you guys have? Okay, cool. So someone said they have a pretty high-end lead gen system to try to think of a good front end. So the front end, again, we talked about that earlier with the buyer magnet. It's just pulling out the most sexy, exciting, unique piece and pulling that out and bringing it out to the front. Okay. Okay, good question from Amanda. This is awesome. Okay. So she said, I have a question about case studies. If you've never had anyone using your system that you're selling, how do you create a case study? How do you use a case study? Okay, so we had this with our weight loss offer. We came up with this really cool plan that we knew was going to work. And other people had seen success, but no one that was like our case study. And so we did a couple things. First off, I became a human guinea pig. I wanted to make sure it worked for myself before we were going to sell it. So I did that. Now I can show my case study. But again, my case study is not nearly important as powerful. So then we went back to my friends and said, hey guys, this is what we're doing. In the future, I'm going to be charging a bunch of money for it, but right now I want you guys to test it out. So I'm going to let you come in for free or for really cheap and do it because I need to get some case studies. And let a couple people try it out. Okay? I told you guys very specifically in the video for this, we will be selling this concept as a $1,000 course soon. Okay, but I need some more case studies, so that's why I invited all you guys on at a huge discount so you can learn this stuff, apply it, and boom, become my case studies. Okay? Do you see how that works? So if you don't have any case studies yet, take your stuff, go find someone who would be interested and do it for free for them. Work for free for them so you can get a good case study from it. Okay? Good question. Good question. Let's see. Okay, oh, Michael made this beautiful. So he said, okay, he broke this down perfectly. So he said, your case study lures them in. Yes, your case study is like this bait. Like, what is that thing, right? Your instant result is something you promise them. This is what I'm going to give you if you show up for this webinar. Your system is what you're teaching them. And your magic bullet is your upsell. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, someone said, how do you partner with a brick and mortar like a dentist? Okay, well, look at your dentist. What does your dentist have? Okay, they can go drill someone's teeth. They have teeth whitening. Can you create some kind of front end for them? Can you create a buyer magnet to bring someone in? Can you create some kind of system teaching? You know, like for I think cosmetic dentistry would probably be the easiest way to sell it because cosmetic dentistry is something you can teach and train and do some kind of training for somebody so they can understand and learn that piece, right? You got to teach them some kind of system. All right. Tim said, how many case studies should you have? The reality is you just need one. Okay. More is good, but you only need one. that's really the reality. Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna go through a couple more cool things in here. I didn't make a slide for that. Okay. So those are some things about the invisible funnel. Now, a couple pieces that I found. I did a training with a group from Australia about a year ago, teaching them the invisible funnel, and we spent a lot of time. Like, we've spent maybe an hour or so talking invisible funnel with you guys. But this is a concept that Dagan and I spent 3 days on. I could spend, I did a 8-week training workshop with a group from Australia teaching this. So I want to kind of cover one of the big things a lot of people had, the big struggle they had. So a lot of people were okay getting their case study. Boom. they would go and they would get people to show up on their invisible funnel webinar, and then they were even okay offering their magic bullet in the back here and making their money. The problem they were having was what do we teach on the webinar? They're like, I've never taught a webinar. Now, for some of you guys, I know it's like a no-brainer. Like, I've got my system. I figured it out. I know I'm going to teach. But for a lot of you guys, you're like, what do I teach during this invisible funnel thing? Like, what do I do? And so the way you break it down is very simple, okay? The way it works is, remember earlier today? It seems like a week ago, but 2.5 hours ago, we were talking about creating your system, right? We're talking about your system is chapter 1 or step 1 or module 1 or secret 1. Okay, what you're teaching is basically that. So you create your system. Boom, here's chapter 1, here's chapter 2, module 3, module 4, whatever it is. You're teaching those different modules, and you go through it. And what you do typically is you go and you teach first off the concept. Like here's the concept. So module number 1 is how to create a magic bullet, right? Or excuse me, how to create a buyer magnet, right? So I showed you guys the concept. This is the concept of it. Okay. Then I went and I tried to tell you guys so let me break this out. So first one, you have concept. Here's the concept behind the idea. Boom. So I showed you the concept. Then I wanted to I showed the concept, you're like, oh, cool. But then I wanted to get you guys to imagine and visualize and see the power behind it, right? So I started trying to get you guys to visualize and start talking about just the power of it, okay? So my next goal is to get you to visualize. So that's why visualize. So that's why I started telling you guys stories about some of the buyer magnets we did. I showed you some of the results, how much money we made, and you guys got fired up by that, right? And then I showed you guys some of the results like Ryan Dice has had and Perry Belcher with their tripwires. I showed you some of the money, how they went from $30,000 a month to $800,000 a month. Because I can show you a concept, but if I just tell you a concept, you're like, oh, that's cool. You're not gonna. It's not gonna stick. I need to make that powerful for you. Right? I gotta burn that concept into your mind. And so I do that by visualizing and showing you results or showing you case or something that I can show you to help you visualize that and really get that concept. Okay. Then after I kind of shown that, then I want to show you guys case studies of how it all worked. Case studies or stories. Case studies / stories. And that's kind of it, okay? I do that for secret number 1. Then I go and do secret number 2, number 3, number 4. And by the end of it, you've created a powerful, compelling, exciting thing for somebody, okay? Because you've shared with them 5 or 6 or 10 different concepts. You have them visualize each of those points and show them how valuable it is. And if they were just to take this, how much weight they would lose, how much money they would make, how this would relieve their pain, whatever that thing is, right? They're visualizing the end result that they want to have. And they show case studies about how other people are doing it. Because if they can see the case studies, then it becomes real for them. Because it's like, man, this guy is doing it. It's not just some made-up thing. Ryan really is selling knives. Frank's giving away books. Russell's giving away books. This is actually working. It's not just theory. No one wants to do something based off of theory. They want to see case studies and stories, right? And the stories is what gets people engaged. Stories or parables. That's what makes people remember those things and remember them long term. Okay, so that's the way you create a really good training event. You guys is just following those 3 things for each of your steps in your system. Okay. All right. Okay. Now a couple other things. Again, from the whole invisible funnel thing when we did our 3-day workshop on it, because there's so many other nuances. But there were a couple things that I thought were really, really powerful. That I call them amplifiers. And so there's 3 amplifiers I want to share with you guys. I think these are my biggest 3 ahas from the big event that Dagan and I did, showing this to our peers. The first big aha that I had, this is something Dagan's done more than me. I actually haven't done it. I played with doing it for this event, but I didn't. So I showed you guys my funnel is having a case study here, right? Case study. My case study leads to my invisible funnel. What Dagan does, and it's really powerful, is he does what he calls a story selling webinar. Okay? And he'll spend a week or so promoting this story selling webinar, saying, hey guys, there's this thing that's happening, and I'm going to tell you guys a story about this thing. And he kind of talks about it, and this is a free webinar. He doesn't charge anything for it. It's free, and he'll get as many people as he can to register for the story selling webinar. Okay? And they get on this webinar, and what he does is he tells a story about how he got this thing right here to happen. Okay? So the system he's going to be sharing, he's like, because this works a lot of times, guys, if you don't have a good case study, but you have a story about why this system you have came into place. Okay, and so he shares this story for about an hour saying this is how the thing happened, this is where it came from and what I learned and how it developed and what happened because of it. And this whole thing happened, and basically it's a big pre-sell, and then says, look, I'm going to show you guys the mechanics behind it here during a live webinar. You can go and register for it here. Okay, the story selling thing. Last week, Roger and Barry, some of you guys may know them, they did this process, the story selling one. And they did a big webinar, and they got, I don't know, they have a big list. They got 2,000 or 3,000 people to register for this. And during this webinar, they just told a big hour-long story about how they came up for the concept for this paid training. And I can't remember exactly what their training was about. It had something to do with this concept in local marketing, how you could do something, right? Some story. And they told this entire story. And at the end of it, told everyone to go sign up for this thing over here. And when they did that, they ended up getting, after all the rebuilds and everything went through, they made over $100,000 in ticket sales from this thing right here. Okay, so the story selling pre-webinar is very, very powerful instead of using a case study. Yeah, good. Some of you guys were on that webinar or saw it. So yeah, definitely. So that's how it kind of works. That's Dagan's model as well, and it works really good, especially if you're doing a live one like this. The main reason why I went the path I did, you guys, just so you are aware of it, is because I'm recording this webinar right now, and then I'm going to automate it because I don't want to do this webinar every week for the rest of my life, but I want to make money from it every week for the rest of my life. Okay, and so and I'll talk about that here in a minute, but definitely I wanted to create a process that I can replicate without me in it. Whereas the story selling one, usually it's got to be tied to a live one afterwards, just because you're doing a live webinar and things like that. But Dagan, I've seen him do these story selling ones, push him to an invisible funnel, and close $300,000 or $400,000 from one of these things. So there's not so much the right or wrong way. I think Dagan's way works very powerful with the story selling webinar. If you're trying to do a live event, a one-time thing, get a bunch of things off it. I think the case study model works a lot better for consistent traffic, driving traffic from Facebook, solo ads, things like that, where it's not just live event based, but it's long-term event based. Okay. All right. Good. Okay, so that's kind of this model right here. So that's the first amplifier, is adding in a story selling webinar. The second amplifier, and again, this is something that Dagan is the king of. And if I was doing all my webinars live, like this one I would have done this with, except for the fact that, again, my goal is to record this and to make it an evergreen webinar, an evergreen paid webinar like this later. So with what Dagan does is during his training webinar, when he shares each of these topics, and it's really powerful. If you guys are doing it live, this will double how much money you make on the back end. Okay, just put it in perspective. Okay, so every time he teaches one of these strategies, he adds in one more fourth element. Who here wants to know the fourth element? The fourth element that will literally double your back end sales if you implement it. If you guys don't want it, I already know it, so I don't need it. If you guys want it, I need to hear some noise. Okay, a couple more of you guys want it. All right, you're re-engaged. I need you guys. I'm not gonna leave till I get 100 more people to tell me. We got a lot of you guys on this call, so I need 100 more of you guys to tell me you want in. If you want the secret, I'll give it to you. Okay, you're good. Pretty pleased with French fries. All right, you guys. All right, I'll tell it to you guys. You guys are going crazy enough. I'll let you know. Okay. So what he does is kind of what I just did for you guys. Okay, it's very, very powerful. Every time he shares a concept, what he does is he goes back and he has a Facebook fan page. In the very beginning of his webinar, he has everyone come and join his Facebook actually it's a Facebook group. Has everyone come and join the group, and then he says, keep this group open during the webinar. And so he'll teach the first concept, he'll visualize, share some case studies, some parables. At the end of it, he has some kind of moral of the story, right? Some moral of this lesson, or some kind of big takeaway he wants to have. So then he goes into the Facebook page and says, give me your number one takeaway you learned from concept number one. And he makes the post on his Facebook group, and then people go in there and they start responding, saying, my biggest takeaway was this, my biggest takeaway was this. And he starts getting everybody responding. Now, if you've ever been on one of Dagan's invisible funnels, it kind of, they can kind of drive you crazy, because he will literally say, we've got 300 people on this webinar. I'm not going until I get at least 200 of you guys to comment on this thing. And he'll sit there and he'll wait. And I've seen him wait for 10, 15 minutes. Like, you guys, I know this stuff. I'm not going to keep going until we have 150, 200 comments. And he'll wait and he'll wait and he'll get everyone in the audience engaged and doing what he says. Okay? Then he'll come back, teach concept number 2 at the end of it. boom, makes a Facebook post. What was your big aha? Or what are you going to do for your step number 2? And puts it out there. Does everyone go comment on this thing? And they go comment like crazy. And he sits there and waits till he gets the engagement he wants before he'll move on. And he's getting the audience to follow what he says. Did you guys see the power behind this? Okay. Yes, Christopher nailed it on his head. He said the law of commitment. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. And so that is the key, you guys, because this starts causing engagement. And what happens is when he gets to the end where he's trying to sell something, he asks everyone, like, who would be interested in this? Who would love for me to do this? And he posts, like, who here would want to work with me on this thing? And he'll get 100, 200, 3 people saying, yes, 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 yes. And they're saying, yes, yes, yes. And he said, okay, if you wanted to work with me, this is what you got to do. And he just had 200 people tell him yes. And it's very easy now to transition them over to this thing that you're trying to sell on the back end, your magic bullet. Does that make sense, you guys? That's said, very clever. Yeah, so this is powerful. Like I said, my goal was to do that on this one right now, you guys. But again, I want to automate this one, and so that's why I didn't do it. But there would have been a lot more power in that. Okay, there is power in doing that, and I recommend for all you guys, if you're doing an automated webinar, especially the first 2 or 3 times, or not automated webinar, if you're doing an invisible funnel, the first 2 or 3 times you do it this way, because you get instant feedback, you get engagement. The other cool thing is if you have a Facebook group, people will see everyone in the group talking about this thing, and they're freaking out, like, what's going on? Why is everyone talking? What's going on? And people will start coming and signing up like crazy during the webinar because they feel like they're missing out on something. Okay, and it works like crazy. So that is the power of the audience engagement that Dagan does. It's just beautiful. And that's how Greg Davis told me that was his big secret between closing $200,000, $210,000 on his, was doing that commenting. And then afterwards, people that said yes, they're following up on Facebook saying, hey, you committed during the webinar. You wanted to be part of this. What's going on? Like, and they were able to follow up on Facebook to everyone who had committed in Facebook, saying, make little screenshots of the thing saying, right here, I asked you if you were committed to work with me and you said yes. Boom. What happened to your commitment level? What's going on? Why aren't you being part of this? And just able to close people like crazy from that. Okay. So good question. Marcy asked if you used a fan page instead of a group. Dagan's always used a group. Every time I've done it, I've used a group. I was actually, for this one, I was going to do it on a fan page, but I didn't. So I have not personally done it on a fan page. I'm not sure how that would work better or worse than a group, but yeah. Darren said, ask me why to do it on this webinar. And again, the reason why is because I'm recording this, and if someone watches this in a year from now, I don't want them coming to my group and not knowing where to comment because it's not there. And so that's just kind of the reason why I didn't do it for this one. The other ones in the future, just so you guys know, I'm planning on doing an invisible funnel like this at least once a month on different topics that are very much more niche specific, digging deep into something, right? Because I enjoy that. And those ones will be more like one-time webinars. This one's more, I want to turn this one more evergreen. The other ones will be one time. So those ones I will be doing a lot of interaction and then just selling the video later as a product, as opposed to right now. This one I'm trying to make an evergreen funnel. If that makes sense. All right. Cool. Michael said, aren't groups private and fan pages public? Yeah, but what happens if you keep doing these invisible funnels and you keep putting everyone to the same group? Like Dagan's got his Dagan Smith group, and everything he does, he funnels people in this one group. And so he's got all his Dagan fans and followers all in this group, but maybe there's 200 that actually sign up for the invisible funnel. And so everyone in that group starts seeing all this interaction happening, and the other 8,000 people are freaking out saying like, what's going on? What's going on? So yeah, it's not public like a fan page would be, but it's public within your community of followers. Cool. All right. You guys having fun with this so far? Cool. Okay. So that's the second thing. Now, the third big amplifier I want to share with you guys is the automation process of this, okay? Like I said, my reason for doing this is because I think that the content we're sharing is solid enough that I want to make this I want people in a year from now to have a chance to be able to invest in this and learn kind of the same things you guys are doing. I personally hate creating something and then not doing it again. Dagan, when he finishes an invisible funnel, he just puts the replay up on a replay page and keeps selling just the replay of it. But I want to make it where people are more likely to consume and act upon your content if they have to schedule when they receive it. If that makes sense. So if I just put this on a download page, most of you guys would never have watched it. Right now, I'm looking at the numbers, and we have, let's see, I would say over 75% of you guys who signed up are here live with me right now. We've been going for almost 3 hours now. You've been here the entire time. Okay. If I would have made this a video in the members area, most of you guys, even if you paid for it, most of you never would have watched it. Okay. I want to force consumption, because if I can force you to consume the information, it'll change your life. Right. And so that's the reason why I wanted instead of me just giving this away as a product, because I know it won't affect as nearly as many people as if I automate this and give it the ability where you can where you have to actually show up at a scheduled time to watch it. That's the psychology behind why I'm doing this. And so we have software now in place where we can automate an invisible funnel webinar like this. So somebody purchases it and they can pick their date and time. They can kind of similar like automated webinar software, but it's a little different because it's obvious. I mean, there's differences in it, but conceptually it's very, very similar. And that way people have to show up to consume the content as opposed to just watching whenever they want, because if they can watch whenever they want, they won't. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the reality and how it typically works. Okay. Because think about it, how many of you guys I mean, we have a lot of you guys online right now. How many of you guys would not, like, if I were to say this video, would watch it eventually versus right now? Cool. All right. Masipa, I can't pronounce your name, said, I was starving before this and your webinar is filling me nicely. Banquet knowledge. Dessert will be my results. What a sweet taste that'll be. That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Rick said that he would have never watched this due to the length, but now he's live, so he's got to be on here. Awesome. Hey guys, if you look at where I think things are going, you think about this, like TV used to always be, like if you wanted to watch your TV show, you had to watch it, Friday night at 6 o'clock because that's when it was on, right? And people got used to like scheduling things because that's when they wanted to consume that content. And then you shifted to like TiVo showed up, and people are like, they TiVo everything, they watch whenever they want, right? And then you look at like podcasts started happening, and people would download podcasts, listen whenever they want. And what happened is people started just like scheduling so much stuff, they never got to any of it. And I really think for the future, over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, what we're going to see is a return back to that. The people and the coaches and the people that are the most success are not the ones that say, here's a DVD, watch whenever you want. It's the ones saying, this Tuesday at 6, there's a webinar. It's a recording, but the only time you get to watch is Tuesday at 6. That's how you're going to get people to actually implement what you're doing. It's just that's because there's so much stuff in people's queue. They're like, oh, I'll watch it eventually. It doesn't work that way. That's why Invisible Funnel is so beautiful as well, because it gives you urgency. You've got to watch it in the next 2 or 3 days, otherwise you're getting billed. And you got to find out if it's actually worth it or not, right? And so there's so many psychological benefits of the Invisible Funnel, and people will get better results because they'll implement it, they'll actually consume it. And the biggest reason why people aren't successful in anything, weight loss, internet marketing, real estate, stocks, forex, whatever it is not because the information taught is not right or good or powerful. The biggest reason why people don't ever succeed is because they don't ever consume the information. Isn't that interesting? Here's an interesting case study, you guys, that is sad for me. One of our first free plus shipping DVDs, this is one we did, probably 6 or 7 years ago. We printed our first batch of 1,000. We sent them out, and we shipped out 1,000 of them. And about 4 or 5 months later, somebody contacted and said, "Hey, I tried to listen to the DVD and it didn't work." And we're like, "What?" So we looked at the DVD and sure enough, it didn't work. And we looked at the other ones, didn't work. And we found out that not a single one of the DVDs we had sent out had ever been pressed. The company forgot to press them. Yet of all that 1,000 plus that we had sold, only one person ever actually put it in and told us it didn't work. Is that crazy? But that's the reality of what we live in, you guys. And so you got to figure out ways for any of your students to force consumption, because that's the reality. That's how it works. All right. Very cool. Yeah. See, so here's some good examples. So now they had a clear schedule for this. This good. Christopher said this is worth millions to anybody who's been doing online marketing for a while. Anyway, cool. Linda said that she paid up front because she loves my stuff and gave a few things she would normally do so she could be here live. Very cool. All right. So automation, if you give a chance of day, what time? So automation webinar, Tom's asking, like, do we give it an option of date and time to register and watch it? And yes, we do that. Kind of like a regular automated webinar, we do a lot less options though. Typically, a lot of it depends on like what we're trying to do on the back end, the magic bullet, which I'll explain here in a minute. We'll time it where maybe they only watch it on Thursdays or only on Fridays or only on Tuesdays, whatever makes sense for how we're trying to send somebody up our value ladder. Okay, Marcy said, this is the longest I've ever been on a webinar. Only you, Russell, can keep my attention for that long. Awesome. All right. Gloria said, this is critical enough to my biz now, so I'm here, schedule on my calendar. Later, other stuff interferes. Awesome. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Okay, I'm going to keep going through this, you guys. We are almost 3 hours in, and we're actually good on time. We should be able to be done here in the next, I say next 45 minutes or so. I got one more big piece of the puzzle. Then we got to tie all these things together. Because, again, invisible funnel is powerful, guys, right? But it's one of these 3 steps. So you got to have all 3 of these in the right order and sequence. And I'll show you guys this at the end now that you've kind of gotten 2 of the pieces now. So let me share with you piece number 3, and then we'll come back and tie this whole thing together. All right? So let me come back here. All right. Step number 3, the black box. All right, who here wants to know what the black box is? Okay, so I want to show with you guys like the quickest way to transform your business from wherever you're at to wherever you want to be is by implementing high ticket things and then figuring out a good system to sell those high ticket things. Okay, if I look at my business when I first got started, I was trying all sorts of stuff. I started selling things on eBay, and I was trying to sell, like I was going to the thrift store, buying stuff, going home, posting on eBay, shipping it out. Like I started doing that. And I tried other things. I tried so many things to make money, you guys. You have no idea. And finally, I started having success selling software and selling ebooks and selling things like that, right? So I started doing these things, and money started coming in. And for me, it was good money. Like I can't complain. My goal when I first got started was to make I was like, if I can make $1,000 a month, my wife can quit her job because that's about all she was making at the time. And that was my first goal when I got started. And it took me about 18 months before I started making money. But that very first month I made money, I made like $1,500. Month 2 was $3,000. Month 3 was $5,000. And it kept kind of growing. But I hit a ceiling pretty quick where I was about $10,000 a month, and I couldn't get past that. Now, I'm not complaining. $10,000 a month is great for anyone. I don't care who you are. But I saw people doing more, and I was like, how can I... they can't be that much smarter than me, right? I got to figure out how to increase this and take it to the next level. And so at the time, I launched a membership site. People were paying $27 a month to be part of this membership site. And I had, I think, 300 or 400 members in there. And the membership site was called The Lost Files. It's no longer online. There's Lost Files, and it was teach people how to make money with public domain products. These old books that had expired, you could buy them, you could republish them and sell them, right? And so I had this membership site, and I had these 300 people, and I was giving them public domain products they could sell, and it was just this really cool, fun thing I was doing. I was super passionate about it at the time. And then after a while, though, I was doing my own customer support at the time, so I get emails back. People are like, I got the thing, but I don't know how to sell it. What do I do now? And no one knew what to do, and I was always just like, what do I do? How do I help these guys? I don't know what to do. And so try to figure out different ways to help them. And then and one day I had an idea. I said, you know what? I should do a coaching program to help these guys. I'm like, I've never done a coaching program before, but I know what they need to do, and they're paying me to teach them how to do it. But let me do a little coaching program. So I sent an email to my 300 members, and I said, hey, I got a lot of people asking questions about this public domain stuff. If you're interested in me showing you how I actually do it, let me know, because I'm thinking about doing a coaching program. And I got all these emails back, like 100 emails back, saying, yes, I'd love to have a coaching program. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. So I wrote back and I said, okay, a lot of you guys said you want to do a coaching program, so I'm going to do one. It's going to be 6 weeks. We're going to do 6 teleseminars. It's $500. And I put up a page that had a PayPal button. That was it. That was the only thing on the page. And I said, if you're interested, there's a PayPal button over here at whatever the site was, and you can pay. It's $500, and then we'll do this thing. I sent that out to these 100 people that had responded or so. And next morning I woke up, and we had somewhere I think it was $15,000 or $20,000 in sales had come in overnight. And then I sent 2 or 3 emails out, and we ended up getting it's $32,000, $33,000 in sales had come through from this little coaching program I launched. And for me, just to put that in perspective, if I was making $10,000 a month, that's 3 or 4 months worth of work I made in 2 days. And I was like, holy cow. And that was my first high ticket back end thing, right? And so I did the coaching program. It was amazing. We had a great time, had tons of success stories come out of it. And it was cool. And I was just like, I got rewarded for my first high ticket thing. And again, $500 for me was so high ticket. I was scared to death to do it. And then fast forward a year later, I had started a little affiliate program for selling a couple of my products. And I probably had 10,000 or so affiliates who had signed up to promote my stuff. And what I found is that 5 people made money and the rest of them didn't make anything. And I'm just there's a lot of people here. I wonder if I could offer them a coaching course to teach them how to become better affiliates. So I sent an email to this list of 10,000 affiliates. I said, hey, a lot of my affiliates are making money, curious to be interested. And I got a ton of emails back. So I put up a PayPal button, same thing. I said, okay, we're going to do this workshop. It's going to be 8 weeks long. Just go to this PayPal button. click pay, and then and if you're interested, we'll do it. And this time I was like, I'm going to double my rates. It's going to be $1,000. I'm like, if I can get 10 people $1,000, that'd be awesome. Anyway, over about a 3 or 4 day period of time, we had 79 people send me $1,000 to learn how to do affiliate marketing. And I was just shocked. $79,000 I'd made. That was almost as much as I was making an entire year. Okay, all from selling these little back end things. And then a little while later is when the story with Matt Fury I told you about, and Matt was like, sell an $8,000 workshop at your house. I'm like, well, I don't dare to do $8,000 yet, but I'm gonna do a $5,000 one, and boom, we sold a couple to that, right? And then later we launched a $5,000 coaching program, then an $8,000, and then we launched a $15,000 mastermind group for a while. And now Dagan and I actually have a $25,000 mastermind group. Some of you guys are actually on this or in that mastermind group. It's $25,000 a year. We meet together 3 times a year. But think about it. If I was to go sell ebooks, I've got to sell a lot of ebooks to make up for one $25,000 sale, right? So it's like, I always look at, we talked about earlier, amateurs focus on the front end, right? Most of our business, most online businesses, all they are front end. There's no back end. Where if you understand the amateurs focus on the front end, you've got to have a back end. You've got to have a good back end in place to sell things. You got to be willing. And at first, it's going to be scary, but you need to sell something for $500, then $1,000, then $5,000, then $10,000, whatever that is. But you don't need very many $5,000 sales to make a good month. Okay, and what you guys will find is, oftentimes it's easier to sell a $5,000 thing than it is like a $100 thing, okay, through the process that we're going to show you guys here in a minute. All right? Okay. All right. We got so many questions here. I don't even know what to go. So many questions. Well, I'm going to keep going on this thought. Someone said, you got to build a J-Lo back end. You are right. You need a back end, right? Okay, so I'm gonna keep going on this because it's I don't want to lose my train of thought. So I got really big in this whole back end concept, and I was just like, this is the key. This is like the holy grail. This is how I'm gonna build a business. So it's probably been 7 years ago or so. We launched our first like little mini call center. I had a couple of buddies of mine, and we all got on or I didn't, but they all got on the phone, started selling coaching. We tried to figure out like what could we sell for high-end coaching. And I remember this whole thing actually came about. If you want to know the full story, I had started my business. I was making money, and then all my friends thought I was cool, so I hired them all to start working for me. And really quick, I was the point where I was like out of money, and I was paying them salaries and weren't making enough money, and just dumb beginner choice, right? Hire all your friends before you're making consistent money. And I remember it was Christmas time, and I was out hanging up Christmas lights, and I was pretty much out of money, and I didn't know how to pay payroll the next week. Christmas was coming up, and I'm just like, we're kind of in trouble. I don't know what to do. And so I thought, I got to figure out some way to kind of save this whole thing. And so we decided to launch like a little mini call center. So guess what we did? Okay. Surprise, surprise. We created a free plus shipping offer. And that free plus shipping offer happened to be that free DVD I talked to you guys about earlier. And the very first week we sold 800 of these free DVDs because it's really easy to sell free stuff. Okay. From 800 people, we called all these 800 people. We didn't get hold of all of them, but we called them, and we tried to sell them a coaching package. Now, someone asked earlier, well, Russell, how do you create a high-end coaching package? That was a good question, and I had no idea at the time. But I remember we came in, and I had a meeting with all my friends, and I said, look, we're going to get a bunch of leads coming in. We got to figure out a way to sell something high-ticket, or else we're going to be in trouble. And they're like, well, what do we sell? And I'm like, well, I don't know. What do you think? Like, what would you want? If you were going to invest in something, what would you want? I said, let's create like the most perfect, amazing thing in the world. So we sat down and said, well, if I was going to buy it, I would want this, and I would want this. And we just sat on a board, and we mapped out like everything possible that we would give somebody, we would want if we were signing up for a coaching program. We mapped out, and we spent like an hour or two just putting out just tons and tons of ideas, right? And what we were doing is we were creating the offer. Okay. If any of you guys have been through my the 7-figure shortcut course, we talk a lot about how to create an offer. And this is like the first thing of building a webinar is creating your offer. Most people focus on that last. It's the most important thing. And we spent hours on a whiteboard mapping out like the perfect offer, all the elements and components, everything we could do to make this thing just amazing. And after we looked at it, we're like, that would be amazing. Like, we could sell it to everybody. But then we're like, the reality is like some of these things are going to be impossible. Like that one we can't fulfill on. That one it would be hard. That one we can't. And we started crossing out things we couldn't do. And what was left was like a pretty good coaching program. And we're like, well, how much is that worth? And we're like, well, if we were to help someone to do this, boom, we could, it'd be easily like one of our coaching programs we have now teach people how to sell really high expensive stuff. And like, if someone can make one sale, boom, they make $8,000, like, let's just sell it to them for $8,000. So as soon as they make their very first sale, boom, they break even, and now they're happy, right? So that was kind of our concept. So we figured out what we thought they could make off of a deal, and that became our coaching program. So then we took these 800 people, and we just started calling them like, hey, you bought the free DVD from Russell. Did you watch it yet? And if they said no, then we said, okay, Russell's not provided value for this person yet, therefore they're not going to buy. So go back and watch the DVD then. Watch the DVD and then give me a call back. Call the next person. Someone's like, if someone answered and said, yeah, we watched the DVD, like, awesome. Well, Russell's doing this really cool thing in Boise. He wants to invite you to it. It cost, I think at the time was like $5,500. You come out to Boise, and this is what's going to happen. And we explained all these benefits, all the things on this bullet list. And within 7 days, within 1 week, they had sold 10 people at $5,500, which if you do the math on that, times 10 equals $55,000, which completely saved my company. We were able to pay payroll, have everything work. And that's how we launched our first little call center. We had Brent and Garrett, pretty much two guys on the phone doing that. They did $55,000 our very first week. Okay, and that was how this whole thing started. And we thought, man, this is cool. Let's bring in more salespeople. And we started doing what was one of the dumbest things I ever did, which was build a huge, entire big call center. I don't know about you guys, but I'm the kind of person that gets into something, gets excited, and then just goes crazy. And then like a month later, you're like, wow, I probably shouldn't have gone that far. And that's kind of what was with this. We had two people who made a lot of money. We're like, this is awesome. Let's scale it. And within a year and a half from then, we had 60 full-time salespeople calling and selling this coaching package. And we were doing very, very well. But it just got hard to manage. Now, I want to come back because we changed this model. I'm going to show you guys the Blackbox. The model I'm going to show you guys is a bajillion times better and easier and does not require 60 salespeople. But this is kind of what we had done. Okay, I'm just taking you on the journey. And so we did that. So then we came back, and if you looked at the math on how this whole thing worked, we were giving away the free DVD or whatever it was, and then we would call someone on the phone. And on average, when we would get a hold of somebody, we were averaging about $150 for every single person we got on the phone. Okay, and part of it was because we weren't cold calling. They had purchased something from us, but then we would call them and be like, hey, did you get the thing you bought? Let's talk about this cool coaching package we'd created, right? So we're averaging $150 for every person that bought one of our free DVDs. Okay, is that pretty exciting? You guys just think like $150? Remember we talked about before, you give away a free DVD, and if you have upsells, maybe you make $30 in upsells. Oops. Just make your $30 in your upsells, which typically my goal is to the money I spend on traffic gets made up with for this upsells, right? So I spend $30 to give away a DVD, I break even, and then boom, my little back end comes in place, and we make $150 per person. So $150 for every free CD we give away, right? On the back end. So that was what was kind of happening, and the numbers were good, the metrics were good, and it was awesome. And then a little while later, we had an idea, because we were just cold calling. I mean, again, it was a step up from cold calling, but they weren't expecting our call. And so we thought, like, what if we could create some way where instead of us just calling them, they had to give us a phone call. So what happens is we'd give away the free DVD, and then from there, people would we would call them, but we would wait, and we would wait. On average, what we would wait was 28 days. What we found was kind of the sweet spot. So during these 28 days, what we wanted is we wanted them to initiate a phone call to us. Because I'm going to call you in the middle of the night, and you're at dinner time, and you pick up the phone, you're probably not going to be in a good state, right? Not in the kind of state where you're going to want to invest in something more. But that's kind of what we were doing with the cold calling. We were just calling people and hoping to get a hold of them. So we changed it where during this 28-day period of time, we tried to get them to call us. So I sent them a letter in the mail, we'd send them emails, and try to get them to call us. And what we found was interesting is that if they would call us, every single person that called us, we averaged $450 for every phone call that came inbound. Okay? Does this get you guys excited? So every free CD that you can get them to call you, boom, $450. Again, that's how we were doing with this model, which is pretty cool. Now, Christopher said ... But the problem again that we came into is we had 60 salespeople. The reason why is because we were generating, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 of these a week, and we had calls. We had all these people calling and dialing, and it was a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of overhead. Just not the kind of business that any of you or me or anyone should be in, and it became a nightmare. And so about 3 years ago, we shut it down, and the money was good, but it just was not worth the headaches and just all the stuff behind it. So we got rid of it. And for about 3 years, we didn't ever call any of our customers. And it was sad though, because I missed selling expensive stuff. Okay, just like we're showing you guys, man, you sell $10,000 programs a month. That's 50 grand a month. That's pretty exciting. Like, we should do more of that, right? And so we wanted to figure out, how do we do this whole thing without having to hire 60 salespeople, and just make it something simple and easy that would work. And so we started testing out different things. And some of you guys have probably seen the tests. In fact, some of you guys who were on here are part of our coaching program, so you probably saw some of the tests that we did. But we created something where I didn't want to have people ever outbound calling people. I only wanted to talk to people who were interested in talking to us. Like, that was it. If they don't want to talk to us, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to try to convince somebody they should sign up for something. But if it makes sense for them and they're interested and they call us, then it's different, right? You're not really selling someone. You're just saying, here's the opportunity. If you're interested, let me know. And so we shifted around where what we would do is we would sell the thing on the front, and then just say, hey, if you're interested in more, here's an application, fill it out, and we'll give you a call and explain to you what it is. And if you're interested, then we'll sign you up. If you're not, we're not. We took away all of the hard selling, all that kind of stuff, just made it very simple, very easy. And when we did that, it was interesting. First off, we did, before we were averaging $150 a lead, and we're calling 800 people, so you're making a lot more money right there. But here we're able, with just 2 people on the phones, we're able to do, for every application we get in, we make anywhere from $500 to over $1,200 for every application that we get in right now. And we don't have to get very many. It's very slow and very few. But the people who come in are people who are ready, who are interested, who have received value from us so far, and just say, hey, I want to take the next level, and I want to work with you. And that's about it. Okay? And this, guys, right here, this is like the magic black box, is creating a little sales system or sales team, whatever you ever want to call it, a way to be able to sell your high ticket things in a very simple, very low key, very easy manner, that's very profitable. It doesn't take you a huge call center of 60 people, but will probably double or triple most of your businesses just by adding in this one little piece. Okay. All right. So I want to show you guys. Let's see. Oh yeah. So here's kind of the black box, right? So I showed you first the old call center model, then the inbound call center model, then the application-based mini call center model, which is by far my favorite right now. It's just fantastic. Okay, so let me show you guys a couple case studies. Someone asked, how did you get them to call you? Yeah, with the second step there, we would do a direct mail letter to them. We'd have on the thank you page after they buy something, say, hey, here's a phone number to call us, and things like that. All right, okay, so let me show you a couple other ones. All right, so the first version that we kind of tested out on this, and some of you guys came through this program, is we created a program called the 30-Day Shortcut. And basically we just had a video that kind of explained that we had a coaching program, that it wasn't like another box stuff we ship out to you, but it's actually something where we're going to help take you by the hand, right? Typically, if you look at like any of your value ladders, if you come back here, you guys, to your value ladder, like usually down here is like information, how to information, kind of like here's the overall, like the concept of how something works, right? So let's say concept here. So here's concept. So they're buying this thing here and they're learning the concept. So here's my free CD. It's going to show you how I do my investing, right? Here's the overall concept of it. And then your higher up your value ladder is usually more like here's like the home study version or whatever that's going to walk you through this whole process and how it works. So not more the concept, but like more the how-to. And then like next level would be like a workshop or seminar is usually a lot more so like the now you got a how-to, but come work with me. I'm going to work more one-on-one with you. So one-on-one or group, actually probably usually more group. And then the top level is usually more like, let me take you by the hands and just work with us, or a coach or a mentor, someone to just kind of guide you through the pitfalls and help you get to the promised land, right? That's usually the top of value ladder, and like a coaching consulting business is that. Either working directly with the guru or working with coaches or someone to kind of get there. So when we launched 30-Day Shortcut, that was the plan. We had tons of students who, because we had stopped doing any kind of coaching, we were going through our stuff and they loved it. They're like stuck, like I can't figure out, how to get to the next level, right? And so we have some really good coaches that work with us, and we said, well, let's just put together a program where people can get coaching. In fact, we had people prior to this probably 2 or 3 times a week call us like, hey, do you have coaching? Like, I need a coach. I need someone to, like, I love your stuff. I need someone to help me implement this. And we just didn't ever offer it. So we finally decided to offer it. Let people come and apply. I'll put in my email address so you see. So applied, then boom, I had a video right here that just kind of talked about mindset and just some of the things about it. And then they had an application form, and someone would fill this out. And then they apply, and then we get the application. Very simple, very easy funnel, right? It's a page that kind of sells them on the concept. And they come over here, and then they can apply. If they're interested, they come and apply, and then they get a call from someone on my team to see if they want to work with us. Okay, very simple, very easy. That was our application. And this one traditionally, because our business, we focus on different customers, right? So this is more for people who are just getting started in internet marketing. A lot of network marketers, affiliate marketers kind of come through this funnel. Right? Then we have another part of our business where we focus a lot more on people that have existing businesses. Okay, so some of you guys are going to have different funnels as well. You may have, you like working with business owners, but you also like working with whatever. And so we have a funnel that's very similar, but this is one. Some of you guys may see us roll this out recently, where we're working more with like people who have actual businesses. Like they have a business and they want us to work. They want me to work with them one-on-one. And so we developed a program, which is like a mini mastermind group. Where they come on and we call it Decade in a Day. They come on and they spend an entire day with me where I have a chance to go through their entire business virtually through a webinar. I spend an hour on their business and an hour on someone else's business. And we do a mastermind group, but virtually for a day. And then after that, they have a chance to call in their offices and ask questions and get feedback to help them get through their sticking point. But it gives them a chance to work with me one-on-one so I can help break them through their boundaries or their barriers, right? Same thing, a video kind of explain the concept. And they submit their website to review. So they come in here and they put in their, put something real quick, www.ebay.com. So this is come through. I'm going to see that eBay wants me to submit their website. They come through here. They boom, we have a video of me kind of trying to provide value, right? This video right here, this is a video that's an hour-long webinar I did where I show 15 of my best split tests. Again, what am I doing? I'm trying to provide value. Show these guys, hey, I'm not just some chump who wants your money. Let me show you all the cool stuff. Let me provide a ton of value right now. And if you're interested, if you got value from this, fill out the application form and apply. And you can have Russell have me work with you directly on your business. Okay, you guys see how this works? So it's kind of taking this whole sales model that used to be where we call and try to sell someone something to just like having this thing on the back end and let people see that this is what it is. If you're interested in working with us, apply. If not, then don't. And it gets very qualified leads to come in. And people who actually want to work with you. That makes sense? Okay. All right, cool. So those are the Blackbox funnels, you guys. They're very simple, very easy. There's some other stuff that happens, like we send out emails and email sequence, stuff like that. But the reality is it's very simple. It's not like we're not looking to trick someone or to do some sneaky sales tactic. In fact, I almost want these pages to be scary because I don't want to work with everyone. I want somebody to come through here and see, man, this is a big application, because if they're not willing to fill out a big application like this, first off, I probably don't want to work with them. Second off, they're probably not a buyer who's going to spend money with me anyway. I only want to work with people who are serious. And same thing for you guys. You want to work with people who are serious. So you want to give kind of some barriers. So this little black box it's not doing what a typical call center does where you call a million people. It's putting up barriers and filters and things to keep out everyone except for the people who are ready and willing right now. Because that's the only ones you really want to work with when all said and done, right? I don't want to call you on the phone and try to sell you on working with me if you're not sold. If I haven't provided enough value at this point, then don't come and, then you don't need to come and get coaching from me. But if I got getting you tons of value along this value ladder, and then I'm like, hey, by the way, if you're interested in more, there's this thing right here, then it's a no-brainer, and you get just the cream of the crop. They rise to the top, and you get the people you want to work with. Okay, and that's kind of how this coaching funnel works. All right. Okay. So Michael said, how is this different from the invisible funnel? So this is what's happening on the end, the kind of the back end of the invisible funnel. So let me see my notes real quick, see if I have anything else I want to cover here before I tie these things together for you. Okay. Cool. Christopher is so hungry, he wants some pizza. Okay. All right. So let me go back into this then. So that's kind of the things, you guys. Again, you're seeing even each step in this process. So I'm providing value. Again, value ladder stuff is happening here as a whole, but then each of these steps as well is providing value, right? For you to get into the coaching program, you go through this funnel and you receive value. If you watch this video on page 2 of this, This video is like 40 minutes long and provides a ton of value. You watch this video, it's like an hour long, tons of value. So I'm providing value each step in the thing because you provide value, people, again, you're not selling people, the right people will come to you who are ready and willing and interested in working with you, okay? All right, so let me come back to this, you guys, because I want to start tying this stuff together because I have a lot of questions that are coming back asking this, okay? Ooh, someone said sushi sounds good. That does sound good. I'm very interested in that. Okay, cool. All right. Now, okay, so let me show you guys how this whole thing ties together, right? So we got the 3 steps that we talked about. Again, we've been going for over 3 hours now, you guys, so hopefully I'm going to mush all this stuff back together that we've been learning. Okay, we covered a lot of different things along the way. So the first thing we talked about 3 hours ago was our buyer magnet. 2 hours ago, we talked about invisible funnel. And then over the last hour, we've been talking about building out your black box. Your black box is your system for selling high-ticket products, okay? So let me tie these 3 things together because, like I said at the beginning of this webinar, if you take these 3 things and you put them in the right order, the right sequencing, things like that, it becomes a very easy, replicatable funnel that you can drive traffic to and make money with over and over and over again. It becomes very easy. So let me map out this whole thing. All right. Okay. Okay, so it starts back here. I wish I had a whiteboard in front of me. I'm way better on a whiteboard, but paintbrush is number 2. So back here, this is my buyer magnet, right? Your buyer magnet. Okay. And this is where you're giving away a free thing, right? So let's just say it's a free, I'm going to say it's a free CD. Boom. Oops. That's a CD. I'm going to take the dot out of the middle because it just looks weird. Okay, so there's your free CD. And over here, you ask them for their shipping. Where should I ship this to? Shipping address, right? You usually have a headline up here. And then you got your bullet points about what's awesome about it here, right? So there is your buyer magnet. Actually, I'm going to do this real quick because I'm going to tie traffic in here in a second. So there's your buyer magnet in the middle. All right? And if you missed the buyer magnet section, watch the replay. The first hour or so we spend on that. Okay. All right. So after somebody buys, then we talked about before having upsells, right? And upsells are good if you got a bunch of products and stuff that are already done and ready. But what I found the most powerful upsell after a buyer magnet is your case study. Okay. So let me show you how this works. So somebody just bought this free CD or free DVD showing your number 1 secret, your best thing you possibly have about whatever, how to trade Forex, how to lose weight, how to adjust your back, how to get clean white teeth, how to, whatever your best thing is, right? Plug in your business, how to generate more leads for your network marketing company, how to get multiple streams of income, how to flip houses in a bad market, how to shoot a potato 50 yards further than your friends, how to train your dog in a weekend, how to, anyway, plug in any crazy thing in any business, any niche you're in into that thing, right? So that's step number 1. Okay, you guys get that part so far? So they put their credit card in, they put their shipping address here, boom, step 1. Now they're on this email list, right? Then step 2, they put their credit card, boom, now they're on your buyer list. Okay? Then the next page you take them to is this page just says something like this. Wait. I just told you about this case study over here. Or excuse me, I just told you about this free secret about how I did whatever. I want to show you a case study about somebody actually doing this. Boom. Do you see where I'm going here real quick? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So here is your case study, right? So let me show you a case study about how this guy I know, he took this potato gun DVD that I'm shipping to you right now. It'll be there any day now. He took this potato gun DVD and he made a potato gun and he shot a potato 500 yards. Let me show you a case study of how this whole thing worked. And boom, I show a case study about the value that I'm shipping to them in the mail. Okay? All right. Or let's say it's here's my DVD about how to pick up chicks, right? Case study. Hey, I just shipped you out this DVD. I want to tell you a success story about one of my friends who got this free DVD, the same one you're going to get in the mail any day now. He took this DVD, he watched it, and after he watched it, the next morning he woke up with 20 beautiful women, whatever it is, right? Boom, here's your case study. So fill in whatever your case study is right here. Okay, let me show you how someone lost 30 pounds with the information you just received, whatever it is, right? So you're giving them your case study. Okay, then your offer to somebody is very simple. It's saying, hey, I'm doing a training, either a live training or just a training. Don't ever say it's a recorded training, but either a live training or a training. And it's a premium training because this is my best stuff. Okay, I'm going to go through my entire system. Okay, the DVD you're getting is going to cover one very powerful aspect, but if you want the entire system, I'm going to be doing a training this Thursday or this Wednesday or whatever it is, and this premium training is not free. Okay, it's too good to be free. It's paid. It's $97 or $297 or whatever it is, right? It's a premium training, and it is so good it's going to blow your mind. But obviously you don't know me yet. You haven't got the DVD. I haven't proven myself yet. So what I want to do is I want to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to allow you to come to this event for free. And I want you to check it out and basically prove that this stuff is awesome. It's going to change your life. And so all you got to do is put your credit card in. It's not going to cost you anything. I'm going to do this really cool live event or this really cool event. You'll come on here, and the event's an hour long or 2 hours long or 3 hours long. And, some markets might not be $97. Maybe it's $47, or maybe it's, with our couponing one, it's $17, okay? So every market's going to be different, but that's a really cool webinar. I'm going to bring you on, and I'm going to provide so much value, and you guys are going to love it. But the cool thing is that when you come on this thing, if you don't like it, that's all right. It's not going to be for everyone. Some of you guys are going to be like, I hate Russell's voice, it's annoying, or Russell talks too fast, or he blurs his words, or whatever, right? Everyone's got a reason why they may not like someone, so that's fine. So I'm going to let you is come on for free, check the whole thing out. At the end of it, if you love it, then you can pay me the $47. If you hate it, just email me. I won't bill you, because I don't want, if I can't help you, I don't want your money. I don't deserve your money. Okay? And so you are selling them into your invisible funnel. Boom. Okay? Sell them the invisible funnel. Now, because of the process of how invisible funnel works, like I said, you will get, instead of the 20% of people who show up, you'll get about 85% of the people to show up live. I'm looking at my numbers right now. We are still over 75% of the people who are still, you guys are crazy. You've been on now for 3 hours and 16 minutes, and you are still here. Good for you. Okay? But am I providing value? That's why you guys are still here hanging out, right? Over 75% of you guys have been on for 3 entire hours. This will happen the same thing for you if you give some awesome, awesome content, okay? Manager said this is the longest time I've ever been on a webinar. And Masipa said, and I am not bored. And Summer said she's crazy like a fox. And Natalie says, because I'm awesome. And Brian said, awesome value, would be nuts not to be here. So, okay, you guys are getting it, right? You guys are getting this, okay? So you come on here, and for as long as your webinar lasts, you have just got to give your heart and your soul. Don't hold anything back. Share your best secrets, your best tips, your best systems, everything you got, because your job right now, you've got one shot to blow their minds. And tons of people are going to come on here just because they want to prove you wrong, okay? And that's okay, because you are going to prove them wrong after you show your stuff. They're going to see exactly the power and what you've got to share with them, okay? And again, some of you guys, this is going to be a live event, but I'm guessing if you build this into a long-term funnel like I'm doing with this one, it'll be a recorded event. Maybe the first time you'll do it live, and after that you will do it recorded, and that's okay, but you're going to make it where they have to schedule it, okay? They've got to come on Thursday, because Thursday's the day you're doing it. It's not like a typical automated webinar where pick Thursday, Friday, or Saturday at 1, 2, 6, or 9. Like, you've got to make it, with this kind of thing where they're paying in premium, you got to say it's happening Thursday at 6. You either make it or you don't, okay? And so they come on here, and a huge percentage will take this offer because you're showing them a case study of what they just bought. They've already said yes to this. Okay, they already said yes to the fact that they want this magic survival knife. If you're going to do a case study about how they can use this knife now to kill zombies and invaders in their house, and they can learn for free, who's going to say no to that? Okay, your take rate from this free plus shipping to this $0 offer will be insane. And like I said, what I would recommend doing is offering like we did with you guys, do it free, or they can save $10 or $20 if they pay in front. Like I said, we have 39% of you guys paid in full up front right away, which is awesome. Then you do this invisible funnel, and you wow them, you share everything you got, you give them as much information as possible. And a lot of people, a big group of your people will be like, this is awesome, I got what I need, I'm going to go implement it. And guess what? You should be happy. Okay, it's funny, in the typical like internet marketing world, it's sad. I have a chance to be in a lot of circles and hear a lot of people talk, but typical internet marketers, like, unfortunately, their mindset is, if I give them a product that's useful but incomplete, they'll have to buy my next thing. That's what people think, okay? Now, the problem with that is then people feel like they got scammed, like, oh, it's useful but it's incomplete. Like, no, you want to give them everything, and your goal is that 95% of them will leave and just go and do the thing by themselves. They'll be able to self-implement, they'll be happy, and they'll be good. But there's going to be 5% of the people, or 10%, or excuse me, whatever it is, who are going to want more. At the end of it, are going to be like, hey, this has been awesome. I love it, but I want more. I need some help. I want to implement it faster, whatever it is. And that's where you then offer your magic bullet through your Magic Blackbox. Okay, the Magic Blackbox is very simply, usually have a video up here just saying, hey, if you want to work with me, this is the deal. This is how it works. Boom, and at the bottom, you have them apply. And make the application form long, because you don't want some, if they can't fill out a form, they're not going to be a good coaching client, okay? You don't want to work with them. And again, your goal, and this is the biggest key, you guys, as soon as this is my biggest problem before. When we had our call center with 60 people, I wanted to sell every single person possible. That was my entire goal. That should not be your goal. You do not want to sell every single person possible. I promise you, you'll get more headaches and more nightmares than you ever want. In fact, we tell most people no. Seriously, our salespeople are like, nope, you're not a good fit. Sorry. Nope, Russell will not like you very much. You want to try to repel as many people as possible, because you only want to work with people who are a good fit, who are going to be rock stars, who are going to implement, because these are your success stories. These people who you decide are going to be a good fit, and your team, whoever's going to make these phone calls, is going to figure out if you want to make sure they're going to be a good fit and work with you good. Okay, so like I said, we literally turn away more people than we accept. I'd say probably every day 3 or 4 people we say, nope, you're not a good fit. Sorry, you're not a good fit. Because I promise you, selling people that are not a good fit will become headaches for you. Every time we have one that slips through, it always becomes a nightmare for us. And so this process will weed out so you only get the people you actually want to work for. Okay. Now there's a couple ways to do this. One way is you make the application free. People come in, they can apply, and then you can call them on the phone. Or if you're getting too many leads, which happens a lot of times, you can make the application paid. We've done that multiple times where we get too many leads coming in. And again, let's make another barrier, because I only want to talk to people who are actually dead serious. And putting something in front of it saying, look, it's not going to be, it's $25 or it's $100 or it's $1,000 to apply. And that way you put another barrier up so that anyone who's coming through is just going to be gold. Okay, I recommend that if you're going to be one doing this phone call, I would charge for it. Do not do it for free, or you'll spend all day long on the phone. Okay, Frank Kern does this. He charges $1,000 for you to get on the phone with him, and or I think it's $750. And if he works with you, then he applies that towards what you're buying. If he doesn't work with you, he gives it back. But it's a filter to make sure the people are calling are serious. Okay, so again, if it's you calling and you're becoming that salesperson, definitely put a barrier in there where it costs money. Okay, if you have someone on your team who's going to make the phone call, then come back and you can then come back and either make it cheaper, where it's $30 an application, $20, or just free. Okay, but that's just kind of the way the process works, and that way you just get the cream of the crop to come here, just people you want to work with, and then from here, again, this is the top of your value ladder. This is where you're working with them one-on-one, or you're bringing to a live event or a mastermind group or whatever that thing might be, and this is kind of the back of the value ladder. Okay. All right, you guys getting this? I looked over and there's like 30 comments since I started talking about, so I kind of put this thing together. Okay, I'll go through some of these. So Mark's asking about the free CD. Is it automated? Yeah, the free CD company I showed you guys automates the whole thing. You hook up your shopping cart, order comes through, boom, they ship it out. Let's see. And Allie says, 1 a.m. over here, and I could go all night long. Derek said, I won't even sit through a 3-hour movie, yet I've been here for 3 hours and 22 minutes. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. This is cool. So someone wants some examples of this. Okay, someone wants an example in MLM and a couple other things. So let me go through this, okay? All right, so let's just say you're in an MLM. Let's pick an MLM, for example. Let's pick Empower Network, because that's a big one right now, right? Or pick anyone. Pick Vital South. Pick whatever one you're in. I guarantee most of you guys are in MLM, even if you want to admit it, okay? So pick whichever one you're in, right? So again, you're not going to sell that product. You're trying to sell you. Okay, so you are a leader in this company. Even if you're not yet, you're now a leader. Congratulations. I have nominated you as a leader. Self-appointed. Actually, you're appointed by Russell Brunson, so you're now a leader. You got to find one thing that you know how to do. One thing. What is it? Is it a tactic? Is it a technique? Is it a way to get a lead? Is it a way to close a sale? Have you done anything yet? If so, what is that thing? Now, if you haven't done anything yet, that's okay as well. Let's say you haven't done a single thing. You've never brought someone in, but you've got an upline who's actually awesome, right? And they've closed a bunch of people. So what you do is you call your upline. You're like, hey, dude, can I interview you for an hour on your number one secret to building your team? And the guy's like, sure, man. You're my downline. I'm your upline. I will help you out. And you interview him for an hour. Boom, you put it on CD. You got your free plus shipping thing, right? And then you come through and you find a case study. Okay, hey, so-and-so's my upline and my mentor. He's awesome. He's recruited 65 people, but check it out. He helped Joe Schmo over here recruit this guy. This is the case study. He helped him get 30 leads in the last week. Isn't that awesome? Me and Joe are going to be doing this really cool webinar. We can come on and you can learn everything. So in this situation, you guys, I would partner with who that person is, right? Work with them on this concept. You know it. They've got the information, so team up with them. So you come back and basically you're going to do an invisible funnel with that person, teaching this concept of how they generate leads or close a deal or whatever. At the end of it, you sell people. This application, they can apply to join Empower Network with you or Visalis with you. I've got people I've seen who you apply to be on their team, and if they decide to select you on their team, then you can pay to be with them. But they make you actually apply to join their team. Okay, there's a lot of power in that. A lot of strategy. Other people who say to apply, you join our team, then you fill an application, we'll call you, and we may work with you. And then they sell them a coaching package to help coach them through how to drive people in the MLM. Okay, that's how to work in the MLM. Let's use it for an author, speaker, consultant. Okay, so start at the back. So the author back here, the speaker. Let's say you've got a $25,000 mastermind group. Boom, that's your big thing you want to sell, or maybe it's a $8,000 one-on-one coaching program, whatever it is, right? So there's your back end. So then you figure out, like, if I'm working with someone one-on-one, what's the system I would teach them? Okay, well, I'm going to teach them these 6 steps to increase their credibility, right? So boom, you make an invisible funnel where you teach those 6 steps. From there, you find one person you've done it for, you create a case study out of it, and then from these steps, you pick the most intriguing, exciting step, you pull it out, boom, make it your free front end, and now you start selling this free front end, and everything kind of works backwards. Okay, just so you guys know, usually I build this thing backwards. I build the dream coaching program. From there, I break it down to the multiple modules I want to teach them. And then from there, and what's nice is if they go through the invisible funnel first, you guys, before you start coaching them, it's nice because then you don't have to coach them on everything you taught them during the invisible funnel. They get the basics of it. Now you can focus on the fun parts. Okay. Anyway, then you come back, find a case study of someone you've helped, and then pull out your most interesting secret from your invisible funnel, and boom, that becomes your free CD. All right. What else can we do? Let's do it for physical trainer. So my buddy who I'm working with, physical trainer. So he wants to apply to have people come back and sign up for coaching or for personal training, right? They sell personal training packages for like $5,000 a pop. Okay, so that's what he's selling back here. So he creates an invisible funnel teaching somebody how to lose 8% body fat and while eating donuts or whatever. I don't know, whatever his invisible funnel is, right? Boom. Then we take a case study of someone who he's helped, someone who's personally trained to help him lose a bunch of weight. And we pick out one secret over here from his invisible funnel. We pull it out, make a free CD about how to eat donuts and lose weight. Boom, there's our funnel. Dun. All the way to filling up his clinic or filling up his practice. Okay, you're a chiropractor. You want people to apply so you can be their chiropractor. Okay, you create a system for how they can relieve their back pain or cure the ADHD or fill in the blank with whatever magic you can teach as a chiropractor. Pull out one case study, pull out your best secret from over here, pull it here in the front, and boom, you got your funnel. You guys getting this? You guys having fun with this so far? Okay, we can do this all day long. Give me another business. Plug one in. I want to plug it in. Nobody believes, like, this stuff doesn't work in my business. Give me a business this won't work in. I guarantee I can do it. Okay, so Christopher's talking about haircutting. Okay, we'll do it for haircutting. It's not going to be as good. But if you want to become a stylist, let's leave a stylist consulting program. Let's do that because you need a high-ticket thing, right? So someone's going to be paid to become a stylist, right? You're going to teach them the secrets of how to start your own salon and style people's hair. Boom, there's your application course. Okay, you create a 6-module course teaching somebody how to become a stylist. Boom, you find a case study of someone you help become a stylist and start their own company. You pull out your best invisible funnel secret, pull back here your free CD, and boom, you got your funnel done. All right. Hey, eBay, selling stuff on eBay. Come back here. You want to coach someone through eBay. I have multiple friends who made millions of dollars selling coaching on how to do eBay stuff, right? Boom, there's your eBay stuff. Pull out your 7 secrets funnel for how to create an eBay course. That becomes your invisible funnel. Find one case study of someone you've helped. Pull out your most interesting secret about how to sell stuff on eBay. Pull it out here, make it your free front end, and boom, your funnel's done. Testosterone booster supplement. Okay, I don't know how much that sells for, but hopefully it sells for a lot because people apply to get your testosterone supplement. Boom, invisible funnel about 8 things you can do to feel younger, which testosterone would be one of those big 8 things. Case study about some dude who had low testosterone who you helped him become awesome. Pull out your number 1 secret about testosterone, pull it over here, free CD, boom. Game, set, and match. All right, you guys send me some weird ones now. I think you're just kidding me now. These can't be real. Anyway, do you guys see how this works though? Like I told you before, this works for offline businesses, online businesses, authors, speakers, consultants, MLMers, affiliate marketers. Okay, affiliate marketer. Let's say I'm an affiliate marketer and I am selling, what's his name? Mike Dillard's Elevation Group, right? So here's the Elevation Group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to try to sell people on an Elevation Group. Maybe I have my own Maybe Mike's got his program he sells, but I want to do like coaching program for my people who join Elevation. I want to show them my secrets. So I'm gonna charge $2,500 or $5,000 to show them my secrets, right? So we come back and boom, that's what we do is we take his coaching program or his course, which is like $1,000 plus I'm gonna charge $2,000 on top of it. So $3,000 they'll get his, the product I'm an affiliate for plus coaching from me. You guys see how I did that real quick? This is something I want to throw in because a lot of people who are affiliates don't see this. You don't just have to sell a person's product. Okay, when there was a software product years ago called Traffic Equalizer, and one of my friends, Traffic Equalizer sold for $97, and so he created a coaching program for $500, teaching people how to make money with Traffic Equalizer, and in that $500, he gave them a free copy of Traffic Equalizer. So you can take the product you're selling, bundle it with, wrap your coaching program around it, and boom, now you got a really sexy, product that's just you coaching on somebody else's product. Okay. Boom, come out, pull out an invisible funnel showing you 7 secrets of how you do whatever it is you're going to coach somebody on. Find one case study of somebody you've helped. Pull out one secret, throw it back here, your free CD. Boom, there you go. Okay. Anyway, guys, we could do this. Recycling your waste? Come on now. Anyway, I hope you guys see this is the template. This is the model. This is how this whole thing how it works together, okay? And it works. It's worked for us over and over and over again. I'm re-fired up. We've been doing, like I said, we spent time doing just this piece and just this piece and just this piece. And really in the last probably 30 to 45 days is where I saw let me show, just tying this whole thing together. I woke up in the middle of the morning and it was during Christmas time and everyone from the office was on Christmas vacation. And I'm calling him, texting him. I'm freaking out. Guys, I just had this huge, all the stuff we've been doing, I figured out the right order and the right sequence to just blow these things up. And I couldn't get a hold of anyone. I'm freaking out. And finally, a couple of them called back dude, I haven't seen you this excited for a long time. I'm it's because all these things we've been doing independently that are working, if we plug them in a sequence, it becomes very, very easy. And because we're leading with these free plus shipping offers, it makes traffic very, very, very easy to get. Okay? Now, I got a lot of questions about traffic. So let me come back here, you guys. And I want to just... let's address that a little bit. Let's talk about that, okay? So how do you get traffic for something like this, okay? There are really, I would say, 3 core strategies that I would focus on for you guys. I can show you 1,000 ways to get traffic, but there's only 3 that will cover 90% of the traffic you're going to ever want in a million years, okay? So number 1, and this is going to be the easiest for some people and the hardest for some people, is affiliates, okay? Affiliates, IATES. Okay, there you go. So getting an affiliate to promote this. Now you look at Ryan and Perry's little knife offer, okay? They did not ask me to promote that, but I saw it and I was like, that is the coolest thing in the world. I think people will receive value from that. I want people to have it. And if I get paid because of it, how cool is that? So you get affiliates to promote this. If your front end thing is really, really cool, people will promote it. Okay, our .com Secrets Labs, we launched it to our list, and not even directly. I did it at the end of a webinar because I didn't want to because we're still waiting for the first shipment to come in. Actually, I think they're shipping it today. So I've been waiting to promote that super hard till we get the first shipment of 2,000 books. And I literally have had probably 30 or 40 people come to me begging me to promote. Russell, please give me an affiliate link. Please give me an affiliate link. And I haven't had to recruit a single affiliate yet. Okay, and they all want to promote it because it's this sexy, unique thing they can offer their list. Their list is going to think it's cool. It makes them look like a rock star in the eyes of their list. Plus, remember what we talked about here, you guys? This whole piece right here, your invisible funnel, a lot of you guys will make a lot of money right here, but your goal should not be to make money right here. Your goal is if this invisible funnel, if I average $30 in sales from every free CD I give away, that means like I told you before, that means you can spend $30 to give away a free CD. Okay, and then any money you make back here on the back end, plus you got buyers, you got all this, there's tons of other ways to make money. But again, we're not amateurs, right? Amateurs focus on the front end. My goal is to break even when someone goes through the invisible funnel. So that means I got $30. If I make $30, maybe my visible funnel makes me $40 or $50. But let's just say it's $30. I can go back to the affiliate and say, hey, give away this free book. I'll pay you $30 for every free book you give away. Guess what that does to affiliates? It makes them go crazy. It makes them get excited. It makes them say, wow, $30 to give away a book. First off, my list is going to think I'm awesome. Second off, I make 30 bucks for everything I give away. Okay, I promoted this knife because I made 10 bucks for every knife I gave away, and my list thought I was awesome. That was it. They didn't have to ask me. I came begging them to promote it. Okay, that's what'll happen if you make this front end thing exciting and sexy enough. Okay, if you are, for example, with my buddy that we're doing the weight loss, not the weight loss, the personal training stuff. He doesn't have a typical internet marketing business. There's no affiliates, right? But I told him, I said, look, you don't need like affiliates. You just need people who have customer lists. I said, look, other personal trainers are not going to promote you, but what about the local spas around here? I bet you went to these local spas and told them that you'd pay them 20 bucks for every free DVD you gave away, that they gave away. I bet most of them would give it to every one of their customers that came in forever. Okay? I said, what about the tanning salons? What about the chiropractors? You go out and find all the chiropractors, tanning salons, spas within a 5-mile radius of your location and tell every single one of those, hey, every customer that comes in here, give them this little card that gives them a free CD about my #1 secret to whatever, and if any of them go to my website and get the free CD, I'll send you 20 bucks. Suddenly you've got this force, this army of affiliates all around you going crazy, giving away your stuff for you. This is in a local scene. Okay, online, just as easy. Okay, go to ClickBank, find whatever market you're in, go to ClickBank. Inside of ClickBank, you will find a billion, not quite a billion. I think they have over 100,000 digital product sellers selling products in every niche you can dream of. Go to every one of those people and say, hey, we put this little thing on your thank you page. After somebody buys your product, just say, hey, here's a gift. For buying my product, I'm going to give you this really cool free CD. Click right here. And all of a sudden, you get all these people inside of ClickBank in your niche putting your free CD on their thank you page or your free book on their thank you page. Suddenly, all their buyers see that. They come over, get the free thing, and boom, you got another buyer on your list. Okay? Guess what we're doing right now with our .com Secrets Labs magazine? I'm going to every single person I've ever met in my entire life in the internet marketing space and asking them to give this as a gift to every single person they know, to every customer they get. And for them, it makes them feel like a rock star. They're giving people an amazing gift. I think in most cases, the product I'm giving them for free is usually worth 10 times what the front-end product they just bought is. And a lot of times, the refund rate will be lower because the person will associate the thing they got from me for free as what they bought from the other guy. Okay? You guys see how this works? So this is a great way. Affiliates is just easy. Okay? So there's number one. Number two is solo ads. Okay, now solo ads either have a good or a bad rep depending on who you're looking at, okay? Most people do not succeed with solo ads because their funnels are horrible. That's the reality of it, okay? So what I do right now is we're going to people's solo ads and we buy a solo ad, have them promote this thing, and then we track. We say, look, as a solo ad provider, you promoted this. I spent $500. From that $500, you had 30 people who downloaded my free book, who got my free book. If you were an affiliate, I would have paid you $600 for that. And they say, what? And I said, yep, as an affiliate, you made $600, but here's your $500. But if you want, I'll pay you $600 instead, but now you're an affiliate. And they're like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, that was what you would have made if you would have promoted this as an affiliate. And so then I come back and I give them the actual money they would have made as an affiliate instead of the solo ad. And guess what? That person suddenly starts promoting my free plus shipping thing every time he has a space in his solo ad thing, because he knows he'll make more money selling my stuff than he will selling solo ads. You see the power behind that? Plus, there's a lot of other solo ad places behind, besides the how to make money solo ad places. There are tons of places that you can buy solo ads, you guys. We have a neuropathy supplement for neuropathy and fibromyalgia and diabetic nerve pain, and we buy solo ads from all of the Republican news sites. Okay, WorldNet Daily, a whole bunch of them. That's what we're buying solo ads from all these sites, and they're working great for us. Okay, there's a ton of sites outside of the typical solo ad list you can buy. You can give away free stuff like this that you will just crush it with. Okay, there's I could go on for days about that, but it's just as easy as finding a list, buying an ad, and giving away a free thing. And it's hard to not have the metrics work when you go this way. Okay, all right. And then number three, and this is one that I've had a love-hate relationship with, and now I love it because a lot of you guys are actually on this webinar because of this. Is the Book of Faces, the Facebook. I've never been a social media guy, and I'm converting because I have to. That's the world we're in now. And we started buying ads on Facebook, and it's working great. And the coolest thing, like I said, about this is when you first launch this, there's this really cool strategy because it's such a cool thing that people will just start sharing it. Like I said, when I first saw this free knife offer, I shared it on my fan page or on my my timeline. Other people, when I saw 300 or 400 shares. And then that's when I was like, wait a minute, I could probably sell this. And I contacted them and I was like, is there an affiliate program for it? And they said, not yet. I'm like, there's not an affiliate program. Why not? And they're like, oh, we're testing the offer. I'm like, testing the offer? Everyone and their dog is like giving away this thing for free. And all of a sudden I had the aha moment. I said, they're getting all the low-hanging fruit, letting everyone share it like crazy. They're getting all these people to buy. And then they'll come back and say, hey, as an affiliate, you guys can now promote it. And then people will promote it and they'll make even more. But they're getting low-hanging fruit initially by themselves just through Facebook. Because if your thing over here is cool enough, guess what's going to happen? These guys are going to share it. Like, hey, man, Brunson's giving away this 300-page or this 140-page book showing his 108 best split tests. I just got a copy. You guys should get a copy too. And they'll share it because it's so awesome. That, you guys, is why it's important that you don't just pull out some secret from your invisible funnel. You pull out your best secret. You got to give them the best thing possible. That's why when we sat down and thought about this book, instead of selling this for $1,000 it's worth, we said, let's give it away for free because it's our best thing. Not because it's a thing, it's our best thing, and it'll get people to talk. It'll get people to pass it on, get people to spread it. And then when we get affiliates on board, they'll say yes because this thing is so awesome. Okay? And that's really key, you guys. With Facebook, there's tons of strategies, organic and paid. And I'm not an expert on those things. I'm not going to be talking about those things right now. You can learn those things. There's great people out there. But just understand that those three are the tools. If you just focus on these three things, this will give you 90% of the traffic that anyone will ever need. Okay? I look at our traffic thing. We have people focusing on a whole bunch of different things, but 90% of our traffic comes from these. So if you're just trying to figure out where to focus on, don't focus anywhere besides these. Okay, this is going to be the best thing for you. Okay, all right. Give me some feedback, you guys. We have been going for 3 hours and 41 minutes. I want to make sure you guys are still fired up as I am. Tom said he loves taking money from the Republicans. Yeah, just so you guys know, for whatever reason, I don't care what political thing you are, but conservative male Republicans buy everything. Weight loss, financial, wealth, biz op, everything they buy. You almost can't lose when you buy conservative Republican lists for whatever reason. So, yeah. All right. Someone said, how can we give away your book to our list? We will be opening an affiliate program for it probably within the next month for sure. So, yeah, as soon as we do, we'll let you guys all know. Okay, now she's got grades, now her mind is officially blown. Awesome. Very, very cool. Okay. A couple more things for you guys, and then we'll be getting close to wrapping up here. So again, 3-step system: buyer magnet, invisible funnel, and your black box. Okay. So what I want you guys to do after you kind of get this thing set up, the thing I want you to think about is you get this whole process set up right, and your goal is not how do I sell 1,000 DVDs or 1,000 CDs. Okay. Your initial goal should be how can I give away one CD a day? One CD a day is going to make me $30 here, and maybe 1 out of 10 I'll get to buy my $5,000 things. You look at the math; it's like if I give away a CD a day, that ends up being $10,000 a month or whatever it is, right? So your goal should be initially like, how can I create a system to give away one free DVD a day? So maybe it's every day I spend 20 minutes contacting potential affiliates and asking them for my free DVD offer on the thank you page. Okay, and that becomes a system, and maybe I even hire someone to every day they spend 20 minutes doing this one thing, and you create a system that's consistent. Okay, everyone always asks me, Russell, how have you been doing this for 10 years and you're still making money? It's because I'm consistent. Okay, I set up something and it just happens. So you create a system to give away one DVD a day. Okay, again, your system could be affiliates, it could be Facebook, it could be solo ads, it could be whatever it is, but set up that system and you master it until you're giving away at least one CD a day. Sometimes you'll be able to give away 2 or 3 or 5 from that system or 10, but just try. Your goal is just give away one CD a day and master that system and get it working where it's consistent. It happens day in and day out. And after you've mastered that one system, then create a second system. And how to get that one mastered where it's giving you 1 or 2 or 3 CDs a day. And then go back and add a third. And after 3 or 4 months, you guys, you can have 3 or 4 systems all giving away 10, 20 CDs a day. Suddenly you're giving away 60 CDs a day, and you've got a business that's making you hundreds of thousands of dollars very, very, very quickly. Does that make sense, you guys? Cool. Cool. Okay, a couple questions coming in. Jeff's asking, where's that $30 come from? $30 was based off of how much money you're making in your initial funnel. Excuse me. So that's a guess. That's why initially it's good to kind of test it, drive some of your own traffic, and see. If for every 10 CDs I give away, I sell one $300 product, it means I'm making $30 for each sale. You know what I mean? So this can tweak. Maybe you only make $10 per thing, but still you can give an affiliate $10 to give away your free thing. Maybe it'll make sense to them. Okay? All right. So Someone said, what do you promote to your list of buyers? I promote the invisible funnel, I promote my high-end thing, and then I can promote other products, other services to them. Okay, as these people are coming in, they join your list. If they're getting value from you guys, you can launch more products. You can launch multiple invisible funnels. You can launch, you can keep launching new things to this list of buyers you've got. Good questions. A lot of people asking, how do you track affiliates? And that has come down with your shopping cart and things like that. So I'll talk about it here in a minute, but that's kind of the core thing, you guys. So the key to success in this, you guys, is you get this funnel built out, you have it set up, and then you create systems and put them in place so that they generate 1 DVD a day, 2, 3, 4. You start trying to scale that slowly. And if you do that, that's how you build a very good, sustainable, long-term business. Okay? All right. Let's see where we go from here. All right. So you guys, we've been on for 3 hours and 40 minutes or so. So this is at the end of the paid training. So a couple things I want to do real quick. Like I told you at the beginning of this webinar, is basically you guys had a chance to come on and kind of try to see if I was worth my stuff, right? So I've tried to over-deliver as much as possible. If for whatever reason you're not happy, that's completely fine. I understand that. If you don't think I've delivered, don't think that you got the value of you need to, all you do is go to our help desk, go to customerhelpdesk.org before Monday morning, and just let them know, say, hey, I was on the webinar, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, I didn't like it, and let us know. And Kelsey on my team will get that, and she will go in and she will manually turn off your rebill, so it won't rebill you. But if you did like it and you loved it, whatever, don't do anything, and we will on Monday, probably in the afternoon or so, she will log in everyone who hasn't canceled, and then she will bill you the remainder if you have any money left. A lot of you guys obviously prepaid, so that doesn't affect you. If you're not sure or I talk too fast or whatever, I will be trying to get this replay out by tomorrow, so you can watch it again tomorrow, get some more info on it, and just kind of dig through it again if you want. But I really want you guys to take advantage of this, like focus on it, and if I got you guys say, Derek said I can double bill him. You definitely delivered. Anyway, I appreciate that, you guys. So yeah, I want to make sure before you say, hey, it's not worth it to me, whatever. Think about it over the weekend. Really let this stuff kind of incubate in your mind and think about it. And again, the replay will come out tomorrow. Watch it again tomorrow, and just more so than anything, I want you guys to receive value from it. That's my end goal. If you guys have an amazing experience, get a ton of value, you'll come on another one in the future, whatever it might be. But if it wasn't worth it for you for whatever reason, that's completely fine. Just go to customerhelpdesk.org, tell Kelsey that, and she will make sure that we don't rebill you. But if it was awesome and amazing, don't do anything, and you'll be billed just the remaining $97. So that's kind of it. All right, very cool. Then one other thing I want to share, because this is exactly what we're teaching you guys to do. It's the same thing. For some of you guys, you may feel a little bit like this. This is my favorite picture in the world. If you run any webinar, I always show this picture because every time I talk, people are always like, hey, Russell, I feel like you talk so fast. I feel like I had a fire hose in my mouth. And one day I saw this picture and I started dying laughing. So it's my favorite picture. So if any of you guys feel like this, and you're interested in having my help with this, we do obviously offer a magic bullet, okay? I practice what I preach. And so if you're interested in that, this is I'll give you a quick recap of what it is. Basically, our goal is to help you guys build this whole thing out over a 2-month period of time. Week number one will be helping you build this piece of it. We'll be helping you create your system, go through everything. Basically, it's a 2-month program. Each week there's a live webinar kind of like this. They'll be shorter. It'll go over just one piece of it. We'll give you a ton of case studies, examples, resources, who to hire, how to hire them, what to pay them, everything you need. And that webinar happens on a Tuesday. And then on a Friday, we have open office call-in hour. So if you get confused, you can call and you'll talk to one of 3 people, either me, Brent, or John. Brent and John are 2 of my partners. They've been doing this as long as me. They probably know more about it than me. But you call and you get a 30% chance to talk to me, 30% Brent, 30% John. They're all amazing. And you talk to one of us and say, I'm stuck on this piece of it, and we help walk you through it. So that's week number 1. Week number 2, same thing. And for 8 weeks, we do that. There's a training webinar on Tuesday, and then open office hours on Friday. You can call in and talk to us to get unstuck. And at the end of the 8 weeks, this whole entire process will be built out for you. You will have a high-end coaching program in place. You will have your ads running. You will have your free CD. You'll have all this stuff in place. Okay. Now, one thing a lot of you guys asked about, how do I create the landing pages and the shopping cart and the affiliate system? So what not many people know about yet, for the last 2.5 years, we've been working on a software program that is actually a page creator that all the pages you've seen of mine were created by this page creator. You click a couple buttons and boom, your 2-step order form's created. There's a shopping cart, an affiliate system, everything's in place. We will be launching that live in about 60 days to the world. You guys will get it earlier if you're part of the coaching program. You can log in, throw in your DVD picture, throw in your merchant account, boom, 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 and this whole magical process we built out for you. The other cool thing is that actually it'll build out the automated version of this invisible funnel software. Okay, so you guys will have a sneak peek of that. But also, if you guys don't do the coaching program, that software in probably 2 or 3 months from now will be available. You guys can buy it at that point. But if you're probably coaching program, you get beta access. We want you guys testing it out, using it, and we'll be using it to build out all your pages, which will be awesome. You guys have the ability to use our stuff to build out the funnel so they look exactly like ours. Our designers basically designed all the pages, and they look super ninja awesome. And then we spend time, there's a whole week just focusing on affiliates. There's a whole week focusing on solo ads and Facebook. John, who does our Facebook internally, will be showing you everything. And like I said, if you get stuck, then you can call in the office, talk to John, and John will look at your Facebook account, help fix it, get through it, all that cool stuff. Okay, so that's kind of the coaching program. There's a bunch of other stuff. The other cool thing is some of you guys heard me tell this story before. When we first relaunched this, our back-end mini little call center thing, I had 2 people who were doing the phone sales. And we spent a month and a half calling leads, and I was kind of embarrassed because after a month and a half, we didn't sell any. And I was like, dude, we used to have a call center with 60 people. Like, why in the world are we not closing people? Like, we didn't close anyone. I'm trying to train these guys the best that I know how, but it just wasn't working. And so I called one of my own buddies who used to work for me. His name is Robbie, and Robbie actually personally, for 3 years he worked for me. Personally, he closed over $1 million in sales each year by himself. And so I had Robbie, I paid him a ton of money. I had him come in the office. He literally spent 4 hours with Troy and Kimberly, and they went from making 0 sales to the next day they made $36,000 in sales. And they've been averaging anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000 in sales every single week since then. And so I had Robbie, after that thing happened, I was like, man, this was awesome. So I paid Robbie about 2 days of his time, came to the office, and I sat down and I recorded him teaching everything he taught Troy and Kimberly. We have this whole nice, beautiful DVD set. It's almost finished. This was created not for you to learn how to sell stuff, but it's for you to hire some salespeople. You hand them these DVDs, you give them your product, and then they will magically do what Troy and Kimberly do for me. They will go through a very specific script, and the videos do all the training. So instead of paying Robbie like the $10,000 a day that we had to pay for him, you'll get these DVDs. And anytime you hire a salesperson, you show them DVD number 1, DVD number 2, DVD number 3, get them on the phone, and they'll be closing for you instantly. Like I said, went from 0 sales to $36,000 in sales with 4 hours with Robbie. You guys have the whole thing on DVD. Plus, we also made we give you access to the scripts we use. Plus, we have like the compliance script and a bunch of other just all the stuff you need to make this thing work. You guys will all have it. Like I said, you have personal access to me and Brent and John, my partners. You have the software. Anyway, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in this. Again, I'm not trying to sell to you, but if you are interested in it and it's a good fit for you, all you gotta do is come apply. Go to millionaireincubator.com/go. You guys know the process. You saw how we do it. There's a big application there. You tell us about your business. Troy or Kimberly will give you a call either tonight or tomorrow. They will set up an appointment with you. They will show me your application before they talk to you usually, and I'll see if I think you'd be a good fit. Most people are not going to be a good fit. I only want to work with people. Obviously, there's investment. You got to have money to pay for it. And second off, I'm doing a lot of one-on-one stuff. So it's only, if it's not a good fit for you, it's not a good fit. If it's a good fit for you, it can be awesome. But that's my magic bullet to help take you guys to the next level faster. If you're interested, go to millionaireincubator.com/go. If you're not, that's cool with me as well. I hope I gave you 10 times the value you guys were hoping for from this webinar, and you can go and apply these things. But if you do want the help on our side and get a lot of specific detailed instruction and work with us and get your questions asked week by week over the next 2 months, that is the opportunity for y'all. So that's about it, you guys. We've been going for almost 4 hours. I didn't think we were going to make it. I thought we were going to be 2 or 3 hours, but we actually made the full 4 hours. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I had a ton of fun. This was a something I've been looking forward to for about a month or two now, going through this stuff with you guys. We had to test a ton of stuff and practice and try things out before we got it to a way that it is now. And I think that literally any of you guys can plug this thing into whatever business you are. You're going to see some huge awesome results. So I'm fired up for you guys. If you do go through the coaching program, I'll have a chance to talk to you as early as next week. If you don't, that's fine as well. As soon as you implement this stuff, please let me know. Nothing gets me more excited than seeing your case studies, and then I can brag about you and show you in our case study videos. So please, my only thing for you guys, if I can say anything, is just implement this stuff. I want to provide value, and you guys learned a lot of stuff. You got some good value, but until you make money with it, the real value is not there. So go out there and just apply this stuff. Just do it. It'll change your guys' business. It'll change your lives. I promise you that. This stuff works. It works for me. It'll work for you as well. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for being on here. And if you have any other questions, I'll be on for another minute or two. I can answer some questions here, but that's about it. So I'm going to go through some questions. Other than that, you guys, definitely the webinar, for all intents and purposes, is done other than me answering some of the questions you guys have. So, okay, we got tons of thanks, you guys. These are really nice comments, so I appreciate that. Very cool. Cool. Tom said the simplicity and effectiveness of this is inspiring. Do it this weekend. When's the rebroadcast? My goal is I'm trying to get this live for you guys by tomorrow, and I will send an email to everyone who is signed up with the link for that tomorrow. That's my goal. And so then you guys will have that. I want to make sure you guys have a chance to rewatch this before Monday. So that's kind of my goal. And no worries, if you missed any of it, like I said, we will be having the replay very, very soon. Tim said, I did not think I was going to make it the full 4 hours, but time flew by. That proves it was great. Very, very cool. Kathy asked if I was loving the Ferrari. I am. It's been very, very good. What's a good merchant provider? That's a good question. There's a lot of them out there. I don't even know who we use anymore. I know PowerPay.biz, I think we use them. Meredith is another one we use. We have a couple different merchant accounts, but I know we use those two for sure. Very, very cool. Gordon says, my girlfriend even sat with me, and she never has done that for that long. Gordon, tell your girlfriend hi, and thanks for hanging out for the webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. Very, very cool. Awesome. Well, you guys, I'm gonna call it a night. 4 hours talking, this high energy wears me out, so I'm gonna go home and hang out with my kids. We actually have there's a Beauty and the Beast wrestling and gymnastics meet tonight, which I'm a wrestler. My daughter's in gymnast now. My kids are wrestling, so we're gonna take them to that. It starts in about an hour, so I'm gonna go home, get cleaned up, and take them to that. We appreciate you guys hanging out for the webinar. I hope you had an amazing experience. Look forward to seeing your guys' buyer magnet, invisible funnel, and your black boxes. And again, if you want us to work with you directly over the next 2 months to get this whole thing built out, again, go to millionaireincubator.com/go, apply, and either Troy or Kimberly on my team will give you a call, see if you're a good fit, and if you are, we'll do some magical stuff. We'll work wonders with you guys. So it'll be a lot of fun. That's about it, you guys. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you all again soon.